and the range on your.
What is up, everyone?
These
Thanks,
big machines
the
here.
couple people in the chat room for joining. This is gonna be the semi-final game of
12 Incendium cannons, 36 in the
the
heavies,
second
12
semi-final game,
and,
of Pod
and
1
it's,
for the
18
T5S2
on the
event.
assault launcher.
Unfortunately,
Battle
the players, there was a little confusion in the timing, and the players had to start a little bit early, so the stream is starting earlier than I planned. So everyone who is online now, thank you so much for joining, and we'll just jump right into this game. Unfortunately, I missed the very first steps of the game, so not a lot of time to go over lists and secondaries and things like that. I just jumped in myself. Looks like the players are just finishing up their deployment, and we will begin the first round immediately afterwards. It looks like over in the blue here, we got GrizzlyNateDog playing a Chaos Soup Nurgle army. This is going to be largely Death Guard, as well as some Chaos Space Marines, all Mark of Nurgle. There's a couple Nurgle demons in here, including some Nurglings for forward deployment, but the mainstay of the list is going to be a giant Possess Bomb up in the middle, as well as you can see, this great glorious gentleman here, Mortarion, who is being protected by his Death Shroud Terminators. So pretty resilient combo. I think it's pretty... The Possess Bomb is pretty ubiquitous in competitive play right now, but what we don't see very often is Mortarion as well as the Possess Bomb. I really like the combination in this list of having those two immensely powerful, potentially extremely fast units that can run up the table and just be very resilient, especially Mortarion with these Death Shroud Terminators. All of the Chaos Space Marine units are obviously Alpha Legion, so they're going to have access to the you can't shoot me strat if they are not the closest. And then we also just pack as a linebacker unit back here. We also have 3 Obliterators to come in and clean things up, late game after they deep strike in. So overall, super cool list. And we see TseungTsu here is playing very conservatively to try to deny that first turn aggression from GrizzlyNateDog. So, like I said, in the blue, GrizzlyNateDog playing the Nurgle. In the red, we have Space Wombat, also known as TseungTsu. If you guys have been all over the chat, then you'll have seen him giving us a lambasting the whole time. But he's playing Salamanders. I keep calling his list a Salamanders Gunline, but in fact, it is more of a Salamanders mid-range. It has a lot of intercessors. It's full-on 2 battalions, 6 units of intercessors. There's 2 eliminator units as well. Just to add some additional indirect firepower, there's 2 Thunderfire cannons. One hiding in the back there next to the Sicarians.
I think we're good. Let's wait for Trevi to get in.
Space Wombat very much likes to...
it's freaking hot. I turned my AC on. Where do you live, Nate? I'm out in Colorado.
Let me make sure these guys aren't trying to
Houston,
talk to me.
Texas.
Oh, yeah, okay. Never mind. I shouldn't even say.
So, I mean, if you want to talk about temperature and heat,
Your
we
AC's never been
can.
turned off, yeah.
Yeah.
A buddy of mine lives down there. You guys are like reopening soon, right?
They actually opened 25% today.
Okay.
So
How you feeling about that?
Well, I work in the medical field, so I'm not in agreement with it. But hey, who's counting?
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, you guys aren't waiting on me, are you?
Yeah, we are.
Oh, okay. Well, just go for it, man.
Oh, okay. You're ready. Okay.
Yeah, I'm.
Well, yeah. Good luck, Nate. What do you
I'm
do?
already
Are you?
A nurse.
Oh, well, good luck, good health to you and your family, my friend. And, yeah.
GrizzlyNateDog.
Thank you.
I thought we'd be locked
professional,
down for another 2 to 6 weeks.
a nurse in this very, very busy time for all of our medical people. So
kick back up.
hats off to him. I'm glad he was able to jump on and play some games today.
That's my fear.
But that's
I'm hoping I'm wrong. All right.
thanks to GrizzlyNateDog for his service.
Good luck.
Protecting us from the ravages of terrifying viruses as he goes onto Tabletop Simulator and spawns a bunch of terrifying viruses himself.
Oh yeah, my 9 inches. Yeah.
Looks like if you can't beat
You
him.
can leave him there. I don't.
Looks like we have a couple people in the chat. Thanks everybody for joining. We are very early, a lot earlier than I expected to be live. Just the players needed to get going earlier than we expected. So thanks everybody for popping in. Glargify thought it was the Slush Demons with 4 keepers. That list actually, if I remember correctly, that list lots to Doots actually. So the Imperium Soup featuring Tempestus Scions with Adeptus Sororitas with the double Exorcists took down the Keepers of Secrets. not terribly shocking to me. A lot of bolter fire is going to take those ladies out eventually. So, but yeah, GrizzlyNateDog has had a tough road to pile in. He beat Shumacord in the previous round. So a Nurgle on Nurgle match between the Blight Haulers list that we saw the other day that won against Adeptus Mechanicus. TseungTsu in the chat, listening to us. Hopefully we don't give away any good strats. K-Ray, is there a way to bring back Possessed after they get killed, such as through summoning? I don't believe that there is. You can heal wounds on them with Fleshy Abundance, I believe, because they are Nurgle demons, and you can the Great Unclean One combo that we saw the other day, I believe also does work on them because if they have Mark of Nurgle because they become Nurgle demons. But I don't believe that there is a way to bring the Possessed back to life. There's especially not a there's no stratagems like Green Tide or Tide of Traders or something like that bring them back wholesale. Mostly, they're just very difficult to kill. They can move pre-game, so the turn 1 threat range is extremely long. And especially against Imperium, when their Death to the False Emperor triggers, they do an immense amount of damage in melee. So,
alrighty, movement first. So the Nurglings are going to run.
One thing I am worried about in GrizzlyNateDog's list here is that he's relying super heavily on warp time. Looks like I'm all alone in the chat here. Looks like we'll have a co-host coming in. We did start early, so we weren't quite prepared to jump in here, but Shumacord will be jumping in with me. But as I was saying, GrizzlyNateDog's list has 2 big, powerful punching Alpha Strike units in Mortarion, and the Possessed Bomb.
Going to run.
These metal dice are very, very loud. I'm going to see if I can't reduce that sound a little bit. A little distracting there. I apologize. It was throwing me off. I've never seen somebody use the wholesale use the metal dice in Tabletop Simulator. They are cool. I like to use them for markers and things like that, but they're very loud when you roll them. So,
they got their
GrizzlyNateDog's list, as I was saying, relying extremely heavily on warp time to double move these big, powerful units up the table. Because he has I believe it's a Greater Possessed, allows the Possessed to advance and charge.
Terminator armor, sorry.
Okay. I don't use Terminators. They look like cool.
And I'm gonna take a look at GrizzlyNateDog's list here real quick.
I'm not the biggest painter in the world. Like I said, my forte is the chess match.
Unfortunately, it wasn't quite prepared enough for this round to start early, so I don't have all my documents out. So everybody gets to watch my watch me search my spotlight. Glargify, the finals opponent is shoot, we frozen.
All right.
Your finals opponent is going to be one of these 2, yeah. So, and you hate playing against Chaos, so you secretly want Salamanders to win. You know. Space Wombat and I were talking about it before the game, and I actually don't hate his chances into your Raptors or Glargify, so I wouldn't be so assured of yourself. The Chaos are tough to play against, but it would be interesting to see if they can deny all the angles that the Centurions get. They might be able to just push the Raptors, push the deep strikes out enough that they get board control, which would be very good. But
Where's your deny?
I mean, those especially in Tactical Doctrine when they get +1 to hit and wound against Mortarion, all of those bolters can actually almost table this army in one go. The big upside of Salamanders in that matchup is that they do ignore the AP 1 from Tactical Doctrine, so they are a lot harder to take out with bolters. And the Sicarians are also very strong against Centurions because they are 2 damage and can hit with a pretty high AP if they need to. That said, that 2 damage is also going to be good against these Possessed. So the Possessed with a Demon unit with 2 wounds, they are going to be... So while GrizzlyNateDog is running through his first movement phase, I'm going to pull up the lists real quick, and we'll go through them in detail.
417.
So GrizzlyNateDog, as I said before, running a Alpha Legion detachment, 100% Mark of Nurgle to get that cool Nurgle faction affiliation. Look at Mortarion getting very aggressive here. Super cool. He's got 17 possessed in his possessed bomb. All Mark of Nurgle, obviously. So you can put on your Virulent Blessing, your Blades of Putrefaction, and potentially your Miasma of Pestilence. So all of those melee damage buffs, as well as -1 to hit if you need it. You can get potentially -3 to hit between Dark Apostle, who's hiding back here. Here he is, Dark Apostle, with his two little buddies. He can give you a -1 to hit from ranged attacks. You get the -1 to hit outside of 12 inches from Alpha Legion, and you can stack Miasma of Pestilence on top of that. He's also got 3 units of Chaos Space Marines. We got 6 Chaos Space Marines each. 5 guys with a little aspiring champion there, as well as the 3 Obliterators that we discussed earlier. The Obliterators in Alpha Legion, pretty strong, because you can pick them up and re-deep strike them after they drop in with the Alpha Legion stratagem. So one of the issues that Obliterators have, if they drop in on something, their range isn't that great. So sometimes, kind of like Centurions, they can get kind of caught out on a flank, but with Alpha Legion, you just pick them up, and the next turn you drop them back, and you get another strong shot off. So it's not you don't have to be as afraid of going for targets of opportunity with those guys. I do like the include of the Obliterators. It kind of takes the focus off of these two big linebacker units. One thing your opponent's going to be doing is focusing very hard on where those models are going to go and where they can reach, and you want to collapse in on yourself, and that gives the Obliterators a lot of good opportunities to jump in and take those big, high-impact shots wherever they need to. He has given them the Mark of Nurgle instead of the Mark of Slanesh, so they don't get to shoot twice, but is keeping the ability to spread out those buffs with the Psychic powers as much as possible. So, Word Bearers, this is going to be a Chaos, a Nurgle Allegiance detachment. So a Chaos, the keywords it picks is Chaos and Nurgle. That is a second battalion. That brings in the 3 Nurgling units. 1, 2, and there's a third one hiding back here. As well as a Poxwalker, who's going to give the Nurgle demons +1 strength, and that brings in a Sorcerer as well to buff up these guys with that warp time. I would imagine. And then we also see a Daemonkin Ritualists specialist detachment bringing in a Dark Apostle and a Master of Possessions.
For Cloud of Flies.
Okay.
On the Death Shroud, basically they can't be shot unless they're the closest visible unit.
Okay.
So we have this is an interesting combo from NateDog here.
Oh, so you're not moving the possessed anymore. Okay.
Mortarion is going to give himself -1 to be hit. It will go off.
Looks like he decided to move the possessed with the Alpha Legion stratagem and essentially leave them there, touching the center of the table. But we're going to see that shrouding. I believe the name of the
that'll go off. Or not blades.
Stratagem is that will make them untargetable as long as they're not the closest visible.
Kinds of Nurgle.
We'll see that used, and we're going to see a.
Nurgle is the only Chaos God there is.
We're going to see a Cloud of Flies on these Death Shroud Terminators. So very interesting combo. That makes the Death Shroud Terminators untargetable as long as there is anything closer, and does the same thing to the Possessed, meaning that Space Wombat is going to be forced to fire at Mortarion and sink those wounds into the Death Shroud Terminators. He's not going to be able to take the most efficient shots possible. He's going to be stuck at shooting at Mortarion, which is exactly where NateDog wants him to, because we do have the Miasma Pestilence on him, so he's going to be -1 to hit.
How far can the bite move?
And then, obviously, we have, I believe that's 6 Death Shroud Terminators. Yeah, so 12 additional wounds that Mortarion can send, unsaved damage to.
Anything in range for a charge turn 1. To Mortarion. Yeah, but to Mortarion back.
No, I mean, I would... No, I don't think anything can charge him.
And so there's no point doing that. The Sorcerer will put +1 to hit on the Possessed. To reroll 1, and it'll go off.
Looks like a bunch of people joining in the chat. Thanks everybody for joining. We did start a little bit earlier than we wanted to.
Cool.
To jump into the semifinals game from the T5S2 series. But we are
Shooting
excited to
phase,
get it on.
nothing
This
in
is a
range,
super cool
charge range,
matchup that I
nothing in
really
range.
wanted
We're done.
to get
Score
going.
1 and get the bonus.
Oh, you do have the bonus. Well played, sir.
Show me what the Salamanders can do to me.
Not gonna be that exciting.
Glurgify, yeah, both are tough matches, and obviously to get to the finals of this tournament, you have to be pretty good. I don't think there's any real pushovers in this first event. A lot of people came in, trying to win that Chaos Army pretty hard. So
kill the things you let me kill.
I don't think there was, for sure, anybody who gets to the finals is going to be pretty strong. And I don't think these guys are going to make huge mistakes.
And the Nurglings.
Oh, do I have
Mr. Yum Yum Lick. Cloud of Flies is the strat. Cloud of Flies is the stratagem for the Death Guard, but the Alpha Legion have one that is almost identical, and with the name of which I do not know. So what GrizzlyNateDog is going to do come Space Wombat shooting phase is use Cloud of Flies on them, and then use the Alpha Legion stratagem on them. Yeah, Glargify is in the tournament. We have had him on a couple times. He's currently the only undefeated player who has played all his games. So he's the one player who's going into the final round. Yeah, with 14 Centurions and 6 aggressors. With those sweet Raptors for a lot of deep strike shenanigans.
Orchard's going to advance. Not advance.
Patrick Persiani.
Yeah, I got you. I'm with you.
Shumacord was who we saw the other day playing the Mephitic Blight Haulers with the Guo. Mr. Yeoman, conceal. Thank you.
You think you can shoot off these Nurglings with that whole army of flamers?
Taking our pants off, boys.
Oh, I'll also get 1 point of recon. Sorry.
Yeah, you definitely have a point of recon.
That's it. Nothing special.
So I'm gonna try to pull up Nate Dogg's data sheets here and run through the combos in his list. Obviously, the Possess Bomb is a pretty complicated piece of technology on the Here comes my co-host. Perfect.
Okay.
Hey, welcome to the show.
Hello.
You
want me to add you to the game real quick?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I will shoot you the password in a PM here. I forgot how to type, I guess. There we go. Okay, so we were actually just talking about you. Shuma's going to be my co-host for the game, my co-commentator, and he played the Mephitic Blight Hauler combo on the stream the other day.
Okay, cool.
The obliterators can drop right here and still shoot. That's all that was verifying.
All right.
Patrick, that was also
Seat
pod
spectator.
1. So we're still in pod 1. These are just the undefeated players so far.
That's not going to go anywhere.
Oh, I lost to this list.
Yeah, to GrizzlyNateDog. Yeah.
Yeah.
Over in the blue.
Close game, but not quite in my favor.
Squad back here is just going to walk forward.
Significant threat overload in that list.
Yeah. Patrick, this is pod 1. Like I said, this is the semifinals, so these are going to be the undefeated players. Don Hussein with the 8 Chaos Rhinos is going to be on tomorrow. If you go to the Discord, then we have a new stream schedule channel, and the time is on that channel. So right now, we just finished Nate Dogg's first turn of movement. It was pretty conservative. He basically moved the Possessed up with the Alpha Legion stratagem, I believe, and then just kind of moved them up a little bit more so that they would hide behind Mortarion. And then he has his Death Shroud Terminators also behind Mortarion. So Mortarion kind of going face for the whole army. But that lets him spend a bunch of CP. He's going to conceal the the Possessed, and so they will be unshootable because of Mortarion, and then he will use the Cloud of Flies on the Death Shroud Terminators.
Yeah.
And I believe he already declared the Cloud of Flies, because I think that you have to declare that during your turn, and he already talked about it. I wonder if that's
Very little line of sight on Mortarion, too.
Yeah, Mortarion.
Surprisingly.
Yeah, interesting that Space Wombat didn't deploy his Sicarians out on the sides. So he's not going to get a lot of shots on Mortarion for sure.
He was probably worried about just getting face planted like right through the ruin on turn 1.
Yeah, so he actually measured out all of the Chaos Army's threat ranges on turn 1, and he deployed everything outside of them. So we say I don't even think we saw a warp time on GrizzlyNateDog's side.
Yeah.
He's just hanging out and staying behind.
Sometimes the threat of the Possess Bomb could be like more powerful than the reality.
Oh, for sure.
You think that they can touch your table edge.
Yeah. I'm not sure what psychic powers NateDog has on his characters, but I wonder if the sorcerer in the back is his warp timer. And so if he was worried about moving Mortarion too far forward and would be out of range of warp time, because it only has a range of 3. It is tough to get off if you're too fast.
He was very conservative in our game, so that could just be a streak of the player.
Sure.
Just
that makes sense. And this looks like a good one to be conservative, because you have such immense threat range that you don't have to push yourself all the way across the table for no reason.
Yeah. He's essentially just giving up 2 sets of Nurglings to get a pristine charge with probably both Mortarion and the full Possess Bomb on turn 2.
Possess can't be shot unless they're the closest.
Not to mention the Obliterators landing probably to clean any screens that might attempt to show up.
Yeah, and one thing I was talking about before you joined is that the threat of the Obliterators is... It's kind of a catch-22 in this army, because you have to collapse in on yourself to not get first turn punched in the face by all these Possessed. And if you do that, your screens aren't going to be perfect for the Obliterators to come in turn 2 or turn 3. Plus...
Yeah, at that point they get their choice of a shooting gallery.
Yeah, because they're Alpha Legion Obliterators, you can actually pick them back up and then redeploy them later on during the game with their redeploy stratagem.
They also become an excellent target for the conceal stratagem the moment you've engaged.
Yep, absolutely.
Take it.
So we're in Space Wombat shooting phase now. I think he's just trying to pull off these Nurglings and grab a couple kills. There's not really much else in the army that he can tag right now. Looks like Space Wombat's picked the Reaper. That seems pretty good, because there's a lot of high wound infantry on the side of GrizzlyNateDog. He's also got Headhunter.
And you inevitably have to kill the Possessed anyway, so that's putting
you're gonna grab
30, 40 on the board right there.
Exactly. Plus these Nurglings give it up, and that's a lot of wounds in and of themselves, just because they're 4 wounds apiece.
Yeah.
And these Death Shroud Terminators as well is another 12 wounds. So that seems like a pretty reasonable pick. He's also got Headhunter. That one's going to be a lot harder for him to get. I think that's kind of ambitious. You know, you're probably going to get Mortarion. If you don't kill Mortarion at some point in the game, you lose for the most part.
Yeah.
So he's assuming he's going to kill Mortarion, but these other support characters are very far. They're going to be very far away. I don't know if he's going to be able to grab them.
So one will die and one will go over to the next.
Yeah, but I mean, what else do you take? Butcher's Bill, I suppose? Although, once the Nurglings are gone, I mean, you're sort of handing your opponent the control of when you can score that.
Yeah.
In my experience against this list, if you can get the breakout that you need to win against Possess Bomb, like, once you have managed to clear that one squad, it's not that difficult to jump forward and start tagging these characters.
Yeah, and it is mostly a Chaos Space Marine list when it comes down to brass tacks. Like, as soon as you get rid of the Possessed and you weather the storm that is Mortarion, it's a bunch of Chaos Space Marines hiding in the back. And as we've seen time and time again, those are not that impressive.
Yeah, a Master Possession, Dark Apostle, Sorcerer, and Poxbringer are just 4 sorcerers. That's... Well, and a Poxbringer, which is even easier to kill. It's 4 dudes with 4 wounds. Not not a lot going on there defensively. Not a lot of threat either. If you can get back there.
Yep. One thing that I do regret, as a side note, is that I wasn't able to jump in this game early and make the players switch the table topper to the Nurgle one.
Okay.
So I think
I mean,
a pretty heavy. We lost a lot of thematic elements of this game, and I don't know if I can recover from that.
I mean, as the TO and Purveyor, I feel like you could sneak over and just tap that button.
Yeah, I could give myself a color up in here.
1, 2, 3, 4, 6 saves. Oh, sorry. You could use, yeah. It was 6, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I want to do it so badly. I'm like hovering over this button, but I know if I do, I'm gonna like delete the board by accident, and then I wouldn't be able to live with myself.
Actually, I do not believe spectators can. Have you tried it? I don't believe spectators.
All right. Well, here we go.
I got
Ready?
no, that's just 2 hits.
You've dared me.
So just
Oh, I can't. Bizarre. I could the other day. We had a whole discussion in the chat.
Maybe that's a permission.
Maybe I was.
Stubbers into him.
Maybe I was the host and we were talking about something different. Well, now I feel
4
foolish.
saves
I'm
and
a
Stubbers.
spectator still, I guess. Because they had it was interesting. They had the other color, the placements for the icons that you click on for the other colors, and they were like hidden in the corners of the map. You couldn't really see them if you just looked at the table. So I just thought that they would have been hidden the whole time, but I guess I actually can't change my color. Whoopsie daisies. Ignore me. I'm just going to continue to be depressed about this glorious green table topper instead of the Nurgle one.
So what do you think about these Invictor Warsuit placements?
So
I feel like those are what he needs to kill the possessed. And he's really kind of throwing him out there.
I feel like this might be a devious ploy by Space Wombat, because he wants nothing more than for the Possessed Bomb to wrap one of those Invictors. Because that Invictor will probably kill
4 saves.
6 Possessed if it gets wrapped. See,
Relying on
Jan Stam in the chat asked what table mod are we using. We're using the 40k ITC Ruins map, which you can find on Steam. If you go into our Discord, you can find a link in the event rules for the T5S2 League. We also have there's a video on the channel right now called the T5S2 Primer that also has a link in the description for that. What were you saying there, Shuma?
I was just gonna say. I mean, certainly that could be a good ploy, but depending on Possessed Bomb to wrap a vehicle with a toughness of 6 and 13 wounds, rather than just send it back to the Emperor, is a bit of a risky ploy, especially with these intercessors right out in front.
Right. Yeah, they are a much juicier rep target for sure.
Taken 2.
I don't know if I love... I wonder if they're trying to... They don't look close enough, like they're trying to block a landing zone. I wonder if they're just trying to physically stop a charge through there. But I don't... I guess he's... Space Wombat is trying to stop them. He probably buys himself a turn of them getting into the Sicarians and everything, but definitely there's enough up here that can be wrapped. That I'm not sure that those Sicarians are going to do that much damage.
How would you prevent a wrap in this scenario, especially now? Like the possessed at this point could likely reach the back table edge. They can go through these ruins.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's see. So I haven't gone through all of the.
So I can only shoot them if they were.
I unfortunately am not 100% familiar with the entire combo that's a Possessed Bomb. I've played against it and know the sort of the upper level of its of the combination, but I'm not. I'm not sure what all of the pieces do. I don't believe that there's a greater possessed on the table, and that is the model that lets them advance in charge. Is that correct? Do you know if that's right, Shuma?
This is the question that I have for you.
They have a few ways to do it. I do not believe that this list actually can accomplish that. So they are just looking at a 7-inch move, 7-inch warp time, and then 2d6 charge, which I suppose that would definitely not actually get them to the back. I am used to the double advance as well.
So, and Alpha Legion doesn't have a way to stop a Overwatch, right? I don't believe that that's true.
I actually don't know what
No,
buildings
but
best to shoot into, 'cause
oftentimes Mortarion does by just taking it for them.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So Mortarion could probably sneak in,
Got a
tag
Viper
this
Frag?
front Intercessor squad, front Victor Warsuit,
Yep.
and then the Possess
Yeah,
Bomb
so do 3 shots
come in,
back.
wrap,
Follows up, yeah.
probably kill the Warsuit.
Yeah, I wonder if Space Bombat wants
Uh,
he wants to live the dream and flamer that
so
unit
2 more for that one.
2 times before the Invictor goes
Yeah.
down, but I'm not sure he's going to get that
Sorry,
chance
the
for sure.
sergeant. I'll assume the sergeant's the one shooting the 3.
But right now he's just
So
blasting
these
the crap
guys are
out of some
confused.
Nurglings. Those poor guys.
Or trying to hit
Yeah,
him.
this is definitely a variant of the list that much more focuses on endurance.
And then I believe
The
sergeant right here, he's hitting on 4s.
Possess Bomb here does not actually get the double damage because I do not believe, at least in the game against me, that he took Virulent Blessing on the Poxbringer. Perhaps he did this time, though.
Yeah, let's see if he's written his spells down.
Oh, he's out of range.
No, it looks like he's just written.
I'm sorry, it's
Measure beforehand.
you do get the doubling. I believe he did take Virulent Blessing, but he doesn't have the Nurgle Demon detachment. Oftentimes you'll have
sure.
two Poxbringers, and then the Nurglings belong to those, and then
Yes,
you
this
string
is
back the
the
demons near one of the Poxbringers
see
to get the
the
+1 strength, and then also all results of 6s, which I believe get up to +2 or +3. Then add 1 and then double,
So what are you shooting with? Mortar
resulting
shells?
in a 4 damage swings, I believe,
Yep.
Okay.
plus mortal wounds.
So they each miss. I'll reroll 1 for Salamanders. I got 1 hit.
It ends up being incredibly dangerous.
It rolls off.
Basically anything in the game that is touched by that
Yeah.
is then picked up off the table.
And especially because Space Wombat is playing an Imperium army, so he's going to trigger Death of the False Emperor
Save.
that many more
Yeah.
times.
Good. And then
Yeah, it's
boom.
they'll kill anything they want to, for sure. There's nothing that's particularly resilient on this table besides maybe the Spike Captain, and even that, I don't think he can survive the immense amount of damage that they can put out.
No, high toughness
Out of 36 of that, too.
doesn't often matter when you're looking at such a number of stacked +2 wounds.
Yeah, he does have a -1 to wound on him for, I believe, the Salamander Mantle. So that turns off a couple of the combos, or at least makes them harder, but you can easily surmount that with Veterans of the Long War,
Yeah.
so I'm not sure it's going to be a big deal.
Yes, I need to kill that guy first. So
Yeah, you're looking
back
at +1 off the
fire,
Master of the
fire.
Possessed, I believe, +1 off of Virulent Blessing, +1 off of the Strat, possibly another +1 off of Veterans,
So these are hitting on
and then
2
-1.
Yeah, it's.
And they're strength 6, so they're hitting on
I think
6s typically in the first
the
place.
Possessed stratagem. Does it give you a +1 wound, or is that a? I know it
There's a
maxes
few
your
in there.
attacks, right?
Why you gotta have so many?
So there's a couple.
I don't know, I just said
I'd have to look specifically at all of them again. One maxes the attacks. I believe one is just a flat plus. I can open this back up. That's one of the things with the Possess Bomb. They have access to essentially everything in all of Chaos
Yeah.
across every faction,
Yeah.
which makes it very difficult to track where their buffs are coming from. There are a lot of versions of this list.
That's what we're going through right now, and I think
Okay,
chat's
so the
having the
relics of
same
Karen
the
and
same
Karen
realization.
Karen
We're talking about Slanesh combos right now. We're 100% Nurgle
Yeah.
today, guys. Yeah.
Back unit back there.
Okay,
So-
which guy shot at him? Oh, the Thunderfire did. Cool.
Yeah, this Thunderfire shot. This
Okay.
one hasn't fired yet.
Okay.
So this Sakaran right here, heavy bolters into that Nurgling Swarm.
Okay.
He has 4 rerolls. 'cause he's
Okay,
got
so
them.
there's a list of Demonkin Warlord traits, but those are not actually related to the Demonkin Ritualist.
And then I'll salamander that.
Thanks.
So you've got
Chaos
See.
Space Marine rules.
Word bearers, detachments.
So yeah, the Demonkin stratagem, Vessels of
Yeah.
the Neverborn, is +1
And then,
strength in
he's
attacks.
8 going into
So that gets them-
So that puts them up to 7.
Yeah,
7 strength, and then
With the
D3
Poxwalker.
+1 attacks.
wherever
These
he
are hitting on
went.
4s?
What's the
I
range
don't
of the?
see him in the. Oh, he's in the center. Of
He's
this little-
stuffed in the middle
Okay,
of
so
the
that-
character
yeah.
blob.
He looks like a.
Yeah, 36
He looks
for
like a
the
little cultist.
Let's
guy.
see. Word
And
bearer
what's shooting at him?
stratagems.
The
Okay.
autocannons. This guy.
Cool.
Looks like
Strength 7, so winner on
Space Wombat here just using his autocannons to basically target the only thing they can, just picking up the Chaos Space Marines
hold on.
that
that-
I
GrizzlyNateDog
did
has
sorry.
in the back holding as back
So
objectives.
just 3 saves.
1 CP revered host is +1
Minus.
damage.
Just AP -1.
So they do have access to that as well. As he is playing. Oh no, he is not. I forgot. The possessed are Alpha Legion, obviously. It is just the Dark Apostle that is the War Bearers.
So GrizzlyNateDog
So
picked
much.
engineers here.
Are they fearless?
That's not true. I'm
they're
just
not.
kidding. I lied.
No, but they're normal Marines.
That's
They're not
Space
gonna
Wombat's
take,
pick.
3 killing.
Yeah.
6 would kill 1. Okay.
I feel like he probably have to take that on this list. There's not a lot. There's not a lot of maneuver strategy or objectives
Yeah.
that allow you to score fully out without leaving your own deployment zone.
And also, you're playing Space Marines, so it's kind of a gimme. You get these 10 wounds of intercessors that can hang out in the back.
Yeah. And Tech Marine can just stand on that. Oh no, the Tech Marine cannot take it, fortunately. But yeah, some intercessors.
Yeah. Okay, chat's helping us out here.
Okay.
Deuce 83. This special
Crowdsource
detachment
this.
gives mortal wounds on 6s, and the strat for +1 attack and strength. So they end up at D3 plus 2 attacks. I think I'm thinking of the. I was thinking of the Obliterator strat for Iron Warriors to let them reroll their
so I'll
random
take
shots.
I guess the 2 on.
You might also be
the-
thinking of the Dark
the 3 on the
Apostles
3 up.
fake litanies and the
Okay, 4 up. Yeah,
So
yeah.
many combos.
Well, I've got-
Dark
I've got
Disciples
4.
specific psychic powers both also specifically buff them.
I got you. I'm with you.
That's a Master Possession
The other 2 are good.
we're talking about.
Like a boss.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So that's all of that shooting. I think the only thing I've left to crack is the.
But at the end of the
Thunderfire.
day, the big takeaway
It's
here
gonna
is
crack
no
into
advance in
those
charge.
stack Marines back there.
Torin, what are those weird nuclear markers? Those are the objectives that the players are using for
So 4 shots
the
into the Marines.
number
of shots. Right?
for this game. Yeah, so it's effectively,
We're gonna
and
have
a lot of players, especially competitive players, use these in real life too. But effectively, it's
10 shots total.
a
So
dotted
we're
line.
gonna
That's
have
the actual
Hitting on
objective marker,
3.
and then the zone
Three, right.
is the
Minus
3-inch
1.
area around it that you have to touch to control
It's
it.
all good.
And then,
So players just using that, so you don't have to measure the actual objective. It's a lot quicker and easier than using the 40mm marker.
Master of the Possessed likely is taking Cursed Earth and Infernal Power. Cursed Earth is the additive +1 to your invulnerable save. Infernal Power is reroll 1s to hit and wound. And what would be the
I
other?
don't think I want to spend any CPs.
Dark Apostle.
So I think it's just a command check, and then I'll score for the end of the round.
Yep.
So I like
will
this play
spend
by
2
Space
CP to
Wombat to
auto-pass
pull off as many of these random Chaos Space Marines as he can,
Okay, so I have.
because
For sure.
as far as I understand, none of these models
So I have
want to be
Hole,
that
I have
far
two more,
outside of
you
sort of their death
have
blob. All of their
Hole,
abilities are pretty short ranges, so
tapping that,
GrizzlyNateDog doesn't want to have to pull his
Headhunter,
characters
I
away
don't
to hold
have
these back
engineers, I
objectives.
can't score yet. Reaper. Did I pick up a Reaper?
For sure. I'm actually surprised he deployed the Nurglings so far forward. I mean, I imagine he was trying to block a first turn charge,
So-
or he was trying to block the ability to block the first turn charge, but then he didn't even go for it anyway.
No,
Which
objective
leaves-
number 3 is his bonus
Yeah.
objective, so that's why he had the Nurglings up there.
CS12,
The ones up at the top,
24,
I'm not
+6.
so sure
I
about.
meant in the
29,
2
yeah,
ruins on the sides.
Sure. Yeah, the ruins at the bottom. It seems pretty straightforward. They just don't want to get shot, and maybe they'll run out and grab something late game. The ones up at the top, I do agree they were kind of they were pretty far out there. He could have put them
Right, that's why I
in
spent
one of the
2
ruins in the
CP.
back
I
to
was
run
like,
and grab an objective later in the game when these Chaos Space Marines start dying.
I do my shots
Which they're
a little
doing
bit
already,
differently, I
so.
thought the other eliminators could
Yeah.
shoot 'em,
Doing what Chaos Space Marines do.
So I think if I shoot the-
That is one of the critical weaknesses of the Possess Bomb list, is because they're so reliant on so many character auras, they tend to string out pretty significantly, and then your actual front line of them becomes very thin. And then, one of the ways that I almost came back in the game was you just tag them with 3 or 4
Yep.
characters along their line,
Yeah, and they're still
string them
dangerous,
out, they
but
can't actually leave.
If you're only
Yeah.
getting punched by
Goes
1 or
after
2
an
guys, it
active. Basically,
doesn't make
all
a
your
big
stuff is
difference.
-1 to hit, right?
Everything
One thing
can
you can
outbleed
force as
So
well is if you have
I'll tell you
powerful
which one- that's
denial
why the Nurglings
abilities,
weren't.
you can try to block the
Definitely
warp
not
time
TC.
by
I'll try
front
to, like I said,
loading
like you
those
just saw, I'll try to be
effectively
vocal when I'm doing
and
it.
force them to
It's all
chain
good.
back to where the
I'll try to make sure I,
sorcerer is to get that
Yeah, I'm
off.
not
Because
trying to
again, it's
cheat
only
too
3-inch
long, so I
range.
forget as I start rolling
Playing
through.
Tyranids, that's something that's very powerful that I have is the Deepest Shadow from High Fleet Kronos. And any of the factions with the 4+ deny stratagem force that whole thing to string way back, which really mitigates the
and
damage output.
That over-reliance on a couple of key psychic buffs is one of the reasons why Possess Bomb does have some pretty significant counterplay. It has some pretty bad matchups, especially in things like Grey Knights or Sisters right now.
Yep. And yeah, one thing that I mentioned just before you popped on is that this list especially relies on warp time because it also has Mortarion.
Yeah.
And he's fast. He's a move 12 guy, but he's not fast enough to cross the table by himself. So
No.
if you fail 1 or 2 key warp times in the game with this list, I think it could be curtains pretty quickly because you just don't make up that board space. You have to keep bleeding CPs to keep your big monsters alive. Mortarion keeps eating wounds. You keep losing Death Shroud Terminators. And eventually it kind of spirals out of control.
Marines will run a good 12.
Well, given this excellent deployment here, at least by GrizzlyNateDog, very little can actually see the heroically sacrificing martyr that is our Grand Mortarion.
Yeah. Yeah, so Glargify in the chat brings up a pretty good point, which I think is
Oh, you're good.
pretty fair, which is that the best thing that the Salamanders can do is split up in the corners and force the possessed to split up to chase him down, which makes his engagements a lot harder. And Space Wombat, as we can see, have not really done that. He's placed all of his Icarians as well as 1 Thunderfire in the middle. He has the Invictors sort of set up to support that. But I think I would have liked to see 1 Sicarian on either side. I think he's hoping he's over relying on the Chapter Master reroll to get through to hit penalties that GrizzlyNateDog's bringing. And because of that, he's clustered his whole army together and makes him a pretty juicy target for these possessed to just ram right into, probably on turn 3.
Definitely.
Because now he's going to be able to send Mortarion up, even if the possessed don't get too close. GrizzlyNateDog can basically just maintain the plan. He can run everything behind the L on Space Wombat side of the table. He could potentially block them with the Obliterators or the Death Shroud Terminators to keep Conceal active, and then just set him up for next turn.
He's a big guy, but Mortarion alone cannot get a wrap. So I would wonder what will happen if he leaps over here in this following turn, unsupported, lands with the Oblitz. Yep, just like this, lands with the Oblitz. The Oblitz, I imagine, maybe go for this Invictor Warsuit opposite where Mortarion's setting up on. Takes both of those out, but I mean, at that point, Mortarion he's a tough guy, but there's a lot more dark green over here than there are light green.
Yeah.
He will not survive. And then, at that point, I mean, do the Possessed Bomb have what it takes to just, like, faceplant this entire line?
Yeah.
I feel like you have to kind of send these all in at once.
A big sort of downside of the Possessed is that at the end of the day, they are basically just intercessors, right? And so a strong enough counterpunch will wipe that unit pretty quickly.
Well, intercessors with a 4-up invulnerable.
Yeah, they do.
Possible -2 to -3 to be hit.
Yeah, but that toughness 4, in a 3+ armor is it'll go down pretty quickly, especially once you start getting hit with these flamers that don't care about those penalties to hit.
Especially with this Librarian with Null Zone. Or does this Librarian not have Null Zone? It's called Librarian Null.
I believe that he does have Null Zone. I think I overheard them talking about the...
so I hover, it just says Clareskin and Drakeskin.
Yeah, he does have 2 Librarians. One has the Promethean Discipline, so he's going to have the Fire Shield, I think, and Drakeskin. And then the other one's going to have Might of Heroes and Null Zone.
Okay. That is devastating. If you can simply
this
walk up Null Zone from 3 inches away while they're locked in combat.
Mm-hmm.
As a demon player myself, Null Zone is one of those powers you don't necessarily consider that your opponent would bring it, because short range, difficult cast on a squishy character, but sometimes they just walk up, it goes off, and your army just goes away.
The game's over. Yeah.
It just vanishes.
Yeah, it's especially, it seems like we're seeing a lot of super heavies, especially in this series. I mean, we just saw triple Chaos Knight fight triple Lord of Skulls, and all of those typically have a not unreasonable invulnerable save, usually a 4+ or a 5+, and you can usually apply that Null Zone a lot more safely against those models because you can hide it in ruins and things like that. And again, that's like a big chunk of your army that you're immediately going to lose. An interesting thing about hitting infantry with it is that what your opponent will do typically is just pull all of the infantry that are
from the
range of the Null Zone first, and then on later saves we'll be able to take them. which says for some reason, in my experience, always surprises the Space Marine players. But that is how the rules of the game work. So it's
Yeah.
Yep, and not
So,
just my, it's
we
mine
do
and your
see
turn.
GrizzlyNateDog doing what we're saying here. He's screening
Yeah,
the
all
possessed
damage
with the
is
Death
fine,
Shroud. So he's going to
Yes.
force
Oh,
Space Wombat to
please.
fight those Death Shroud before they are able to hit the possessed with anything.
They don't have 4
He's
up.
also got Mortarion right in the middle,
Oh, so you
but
roll for each
Mortarion's
unit, and
going.
then
He's
if
going
they
face,
4 up, they take D3.
so he's not going to be in range to send wounds off to those
And
Death
if you're
Shroud
possessed
Terminators.
with
So
close,
he's
that
going
No.
to be
it only ignores Nurgle.
he's
Or
going to
you're
be
possessed
taking a
with
ton
Nurgle.
of damage. So
everyone's
I'm wondering
vulnerable.
if GrizzlyNateDog's just hoping that it takes most of, if not all of, the Salamanders' firepower to kill Mortarion, and he's not going to be able to also get
You gotta be so
these
angry,
Terminators down.
He's not
Might
angry.
be overestimating Mortarion's
He looks
ability
angry, he looks
to weather
mad.
the
It
storm.
always bugged me too. Okay, so look how
Yeah,
many
it really
This is not a
matters.
small amount of firepower here.
The real question
It
is how
should
many
be,
of his
but
defensive
it's
powers he
not.
gets off
But
on
you get what I'm
Mortarion,
saying?
right?
Like, it should be like a total, like,
Or at least
he
the
only has-
Miasma Pestilence.
it should be just like a plasma.
Yeah,
cannon.
he has at most one.
No, it's just a nice little one-shot pistol that really doesn't do much of anything. It's like, why does he even have it?
Yeah, it's just like, it's the size of a normal
Looks like
Marine.
we're complaining. It sounds like we're complaining about the Lantern right now, which I don't
Oh
think
yeah,
Mortarion.
and
Mortarion doesn't appreciate players complaining about the size of his gun.
in my game with him, he was pretty down on the Lantern as well. Although I feel like it did some pretty good work. It's not a small gun. 18-inch, strength 8, -3. I believe it's just a flat 3.
No.
So, and it hits if you can string it to 3 or 4 squads. I mean, that can pump out 15 wounds.
Puzzle. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I'm gonna roll this prayer. All right, cool. It doesn't really matter. They're not gonna be in combat. All right, run in.
Yeah, Glargify coming in with some hot tech tactics in the chat here. Possessed can't chase down the Space Marines while also under fire, so killing Morty and the Obliterators leaves the Possessed super open. Yeah, and it's not like they're gonna be be able to hide behind these Death Shroud Terminators and conceal all game. The Death Shroud Terminators are so immensely slow, and you're gonna eventually run out of CP to protect everything.
Oh.
So how
Now-
do you feel about this layered defense here? Do you think that they can... So assuming that Mortarion does hit this Warsuit, kill it. Assuming that the Oblits land, kill the other frontal Warsuit.
Do I or don't I?
Mortarion consolidates into this Intercessor squad, so they then have to fall back. How do you feel about this layered defense here by the Salamanders? Do you think they have enough firepower to push this off?
Honest with you,
I think they
don't
do.
want to yet, but I feel like I
Next
have to.
round, we're going to be in Tactical Doctrine, where most of their abilities will trigger.
You want me to leave them
And
off the table or bring them
this
on?
Invictor is going to be able to pop off his max hits and potentially a 3 mortal wound. Looks like we might be trying to kill him, though, with these Obliterators. The Invictor in the center there, anyway, if he does end up surviving the Obliterator shot that I imagine is about to go into him.
I'm sorry, I'm here now. What's up?
He's
Oh,
going to
no,
be able to
that's
do a bunch of
I
mortal
was
wounds
debating on whether bring
to
them on the table or not.
Mortarion with his +1 to wound with his max
Yeah,
12
I
wounds
think
or
I
12
think that's where
hits.
you can put 'em. Yeah, you've even got movement ahead of that, right?
In addition, you have potentially a +1 to wound on one of these Sicarians, maybe +2 if he gets his. Tongue is messaging me here, so I am gonna go ahead and turn off my notifications. Cool. Anyway, the moral of the story is
Yeah, I
that
needed them to roll
the
higher in their advance, and I tried to advance the other one.
is
Try
that
to push me back off.
if
the
there's
wall.
one thing that Salamanders
That was my
do,
hope.
it is
didn't
put
work.
out a ton of damage.
What if
They
you'd
have
put a
the
little
simplest
bit
stratagem in the
closer?
entire Space Marine.
You would have
This
smashed
faction,
my face.
which is 1
I
CP
might have
plus
played
1
a
wound
little
on anything,
differently.
anytime.
I won't disagree with that.
And that's kind of that's where they do. That's where they go. They're just
I
going to
won't
do a bunch of
disagree with
damage,
that at
and
all.
I think, and especially at close range, which is where they excel.
Like I've ran this.
They're gonna
match
be
in my
able to
head. I
put out a
told you I
ton.
love chess.
Whether they can kill both the
Ran this match
Obliterators
in my
and
head,
Morty, I
going,
think is
"All
the
right,
real
if you do
question.
This, what do I do?
And they're certainly not going to
This,
be
what do I
able to
do?
kill these
All
Death
right.
Shroud. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't even see GrizzlyNateDog cloudiflies these Death Shroud, because, why would you? They're not going to be in the game for a couple turns, and your opponent has to deal with these 2 threats in his face. If he doesn't,
or 6 inches,
it's
right?
GG already.
So the Invictors blow up the biggest. They're D6 for D6 mortals.
Oh, okay.
Let me double. Yeah, so that's the most threatening right there. Let me double check the Sicarans.
Yeah, because if that's the case, I may do a little bit different with this then.
Yeah. I don't want to tell you the wrong thing here. Thought they blew up.
So I actually, to kind of answer your question here, Shuma, I don't think that the layered defense of the Salamanders at this juncture is as important as the defense of the Nurgle player, right?
Never mind. I was looking at your snipers.
They do not. You're right. The snipers don't explode. There we go. So they both explode the same. Sorry, the tank and the Invictors both have the same explosion. So on a 6, they blow up. And you can make my stuff blow up, right?
Yeah. Well, not perfectly. I will add 3 to it, and you can't re-roll it. So I increase the odds of greatly by that.
Yeah, it looks like the player's discussing a pretty important interaction in here, which is that GrizzlyNateDog, because he's possessed or Alpha Legion, he does have access to the sabotage stratagem, so he can add +3 to the explosion roll for any of these vehicles.
All right.
So it looks like he might be angling on killing an Invictor or a Sicarian and exploding it inside Space Wombat's army here, which would be real bad.
It'll go off.
Chuck a deny at it from this one back here. Don't think I beat you. Nope, I got a 7.
Mortarian then will give himself blades. That'll go off.
Oh, I have been muted for a while.
You were pretty quiet there, but that's okay.
So that
definitely wouldn't
forces
be a
the vehicle.
One person we're muted for way too long.
Nope.
That forces the vehicle to explode, correct? It doesn't just move it to a 4+.
It adds +3, so you explode on a 3+.
+3.
You also can't re-roll the explosion roll, so.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
that would be pretty devastating, especially on either of the Sicarians, because this Tech Marine only has 2 wounds, according to this hover, although I feel like that might be incorrect.
I believe they have 4. Yeah, I think that's an old stat line.
Tabletop to TTS, you are stuck in 8th edition.
Yeah, so the Thunderfire Cannon, more importantly, both the Thunderfire Cannon and the Tech Marine both have 4, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And so it's 2 50/50s. Discord, why are you giving me notifications? I turn those off.
All my eggs in one basket right there.
Yeah, man, like these.
Are the Obliterators in range of the Sicarians? They have a 24-inch range. It feels like they might not be.
I think he might be
given the line from...
The Warsuit might be, I think, the primary target because of the Salamander stratagems. I think it is actually more dangerous to Mortarian than... Or at least equivalent to than one of these Sicarians. Right. It looks like I think he's got Drake skin on one of them and Might of Heroes on the other on the Sicarian, so they are both +1 toughness right now.
Yeah, it is. All right.
So Space Wombat definitely trying to make them as difficult to kill as possible.
Infernal Earth will try to cast Cursed Earth. I'm sorry, Master Possession of Cursed Earth.
Look at this colossal stack of buffs on Mortarian. Oh my god. How much does he need to kill an Invictor Warsuit?
I think something tells me that he'll be able to do it. I don't know if he needs all that. He's got blades. He's got miasma. That's good. He also has Virulent Blessing.
Salamanders
and
Diabolical Strength
and Prescience. Okay, man. You do you.
For every... what is this? For every 4, 5, and 6 to wound? So if he uses the damaging stat line on his scythe, is that a flat 6 or is that a d6? Please tell me it's a flat 6. I want to see that swing for 14 in one hit.
Just two-shot that guy.
No, just one. A single shot. 1 14 damage hit.
Oh, with the double? Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you go to 6 plus 1,
it
then
is
double.
a d6 on his eviscerating blow. So
all right.
he'll get the automatic kill. Yeah, Ben Starkey in the chat, if that sabotage works, that's a big oof for sure. You get a bunch of mortal wounds on this captain who's ridiculously hard to kill, so those are valuable mortal wounds. You probably kill the Thunderfire. You have 2 50/50s at it.
Yes, sir.
Librarian, possibly take out a Eliminator, which will be important to protect those characters.
All right,
Yeah, back
so
to
we're gonna
Glargify's
shoot
point
this
in the
way. I'm
chat.
gonna shoot at that
It's
and
probably
that
the
north
play to split everything up,
to draw the line. We'll
and
draw
that
there, cross the Marines,
stratagem just makes it more impactful.
so shoots on a 2.
Glad I never play with vehicles, so I don't have to remember it.
Well, not anymore. After a few harsh times with a couple of what kept exploding? Executioner repulsors.
Bad touched my army. My own repulsor executioners. My repulsor executioners killed more of my characters than they ever killed of enemies, for sure.
So the obliterators. So let me get their shots.
That is one thing I have discovered recently about this battle wagon list that I have been toying with. They those boys explode big.
Yep. Yeah, when it goes off, sad times.
Yeah. Unfortunately, not very orky, but there's no way to force that explosion or even make it easier.
Oh, game.
The only guaranteed explosion is the Burnabama.
Strength 8.
Okay, so the strength 8, AP minus 2,
1
and
damage.
then 1 damage apiece? Okay.
Yep.
We're measuring ranges here to see how much of this force can fire into the obliterators without moving.
One thing I almost wish I saw was that it would be this Invictor standing next to the first Invictor, because then at that point you can Born Protectors and get 2 Flamer shots onto Mortarion. Plus, potentially a charge from a second Invictor that he theoretically couldn't attack.
The choice to spread them out was, I think, maybe a misplay. It makes them much more difficult to wrap when all of them are there, because they're just not, like, 2 Invictor Warsuits with the Flamestorm Cannons, not a good wrap target. So even if you kill one and, do that, then at that point, they can also just punch their way out.
So
well, if you can't get the wrap, they can just walk away.
Oh, for sure, yeah. They can't fall back and shoot, though, so... You definitely don't want it to be
not a Salamander strat for that?
There's one, you can count them as stationary. I don't believe you can fall back and shoot.
Counting as stationary does not also have the additive benefit of counting does not have to fall back.
Effectively, it just moves you 0 inches, but you still have the sort of the fallback status effect on you.
Womp womp.
That's how most of the fallbacks or the count of stationary stratagems in the game work.
I'm just gonna put them all into.
What do you think this Invictor Warsuit on the far side is doing? Just kind of hanging out, just being...
There were some Nurglings up there that he went to go burn and Nate.
Oh, he's got 2+ save.
Why notifications are coming from?
Yeah. Yeah, we're just gonna put all of them into this. That one's. How are the Securians buffed up? I'm sorry.
They're each stuff 8. That's all. They're
each stuff 8. Okay.
So it doesn't matter which one you pick.
Oh, Discord.
So yeah.
You getting more invites to Apex Legends?
No more Apex Legends.
We're just gonna stick all these
hopefully.
I should just boot that up and just invite you right now.
Yeah, just constantly spam me. Oh no. The one thing you have to do is not invite me to play Battlefront, because I'd just accept that one.
I mean,
sorry, just throw it to me for the next 4 hours of this game. Spanish.
Yeah, we're moving from playing. We're streaming. We went from the semifinals of the T5S2 pod. Very exciting game between Salamanders and Nurgle. We're watching some Stormtroopers.
You just start streaming.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You guys want to see me go 0-15 with General Grievous? Check this out. Woo!
Jedi.
Alright, so the Thunderfighter hitting on.
So here's a question. Star Wars memes, but in the 40k context, are they okay?
Star Wars
Ultimate power.
You're right.
Yes,
so someone just
100%.
saying yes.
Absolutely.
Repeatedly. Okay.
Star Wars memes
Or
transposed Star Wars memes are acceptable in any sci-fi setting or fantasy.
What about a good do it?
Cool.
Do it.
All right.
Of course. I use those in game. So it looks like the Obliterators have elected
There you go.
to shoot
You
at
just
the
need that many
Thunderfire.
warp saves.
Probably not a bad choice. The Thunderfire, firing those possessed, cutting their movement in half, might have cut them from being able to engage for an entire another turn.
But you are going to conceal them, and there is a second Thunderfire.
Hello?
I think he's worried about losing these Chaos Space Marines in the back, so he doesn't have to, like we said before, turn around and go grab those.
So,
I forgot. This is 8th edition. Thunderfires only come in pairs.
They do, yeah. Sometimes
or in triplicate.
It is strange that they are Salamanders Thunderfires and not Imperial Fists. That's usually their natural habitat.
No.
Is it the yellow?
Maybe this player had Imperial Fist list, had a Ultramarines list, accidentally left them together at one point, and
yeah,
the paint
the color wheel
together and turn them into Salamanders.
You're basically hitting on 6s.
Okay.
Whoopsies.
I mean, you get the 3 Invictors from the Ultramarines, you get the Thunderfires from the Salamanders.
I forgot my chaplain. Do you mind if I roll my chaplain?
Go ahead.
For the
You get the Intercessors from the fact that this is a Space Marine army. It works. It happens.
Yep.
So the Invictor flames into you. It's going to be 9 flames.
So it looks like Mortarian's charging the Invictor. 9 hits on him with the Incendium Cannon. And we are in Tactical Doctrine now, so we're winning on 4s.
Does not care about the Miasma Pestilence.
Yeah, it does not. I wonder... I think I would have spent the CP to deal 3 mortals and max for 12 hits, I think, here. Before this Invictor dies, you want it to just put out as much damage as you can.
Takes 3.
Yeah, especially since, in all likelihood, Mortarion is going to be the thing that is allowing the Obliterators to be concealed target.
Yeah, let's take a quick CP count here.
Okay, sure.
What's the strength on them?
So it looks like GrizzlyNateDog down to 4.
And 5 respectively. So
Obviously, this is a CP hungry list. Possess Bomb, because you have to keep those possessed alive. It does cost a lot to keep them unshootable. 11 CP for Space Wombat. So he's got plenty to burn. And I think he should have burned those, burning Mortarion.
Yeah.
Yep. Man, you're just eating him alive
This is
now.
the most devastating Overwatch.
Oh man, it looks like his
maybe he did not need it.
Are getting wounds through as well.
Wow.
No, Morty always loses in the wounds. I can't ever seem to.
Invulnerable saves looks like he saved him a bit.
You're tough 9.
Tough 7.
Yeah, add Valdor. Yeah, I'll play around with the volume a little bit for you. And everybody in the chat, let me know if you guys have any requests on in terms of my technical settings.
Is that total? Is that 4?
No, I think you've gotten 5.
Okay.
So what were the engineers this game?
5 wounds from that Overwatch on Mortarion. You could have bracketed him if Space Wombat had spent all those CP, I think.
I got to do them separate.
Space Wombat probably could have bracketed him twice, and I still think the stack of buffs is at least killing this Invictor worth it.
The Invictor's 100% dead.
So the silver
Nothing is saving that poor guy.
The rest of them are just bolter shots.
What do you think about this play? I feel like just throwing Mortarion out all alone, not even moving the possessed up, was...
looks like he multi-charged
a little risky.
Intercessors as well, so they're fine.
Squad loses 2 because you killed the person out of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, the Possess Bomb has been... I mean, it's been staying behind the models that can screen for it, but...
Nope.
I would have... I don't think you need all these buffs from the Sorcerer, right?
No. You at least move the Possess Bomb up to behind the wall.
I would have,
right?
yeah, I would have warp timed them. And then you're concealed behind the Obliterators and Mortarion, which Space Wombat has to shoot anyway, so... They do feel a little defensive, and like Space Wombat, if he just holds on and is able to clear the threats that GrizzlyNateDog are presenting him, he might be able to weather the storm long enough to come back later in the game.
As it stands now, I mean, Mortarion will dust this off, but I do not see him and these Obliterators surviving at the end of
6, 7, 8, 9.
the Salamander player's turn.
Yeah, we'll see. Obliterators are tough, and especially in cover, because they are infantry. Yeah, here comes Morty, big old 9-inch charge.
Think he's gonna split the attacks?
He has to kill the Invictor, right? And then you just engage the Intercessors. You don't really care about them attacking you. But I mean,
yeah, I suppose he could consolidate forward and tap these other ones as well.
Yeah, I think that's what he's gonna do, and then we're gonna see an epic battle between his captain
they're
and
gonna charge the Warsuit.
Mortarion. I'm gonna go for a charge on the Obliterators as well. See if we're rolling there.
Okay. Remember my strat this time.
He does have the fact that he does mortal wounds to all squads within 7 inches of him at the beginning of his combat, I believe.
I think within 6 inches.
So within 12, I can have another unit shoot due to Born Protectors.
Looks like we're
debating whether opening up
discussing
with
Aborn
Sakaran-
Projectors from this Obliterator charge, but I mean, I don't think you're going to
Probably
use
not,
that on
because
a unit of Intercessors.
But if I could pick one of them off, that'd be awfully nice.
That doesn't
and
sound
not-
like a very good use of resources. He does have 11 CP, but that feels just
Can I
silly.
get the reroll from the bike
Spawn
box?
Protectors
It's like-
within range of the unit being charged or the unit charging for the 12
unit
inches?
being charged. It's a 6-inch from the unit being charged. It's
Okay.
essentially the defensive focus that Ultramarines have, but it also lets you heroically
Yeah, I'll do
intervene
Born
into
Protector and
the
I'll let
charging
that
unit.
Baxakaran shoot at the Obliterator.
Or maybe it is 12.
so there's no
They might have
9,
declared an
so I'm gonna shoot
Intercessor
the
squad,
8.
but I'm just going to double check in case I just misspoke.
Launchers, or the 8 autocannons first. Yep, so these are hitting on 6s, and I have 4 rerolls because the captain's nearby.
Nice pickup.
And then these are strength 7, so wounding on 3s.
Cool.
So you have 1 at AP -3, and then 2 at AP -2.
It doesn't matter. I'm on
So
that
that would be have been off the Sicarian
wait, -2.
being granted that?
So I did,
So
I
that
did
actually
misspeak
is
it.
better
It is
on your
within
saving.
12.
Yep, it is. It's a 4
Okay.
up.
And that's 12 of the unit being charged?
And
That is quite the selection then. That's
then just the
essentially
heavy
almost
bolters
anything in
on
the army.
them.
Yeah, it's when a charge is declared against a Salamanders unit from your army, you can select one
wow.
one Salamanders unit
Nice.
that is within
Five.
more than 1 inch away from enemy units
Are
and
they
within
straight
12
5?
of the unit
so
that is
four
the
is
target
right?
of the charge.
Yep, 3 of
Yeah,
them.
so just 3 of them.
Okay, so yeah, I was wrong. It is
No AP,
actually vastly different from defensive.
AP
focus.
-1.
Yeah.
Okay. So 1 goes through, 1 damage.
It's quite
Not bad.
powerful.
Yeah, 2 CPs for 1 damage.
Yeah, very powerful. And
Hoping the autocannons could punch one. Go ahead.
we're seeing. I think we're going to see a couple more Salamanders players in future series. I know Darkwin is in. Nick Rose, who's a top 5 or top 10 ICC player.
Yeah, we'll
He's
spend
in
1
pod
for it.
4,
Because I'll probably roll 1
and I
again.
think he'll be playing Salamanders, and
better
he uses that
That's what I need.
stratagem to great
so 9
effect.
can't make it in, right?
Looks like they made the
Oh,
charge.
yeah. It's a.
You
Oh,
have
wow,
to
that
more than
changes
9
the aspect of this.
Right,
So then
but I
Mortarion
get
certainly
how to
kills
roll
this
it.
Intercessor squad.
They require a CP roll to get in there.
No, you're good.
Yeah, so Mortarion definitely
definitely.
kills
Changing
his
the game-
Intercessor squad.
game, I'm like, wait, what?
The Obliterators will, in all likelihood, kill the Warsuit. They are much
you're not
more
gonna-
heavy-hitting in close combat than they appear.
GrizzlyNateDog's not. He's not going to go for a
I
round
will start
4
with Mortarion
on this
his
Invictor, is he?
attacks.
I don't know that he
Oh, don't you
could.
fight on it?
Well,
mean,
now that he has the
yeah, we gotta
Obliterators there,
forward
right?
first,
He
sorry.
can
Everything within
consolidate
7
Mortarion into the
gets,
front next to the between the 2 Intercessor squads,
Oh,
essentially,
just outside. So it
and then
looks like it's just
potentially
gonna be
lip the
So just
the
those
Invictor with the
1 Marine squad, 1 Marine squad, and a
with the
Warsuit.
front
So
Obliterator?
Warsuit on a 4 up, he takes.
Yeah, it looks like they could just barely get the tri-point on that.
The Marine
Mm.
squad is furthest from me,
And
nope,
the
and
Obliterators
also
somehow
nice,
put
no.
down the fists that are,
so
Yeah,
he will
well, they
part
just
of their
They
bodies.
just headbutt him, knock him over.
They do have very small heads inside of very strangely placed mouths.
But what GrizzlyNateDog does have to base that Invictor, otherwise the Invictor I think can potentially block block the pin
within an inch of everybody else.
with an
Alright, cool.
interrupt.
Alright, so now I
yeah,
have to
he hasn't
take
done
down
And
the
he
laser
doesn't seem to have
valve,
done
which is gonna be-
But
I think he's just going for the
it's gonna be
kills.
all over the place.
Yeah, I think he
I
might
apologize.
be okay.
Yeah, man.
If the
I took
Invictor
a quick
interrupts
first
and
turn to
bases
make
these
up
2
for
models,
I'm
I
not-
don't think
What-
this
what
guy
a-
can get 6 inches all the way around, but he might be able to.
1, 2, 3.
What a
4,
4-dimensional
5,
chess
6,
galaxy
7,
brain where
8,
that one meme the
7,
man is sitting in his own brain like it's a chair move that would have been.
Well, we'll see how it goes. As much as the Flamer shot in melee from the Invictor hurts,
Yeah, its
you
fists
definitely
hurt.
would rather eat the Flamer
Alright.
shot
Quite a bit
than
more.
the entire
these
Salamander's army
Marines
shooting at you
here-
for an entire round.
Interesting thing about an Invictor Warsuit's ability to kill Obliterators too,
have 8.
it's good at it. It has the ability to kill Obliterators.
Yeah,
So it's gonna be
Glargify Space
1, 2,
Wombat
6.
did 5 wounds to Mortarion in Overwatch. He could have done more, but didn't spend any of the his CP on that. He did elect to
Yes.
Born
Yeah,
Protectors the
6 base
Sicarian
attacks,
back
then you
here
get
to shoot the
3 hit
Obliterators,
rolls,
and he did
which
1 with
attack
that.
to use the
Okay.
Scythe or something like that, right?
Yeah. So I'm using the -2 1 damage attack.
He is swinging first on
However,
Mortarion, which I
because
believe
have,
was
raids
a
on
mistake.
Any,
Unless he is plowing it entirely into the Warsuit, because that
Well,
Warsuit will
he
interrupt
might-
and will
He's
maul
He's
those
basing this
Obliters.
Intercessor, right? He could wipe this Intercessor squad and
Is this
then
to wound or to
consolidate
hit
to
first?
base the Warsuit.
to wound.
Sure, but I mean that's still giving the Warsuit. I mean, if he is
Then
planning,
I'll end up putting 1,
to wrap this.
It is devastating if that Warsuit survives and then kills this front Obliterator, right? Because then the Obliterators, they are way
because
out
of
way
diabolic
out of combat.
strength, and I'm strength 10, and your toughness minus.
Clarify,
I'm pretty sure it's 2
everybody's in range in the lives right now. Yeah, Null Zone, Null Zone could be
So this
devastating.
is gonna be
That said, that spell never goes off, so he'll be okay. Or it does, and it goes off, and it's immediately denied on a 9 or something. That's my experience with Null Zone.
So I got 2 of those, so that's going to give me 6 more attacks.
Mortarion, just piling on exploding attacks here from Death to False Emperor. Oof.
So is he splitting these between the 2
All
squads?
those wound. 2's to wound, reroll and 1s.
Suppose he couldn't be.
I don't believe he
all at once.
declared this front
Do mortal wounds, so that's
Intercessor
8
squad,
mortal wounds.
so I think he can only attack.
Yeah.
Looks like we're just attacking the Invictor.
The 5s and 6s will actually be saved differently. So if you want to save those, these are 1 damage each. These are 2.
I suppose the charge then was just to get on the objective.
-2.
Gives him a point of bonus this round.
It does. Yep. And it doesn't really hurt to push him farther forward, especially since that wounded guy's going to die and give that unit cover afterwards anyway. Yeah. So it looks like he just went to kill the Invictor. Okay. So we're not looking for a round now.
This into the 4-man squad that's left over there.
And he's got he split looks like 2 attacks off onto these intercessors to try to kill them.
3 more attacks. Rerolling the 1. 2s.
An interesting turn.
So you've got.
I definitely
3
think
mortal wounds.
GrizzlyNateDog might be in a bit of trouble here.
And then you've got these saves at -2, 1 damage each.
Unless he finishes off this intercessor squad, he's not likely to get kill more. Oh, never mind. Now he has guaranteed kill more.
So the chat
I suppose
was
not
talking
guaranteed.
about the merits of wrapping the
5s and 6s,
Invictor,
so that's gonna give
and
me
I think it's
4
a
times
it's a
4
value
more attacks.
consideration between getting punched by an Invictor and maybe flamed versus getting attacked by this entire army, right?
It would have been a difficult wrap. The Invictor swinging into the Obliterators would have had pretty solid chance of killing at least 2
Yeah, that's
of them.
true. And placing the wound on this front one would have made it harder. I think if
Or
you
just
lose the back
plowing
guy,
into Mortarion.
if you lose the back guy, you're
You got
okay.
7 mortal
But if you
wounds.
lose the front guy, it's
I mean,
looks
if
like
you
he
want me to
just
start rolling
also
that
kills
wheel,
the front unit.
I'll
Oh,
start
okay. I
rolling,
guess he
but
did
if you
change those
want
guys.
to
Huh.
continue,
All right. Well,
I will more than oblige and do what you ask.
Now, if you rolled real bad, I'd roll 7. Like, oh no, that's bad.
well, there you go. Mortarion killing everything.
He is, however, not basing these 2 characters, it seems.
Yeah, I don't think he can. He's too far away. He's not gonna be able to grab him.
He must have split up, then just done 6 attacks per squad, each of which exploded heavily.
Yeah, so it looks like he exploded like 6 off onto the Invictor, and then also got a bunch of double damage hits on there too.
Cool.
It was a good roll, and it helps that he has 5 separate buffs on him.
Yeah, he is the possessed bomb right now. He is the bomb.
Yeah.
Big game hunter.
And I'll get another born.
But yeah,
These 2 players.
Mortarion not long.
I
for
was
this world,
set.
I should have. 4
Between these 2 players, in pod 1, I was set to fight the Salamanders,
1, 2
and
for
then
this unit,
you dived in
1,
front of that
2
bullet,
or 2 for this one.
and we both ended up getting
I took
shot
the
to death.
flamer for you.
2 for this one. So on the
Ended
second
up,
turn,
I
if
had
you
to play
have
this
2
possessed
units,
bomb.
one of
You had to play
should
the
die.
Salamanders left in
Man,
that.
yeah, I would have traded with you.
It did not work out well for us.
This
Oh yeah,
guy
me
and
too.
this guy.
Me too.
All right,
100%. I will just.
Oh, he is.
I'll just sit there with an entire army that has
Yeah.
a 3 up, 5 up, T7.
They had the range
Shrug
to
shrug
move
off
up.
most of
Yeah.
this.
You can just move him, Nate.
But instead, we had to hard mode this like early Pokemon game that we played and
Yeah, exactly.
fought our like
Tabletop
anti-match types.
Cool. That looks
I knew
good.
that-
Yep.
Because I knew the Nurglings were gone.
No, man, that's what I mean. If you had
Future
the-
pods are for us.
So yeah, so you double tap recon then. Sounds great.
And get
11
another for Born Gayness.
You should only have 1 for Born, right?
1 because he held the center point outside and he just killed a unit.
Oh,
So
cool.
big
You're right,
swing
My bad.
for GrizzlyNateDog,
Okey-dokey.
obviously being the
Can you
aggro
walk me
matchup
through the
and going
negatives on me
first.
shooting
He's going to be
Mortarion?
grabbing a lot
Yeah.
of these bonus
He's just
points early.
minus
This
1
is
to
a
hit. That's
this
it.
is a very good scenario for this list because you can get that bonus point so easily by just grabbing these 2
Has the chance to take D3 mortal wounds.
So Possess Bomb is all about scoring up, running up the early game, and then seeing if the opponent can get like achieve breakout by turn 3, and then start playing their game on the table.
Yeah, it's kind of a classic aggro point distribution like that for sure.
Thank you very much.
So we're up 8 points right now going into the bottom.
He's almost playing it for the long game though. I mean, if once the Salamanders do push this off, they do have just another sequence keeping them in their deployment zone on turn 3 and possibly 4.
Yeah, there's going to be another wave to hit them.
When can you heroically intervene? Is it only after charge?
But we are
after charge.
We're at a
so if I
point where
right, if you move, so
I feel the threat saturation doesn't feel like it's there to me for GrizzlyNateDog. He's only got 1 more turn of concealing left in the bank.
Move over to here, you can't heroic.
And
not yet.
He's
yes, correct.
We're in because it's early enough in the game. We're in a position where Space Wombat can kind of back off for a turn and make it difficult for those possessed to get a really good shot off.
Yeah, and although backing off for another turn, I mean,
to give you a heads up, I do have
the counterpoint. What if the Possess Bomb just back off for another turn, go back inside that ruin, and just run up the sword? That's essentially an entire turn of lost points.
For 7
yeah, that might be fair.
Cool. So you just blow up.
I think he is.
And it's during your shooting phase.
He's worried about chip damage, but it's not a lot. He's just got a couple Invictors that could come maybe get him, but
3.
And the Sicarians,
it would pretty much
they can cover the table. They are move 14.
Depending on how you move.
That might not be a winning proposition for the Chaos
really
in the long run.
They do move considerably faster than Orc
you,
race cars.
Get that plus a blow up. That's D6 mortal wounds just for free.
Like if I'm, driving a strange yellow Formula 1 car, or this like bizarre rhombus, I'm getting in that rhombus because that goes fast.
Yeah,
it's like Cybertruck up here.
One of the coolest tanks that the Space Marines have access to.
Sorry, just thinking about.
Certainly, it's not the shape of a box, which then unlocks cool.
I apologize, I took my time.
Like if it's not just a cube.
They figured out the formula, everyone.
Yeah.
He has 13.
So chat. Looks like chat was weighing the benefits of going for the wrap here. Gargify
I was disappointed that you got that much off. I was kind of sad.
GrizzlyNateDog here has effectively traded Mortarion and Obliterators for 1 unit of Intercessors and 1 Invictor.
It's about 1.5 units of Intercessors and a Thunderfire and Invictor.
And you got a Thunderfire for it. That's such a bizarre target priority. The Thunderfire.
It makes me wonder if so from his physical perspective, likely he's looking down the table from his table corner. Yeah. Does he just not know that there's a second Thunderfire there?
He just missed
I have forgotten that things exist in TTS before.
In fairness,
you had to get like
if you're that low in the angle on the table, the tree was directly in front of that first Thunderfire. So might not have been able to see it. I don't know if they calculated it, but that Thunderfire absolutely had cover from that tree.
If I can't get him in it, I'm not.
Because it was touching the forest, and it is at least half obscured by this tiny tree.
Yeah, the tree, the Tech Marine himself.
And that's what you've seen in previous rounds. Trees have the ability to forestall the advance of mighty demon engines, such as the Lord of Skulls. So
this Grand Theft Auto trees
bullets is no problem.
Yeah.
So it's a 6-inch ball that you'll build. So you'll actually have both. It'll affect both.
Yeah, but it only clips the 1 extra guy.
So we've
Librarian
moved up to
for null zone.
Yeah, and he is the one that's
and really hoping they do manage to kill this guy because otherwise it's gonna be a painful heroic intervention.
Yeah, this chapter master is about to fight Mortarion, mano a mano for sure. He's not worried about heroic.
It's a dice game.
He's gonna base that guy with his little bike. He's gonna hit him with a hammer.
Proxy warsuit over here just to figure out what the
we're spawning new warsuits. That's one of the lesser known Salamander abilities. Is they actually can summon like demons can, but they summon Invictor warsuits with Incendium cannons.
Yeah, their bell is carried much like every other ability in the game by a Space Marine captain.
By Space Marine captain.
Oh, don't worry. I don't have flamers like you.
Once you get like page 40 of like the list of abilities they have access to, you just kind of like stop paying attention, but it's baried in there.
No, yeah,
they can just bring them back.
Ben Starkey in the chat reminds us to never forget the Lord of Skulls killing tree. It is an important tree. So I imagine Space Wombat here is angling up to charge these Obliterators. I have a feeling that he might be able to kill Mortarion with the shooting of his entire army.
My suspicion is that he does not even need to angle for this assault, and that he can kill both these units.
Yeah, I gotta shoot
With the shooting.
Yeah, even
if
more
anything,
so if
this
null zone goes off, but that's
If anything, pushing the null zone up here. I mean, that. What's the range on these? On a wartime possess now? That looks like that just moved in range.
If it's okay with you, do you mind if I run the librarian?
The librarian is 100% in range for sure.
Yeah. Whereas previously, like especially sitting on the hill with that -2, they were probably safe.
One combo. Let's see if he.
Oh wait, he cast go back in time and then moved back.
That is a warp time right there.
So maybe we can shoot
One thing that Space Wombat often does is he brings that librarian as an epistolary, so he can deny an additional spell, and that gives him access to a relic that extends the range of his psychic cut up to 24 inches. So he actually gets a +1 to deny at 24. And he might be angling to try to do what we were saying before, whereas if you can move that deny up close enough to the possess bomb, it forces them to spread out much longer in order to reliably get that warp time off.
Deuce 83, I agree. It is too bad that Chaos don't have access to Astropaths. I mean, those Phobos Librarians have had their time in the sun. It's it's time for that to end. Bring back like the tide of Astropaths. Just this unwashed tide of like blind old men with their like 15-point smites.
Get out of here, chat.
I'm at this squad here.
You're making me mad.
They gotta move back.
Mr. Yum Yum Lick, the greatest username in the chat currently. I'm going to grab a quick snapshot of the CP and victory points so far. Space Wombat, the red player over here on the left side, 9 CP remaining,
and then, 5 no fuel
as well as only 4 victory points. But this is bottom of he's bottom of the turn, so Mr. GrizzlyNateDog has had a whole turn ahead of him. Plus, he's the defensive player in this, so he's gonna start slower and then gain momentum as the game goes. GrizzlyNateDog up at 12 victory points, but at the cost of all his command points, he's down to 3. Means we get probably one more turn of protecting these infantry, and then they have to be in melee, or else the Thunderfires will begin making them slow. That said, like I say on every chat, or every stream in which a Thunderfire cannon is involved or brought up at all, I do hope the players ask me whether or not the Thunderfire has charge distances, because it does not. It also does not affect warp time movements.
I wonder if the play right now is to just move the Possess Bomb, all the Death Charge Terminators, the Dark Disciples, really everything into this back L. Just like hide. You're up by 8. Reaper and Headhunter, like that's like 7 points you could save. The opponent has to come up quite far to see that. At that point, they've put themselves in like easy Possess Bomb, like Possessed Assault range, whereas stringing them all the way into your opponent's back deployment zone feels like just a grand way to lose them right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Southerners have to push up to score.
Centrally placed.
Sure. This Sikaran right here.
I would love to see. It looks like he's just trying to keep it in range of the Chapter Master's aura. But I would love to see a Sicarian book it on across one of these, probably towards the red side of the table here.
Talking about.
Yeah, to the open side of that road.
Yeah, just use the Salamander strategy to count him stationary, or big guns it to count him stationary for a CP. And
that's true. They're all green. He doesn't
just make it so that you can't hide safely in this L. Just to remove that line of play from GrizzlyNateDog entirely. But because I do agree, the Chaos are in the position they can just double move some stupid thing onto objective 3, bonus every turn easily.
Isn't that how this works?
Yeah.
And ride
just
out.
Throw these like Dark Disciples, these like one character. I suppose throwing the Dark Disciples out runs them up the Headhunter with these 1 wound toughness 3 individual characters.
They're actually characters. Right? They just have the.
So Chappie's
am I wrong in that? I think they
thought
just
they
have the
split off and became
targeting rule, but I don't believe that they're.
Let's find out. Dark Disciple.
Biscuits. He's just gonna go up here.
Deuce 83 dropping deuces in the chat. Hashtag Pepperidge Farm remembers Malefic Lord spam. I don't know what that means, but it sounds really spammy.
Eliminator in or out?
It's like a 25, 30-point Forge World HQ choice before the rule of 3 and back when Supreme Commands gave you 5 CP each, and you just took like 50 of them.
Oh,
And
really
you
good.
ended up with like 100 CP and throw out 50 full power smites a turn because it was also before the nerf smite. Early 8th edition was a wild time.
Well,
My favorite is still
Pepperidge Farm
the-
might remember that, but I do not, so glad I missed
My
that.
favorite of like the old
So
pure
what are the
degeneracy
deniers?
lists
I know
was
Morty can deny, right?
competing between either the single single wound or the single model squad Razor Wing flocks.
Here.
The Dark Eldar bird.
The little
There's just a
ravens.
pile of crows.
Yep.
Yeah. You'd run like
Okay.
100 of those individually wrapped and just win because they each had like 5 attacks.
Okay,
Or you would
let's-
bring like 200 individual squads of brimstone whores, each of which would smite for like 1 point.
Yeah.
And they all had like a 3-up invuln through some contrivance.
These days you got to bring an 85-point strike
which would
squad,
give me another
Grey Knight
point
strike
for
squad
Bull
to
for
smite for 1
greatness.
point.
Yeah, totally. I'm gonna try to give.
I'm sorry, sir.
Mike
Did you mean 4 points?
to,
4 points.
Captain.
Do you mean smite for 4 points?
Clark
Because
the Five
that's all
says
I've ever
9
experienced.
Flyrants was the worst.
Nope, I'm just gonna smite
I
Flyrant.
can't imagine that that's true. 9 Flyrants
Smite,
sounds
goes off
amazing.
on an 8.
No, nine Flyrants was like
I would
3
play-
nerfs into their game. Like
I would play
Not-
the crap out of 9 Flyrants if I could.
2.
9 Flyrants is well past the days of true degeneracy
One of them.
in early 8th.
I don't think
Just
I
like
ever
the Wild West. Like there was a list where you would just bring, I think it was what,
Which is-
90
what
orc
No, it's gotta be
cannons,
an 11.
each of which come with 4 individually wrapped single unit squad grots.
Drake
So you'd end up with
so
like
+1 toughness and then -1 to the shot and then-
500 individual single man units
We'll go ahead
that
and
would just like
deny it.
walk across the table by themselves.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a high
We're in
roll
the
there.
psychic phase right now. I don't know if we've rolled the null zone yet.
Just 1.
It looks like we're just miting.
And then we are gonna put the -1 to be shot on that.
What is the
front
range on a
Victor,
null
which also
zone?
gives you the -1 charge.
6 inches.
That's 6?
Yep.
That goes off
Okay.
in an 8.
So you do not actually need to be within
Right.
But
the
you put him kind of
heroic
close,
range.
so I don't think.
Pull him back a bit. Probably didn't
Yeah,
want
yeah,
to risk
we're-
the
we're worried
heroic
about that
in
later.
case
Don't
they
you
failed
worry.
to somehow get both the
Don't
Blitz
worry.
and Mortarion.
Casting Flame Shield on this Invictor.
Moving
I'm
into my shooting phase.
not sure that does anything. It gives them -1 charge.
You doing anything? I didn't know if you got.
Oh yeah, no, I'm
Isn't
gonna.
that also
Oh,
a +1
so the
toughness?
interesting piece is
No,
that
it's a
farming
-1 to
can
be
be
hit
done
by range
anytime during
attack.
the
So I guess it
shooting
might
phase.
affect these
You don't
barriers,
have to
but
do it at the
this
beginning.
captain's about to
But no,
kill
I'm gonna
himself.
spend
We'll
2
see.
CP to
Yeah.
conceal
Engage
the possession.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the purpose of that would have been.
So there we go.
So my turn to just kinda
conceal
shoot
going down
and
on the
see what
possessed.
happens with this giant Mortarion.
So they will not be tremor shelled. And
So
here we
we
go.
are going to.
Well, they might be.
What's his toughness right now? Is it 8 or 9?
Yeah, that
7.
would be a
Seven.
feat of
Just a 7. Just a 7.
of
Just gotta
of damage.
just gotta
on the
kill
Shooting with the
Mortarion,
Victor
3 Obliterators,
I'm gonna spend 2
and
CP to
really
max
just
his
2
flame.
Deathshroud
And then we're
Terminators.
gonna
No, just
spend the
1 Deathshroud
CP to
Terminator.
Well, yeah,
Assuming he
your
takes the
opponent-
wrong one.
Your opponent decides to
Are you
kill the
familiar
unit
with it?
leader
It can
first.
cause a maximum of 3
Yeah.
mortal wounds on
Of course.
fours.
It's a natural reaction.
4 pluses.
Andy Patton.
So normally
This
wounding on
is- yeah, we have
5s, and
Nurgle,
then,
Chaos Soup.
Tactical Doctrine to make it wound on 4s.
I don't like the
I'm
term
sorry,
soup because
so he's
it
shooting
sounds
all
silly
of-
in my
he's
mouth,
shooting that
but
into
I think it's
Mortarion.
perfect for a
He's shooting
Nurgle
all
list.
the
It
other
sounds
guns into
just
the
gross enough.
Sorry, to be
This
clear.
is a moist
So just the
soup
flamer into Mortarion.
of Nurgle models.
Uh,
We have some Death Guard. We got
so this is the
Mortarion in
flame
there.
attacks?
We have a whole Alpha Legion
Okay.
Possessed Bomb. Everything marking
I'll go
Nurgle.
ahead and Salamander reroll
All
those.
Nurgly all over the place. We had some Nurglings. Now we're
So
down
we've
to
got,
only
6 saves, and then
3
we have
bases,
3
so
more
about
wounds.
40 Nurglings left on the table.
And it's 1 damage each, right?
That is not an
Yes, sir.
inaccurate number. The number of individual Nurglings on one of those bases
He
far
does have
exceeds the number of wounds they have.
Speaking of talking about old rules,
What's the minus?
does
Yeah,
anybody
it doesn't
remember
matter.
when the house rule was that you had to have a number
so he'll
of
take 2
wounds
more.
or number of models equal to the wounds on a swarm on their base?
And then into the
I do not.
Obliterators,
So everyone
What
had
what poisonous time was that? Like,
It was,
I played old
everyone
Tyranids
was
when you
trying
just
to
like
play-
scraped
Yeah.
scraped the Tyranids off of
you and I
every
were
other
playing
model
Tyranids,
and then
yeah.
just had like 3-man bases.
Yep, that was it.
Reroll this because of Captain Guy. Strength 5, wounding on 4s. Just 1.
Chat's reminiscing about
Failed one.
fun old lists. 8 to 9 greater demons with wings
Stubbers into them.
in a Sky Shield landing pad.
Yeah, good old 6th and 7th. Wasn't there a list where you would enchant a bastion with fly, put a knight on top of it. The bastion would fly like 40 inches across the table, and through some strange contrivance with how knights interacted with like buildings, it would just go with it, and you ended up with this like unassaultable, unshootable knight on top of a building that had invisibility and flycast on it. And he was just like surfing this like invisible 3-story house.
I didn't kill anyone.
Good old 6th and 7th.
You still got some tanks, and you still got some tanks and some other stuff.
The back intercessor squad is going to go into Morty, so you're going to have 8 bolter shots.
Only a couple wins down to Morty so far. He is down to 9, so half dead. But
crack grenades.
The way they were just discussing it sounds like he's fired most of his line already.
Yeah, that's scary.
That's not good.
Yeah. You wanted to be doing a
Captain
little
has
bit
to
more
turn
damage.
around.
We did put a couple shots in these obliterators. Did picked one more off the front guy.
Nope. And then these are only strength 4, so on 5s. And then salamander reroll, so just 2 saves. AP just on your end.
Oh, because you're in the doctrine is all -1, I guess.
Yeah, for attack doctrine. Yep.
Okay.
Second squad of intercessors into Mortarion, same thing.
Ben Starkey says, "Remember the old Sisters of Battle models? No. No, they are a brand new army that came out this year. No previous models exist."
Yeah, I think we're trying as hard as we can not to remember the old Sisters of Battle models.
I like this revision of the map that put the dice roller on the side and just cuts out the cards entirely. Just gets right rid of them.
Yep.
They really want to hit you.
Someone might use those cards someday, but not us.
Not on an ITC map.
Yeah, this is. I think this version is the one that the TTS 40K Discord mods re-uploaded after. A couple files were lost in a bit of drama that happened over the week. It was a bit of an awkward time, but this is the same map that we recommend players use, which is the one from Steam. They're using the same map. We just have a different configuration of the accessories on the side.
So he's down to 7.
2 more wounds going on Mortarion.
Okay.
Slowly but surely, we're getting there.
This one has an additional chest clock. Or what it does.
Probably tells time.
Yeah, but that's what I thought about the other chest clock.
Yeah, well, that one was a little difficult for sure.
Is that all the intercessors? Yeah.
Yeah. I can shoot the engineer squad if I want to. I'm debating if I just try to do 6 with the Smash Captain and focus on the obliterators.
Space Wombat. I mean, considering not engineering this turn, to try to kill Mortarion in the shooting phase. Because I think he does have a Relic Sicarian to go, and he wants that Relic Sicarian into the obliterators.
He's just so tanky.
I mean, the captain is swinging damage. Is that a damage 3 or damage 4 Thunderhammer on that captain? Can you get it up to 4?
Not mastercrafted, just a 3-er.
Okay, so that would not.
Big deal on the obliterators for sure. He wants to put him down to 1 or 2 models, so he has a good chance of killing him.
So he will hurt himself on 2s.
Oh, because you're -2. That's not very friendly of you.
No, I'm -1.
He's gonna. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still gonna go for it.
This is a plasma shot
from
the plasma cutter on the Tech Marine.
Cool. He'll hit in 5.
that 20-point man has like 57 other guns.
Yeah, 33% chance of killing himself there because of the -1 on Mortarion. -1 to hit.
Good.
That makes sense. He's making his invulnerable saves. He's does
invulnerable
saves, doing what 4+ invulnerable saves do, which is pass approximately.
You can also reroll it on. But it's a little safer with the Salamander reroll as well.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you get the free. You try again.
So he's only strength 4, but +1 to wound.
And I mean, his dog died. So I mean, what reason does he have left anyway?
Yeah, I imagine he's like that Rancor trainer in Star Wars. That poor guy.
That man had that's just for 30 solid years, just the saddest on-screen reaction to anything.
Yeah, that was the most emotional moment in all of Star Wars.
So this back war scene was one to hit the
Still today, I think. I don't think any character in Star Wars has displayed as much emotion as that man did.
Yeah, I mean, certainly no emotions were displayed in the prequels, and then
yeah, so absolutely none. For real.
No.
Anyway, we're gonna start streaming some Stormtroopers now, so let's jump over. New Scarif update on Battlefront 2 just went live yesterday or the day before.
Ooh.
Very exciting. Not really though. It was kind of a disappointment, but you know, that's
recently
that's
just cracked open
from Battlefield.
Just cracked open a little gem called the Outer Worlds the other day.
We'll do these back eliminators. They're gonna board.
I heard that's a good
very
one.
similar.
So
Yeah.
2 shots.
Definitely feels like kind of a spacey Fallout game, but with
They're up to 2s, back down to 3s
you know,
because of your minus.
NPCs and dialogue
Sound right?
and story. All things that Fallout games have been a little
Reroll for Salamanders.
missing lately.
Strength
Oh, yeah,
5,
are they still
5,
putting those in
plus
Fallout
1,
games? That's surprising.
They just started like a week ago again after, you know, a good 10-year drought on that.
All right, chat. I'm gonna. Speaking of
so you failed one
of sci-fi games,
Oh yeah.
it
Sorry.
does D3. You're good.
I'm on a crusade
So
to
you
get
4 total.
the Tactical Tortoise community to play Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine with me. So everyone who owns a copy of Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine for the PC needs to hit me up because we gotta play some Space Marine.
4 is a much happier number here.
We're tearing down to 4 after all that shooting. Slowly but surely getting there.
The other eliminator squad are gonna fire into the.
Looks like we're still not done. That's
Yeah, I have an inkling that these obliterators might have to just get assaulted by both the captain and the warsuit.
Yeah, I mean they won't.
I think I'm okay.
They're still gonna die. I don't think that there's a universe in which they survive.
Well, I don't know. I mean, 18 possible strength 9 -3, like 3 damage shots going into this captain. You just got to slide 2 through.
Yeah, I don't think we have any. We don't.
Also,
have any...
Mortarion explodes quite a bit.
That's true.
He explodes. He could just kill the captain right there.
So these are hitting on 3s up to 4.
And chaplain and the librarian. That could be a Titanic swing.
Unfortunately, you cannot sabotage Mortarion's explosion, which would be great.
No, he does not a vehicle, sadly.
So you have 1
He's a vehicle for all of our hopes and dreams, but he's not a vehicle in like the technical sense.
He's a vehicle for victory in this game.
Why are bikes not vehicles?
Great question.
That was not a good roll. Heavy bolters into them.
Deuce 83 says so down to play Space Marine.
I already used my
Yes.
And then these are strength 5, so I think it's 4s.
Yep.
We could also play Space Hulk or Deathwing.
It's -1.
But
Cool.
no PvP in Deathwing now, so I want to shoot
feel like the fact
other
that-
people with Stalker Bull rifles.
I feel like the fact that NetherRealm Studios, the makers of Mortal Kombat, have never just made a hyper-violent 40k fighting game is just a distinct wasted opportunity.
I know. Yeah, somebody has to show those guys the 30k fan.
Like the Astartes video?
No, the what's it called? Death of Hope. They have to show them Death of Hope and the Space Marines fighting in that. Definitely, Astartes is the coolest representation of Space Marines just killing random people. But Death of Hope has the coolest representation of Space Marines fighting each other. And man, is it everything that you expect from what the book said. Yeah, it's intense.
Strength 5s.
Everybody go look that up. That's if Astartes is the pinnacle of 40k fan animation, Death of Hope is certainly second place.
Roll the damage.
And it's close.
Get in the box. So 4. So just killed them.
Oof.
What a strange thing Astartes is. Like, you go from the 40k community just like surviving off the scraps of 2006 video game cutscenes to suddenly having this Blizzard game trailer quality.
Get in the box.
Just tour de force.
I'm gonna add 4 for the top.
What do those YouTube recommendations look like? Like you watch the 5 of those, and then suddenly you're just in some Dawn of War 1 cinematic or something.
Yeah, Ben Starkey, Space Marines killing random people, and one Inquisitor. And Astartes. Yeah, it's
that Inquisitor though, he got it bad.
A couple weeks ago, I was pretty sick, and I went down a rabbit hole while I was watching on YouTube. waiting to get better. And I went down a 40K cinematic trailer, or cinematic rabbit hole, and it was definitely a sharp cutoff from Astartes. There is some good other fan stuff out there. So everybody, there's a couple
60.
compilations out on YouTube you can find that are some pretty good stuff. The
right, a range?
Battlefleet Gothic Armada stuff
right?
is
that one is, yes. I don't think, I'm sorry.
it's not quite as technically
I don't think
you know, as technically good as Astartes is, but man, is it 40K?
Yeah, I mean, for pure animation quality, you're going from like Astartes to what, the Dawn of War 3 trailer.
Right. Yeah, Dawn of
that
War
video
3,
was so sick.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely,
And,
I think the coolest representation.
I don't know.
Eldar,
That's a
for
cliff
sure.
after that.
Checking the rules.
Yeah.
I think my Tech Marine Gunner can
That's like that video was the first time I ever thought a knight looked cool.
Yeah, yeah. And Wraith Knights,
if he's got range,
slice him in half in there as well.
So sick.
Yeah, I always thought that Howling Banshees looked a little silly until you see them in that trailer, and you're like, wait a minute, oh, these are scary looking, actually.
Yeah. Like the Depth Dreads and the Orcs actually look threatening. They're not the decidedly not comic relief.
Yeah.
Ben Starkey's throwing me some shade in the chat here, saying I don't know a heretic when I see one.
Yeah, so he can see
Mr. Ben Starkey, everyone in
as long as he can see them,
everyone in every random person in 40K is
I'm
a
good with
heretic.
it. Shoot away. I don't care.
If you ask the Inquisition, I think. Yeah, there's the Lord Inquisitor, right? They did one episode that was like 20 minutes. That was really good looking.
So 2 misses.
Oh yeah, yeah. That is not the Astartes guy. That is that other guy.
He didn't overload it.
Yeah. That's he's the guy they brought on for
so shot,
Angels
shots.
of
The only
Death,
thing
right?
I've left is the Sicaran, the bikers.
I believe so, yeah.
The chaplain with his little.
I don't think EGW can afford the Astartes guy at this point, though.
Yeah, no, that guy is making bank right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
everybody
getting
go
picked
check
up
out the
somewhere.
Astartes Patreon and see what hard work and dedication can get you for sure. That guy
I'll check that right now.
That guy put a ton of work into the Astartes series, and he's being rewarded for it for sure.
Let's see, how much is he making right now? He's got 8,000 patrons. It's hard to tell, though. Does not split that up by level. Making 80 grand, though. If it's all at that top level.
Yeah.
Or $16,000. Or he's making
long guns into
half.
It's a five-digit number a month for sure.
And he's going to put the heavy bolter shots into.
Yeah, and the Lord Inquisitor one, it did a couple quick trailers too. They did a couple teaser trailers that were really cool. There's one of a Grey Knight Terminator suiting up. I think that is one of like the coolest bits of animation for sure for 40K.
Then there's a 19-year-old Inquisitor just shooting some old man after a cool parade.
Oh yeah, that's
kind of like you do.
Yeah, as you do. He was a random person, aka a heretic.
AP -2. Boom, boom. Or the
I got you. Yep. And then we'll shoot the heavy bolters. I think I said into Mortarion.
We are still in the Salamander shooting phase right now.
So these are hitting on
Salamander shooting phase works a little bit like a Astra Militarum one, I think. Because you want to be so MSU.
So wouldn't you have been 5s on them too?
Yeah.
Nope, because that's an assault.
Your shooting phase is
cool. So sorry.
Basically, as long as your opponent's entire turn.
And then Chapter Master just to reroll all the shenanigans.
I have certainly experienced that quite a bit. Everyone, one of the nice things about these TTS tournaments is that you can really just bring what you want. You know, bring your dream lists. The downside, no clock. You can experience it. You really experience that no clock sometimes. Lists that you would not likely bring otherwise will show up here.
Space Wombat has burned through 5 CP in the shooting phase.
So
that's
about a CP per wound on Mortarion.
Yeah. He suppressive fired the Thunderfire Cannon, was able to take out this entire unit of Chaos Space Marines on Objective 2. That means that if this captain goes in and kills this Obliterator, he's going to be clear to block the hold more on GrizzlyNateDog's side. So he's going to start stymieing the flow of points, or victory points for GrizzlyNateDog. But unfortunately, that gives some good charges to he's possessed.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, the wrap targets now are just aplenty at this point.
Nope,
yeah, you might almost prefer to wrap,
especially if we're down on
Chapter
CP,
Master on a bike over the Invictor for sure. Which is a little
one save there.
Strange, but because they can flame in melee, you definitely want to kill that thing.
Take one more.
Down to 3 on Mortarion, and 1 Obliterator left on full wounds. We're almost there, everyone.
What are the chances Mortarion explodes and kills 500 points characters right now?
I am going
80%.
Yeah,
80%.
chat, let's get a judgment call in chat here. How many points is this Mortarion explosion going to be worth? How much damage does this do? How many mortal wounds? Let's ask that. How many mortal wounds is this Mortarion explosion going to be worth? GrizzlyNateDog's got 1 CP left. I wonder if it's worth trying to force that through
going to charge
with a reroll.
He has 2 wounds on him?
Mm-hmm.
2?
I think absolutely.
Yeah, you could
I think
potentially
for a single point.
I really don't like their guns.
And
I mean, it's
up
2d6, 2d6, d6, right? So you could also possibly tag this Techmarine.
Have to kill him.
You're
So
right.
his Host of Plagues is a D3.
I mean,
and it's actually only a D3.
Nothing says that you have to go for it.
It only explodes on a
We're
D3.
only in turn 2.
But it is on a 4+.
Mortarion.
I 100%.
Mortarion does not in fact have the same
so the Invictor
fusion
Warsuit
reactor
is
that
going
these Invictor
to
Warsuits have.
What is the range on that though? Is that like the meme number? Is that 7?
I believe it's a
Chaplain is
Mimi.
gonna charge
It's a
you.
Mimi explosion. Yep.
Okay.
Big ol'
Well,
7.
Gonna shoot the chaplain.
Yes, he is.
I wonder if
He's
that
gonna
tags the
hit it.
Techmarine.
Get wrecked, Chaplain.
-3.
Probably not. Seems
that's a little far.
he's probably at about 9.
All right, cool.
He's gonna roll his to go.
So only a
Yep,
D3 mortal wounds.
10.
Maybe that's
he
not
is
worth.
going to base you.
You assume that these possessed, if they get into these characters, they're
Over
going to
there.
take them out
All right,
without
cool.
a problem.
You're based.
No,
The Invictor Tactical
not a
Warsuit
D3.
is
No,
gonna deck
absolutely not.
charges on both Mortarion and the
Especially since the Techmarine's just gonna
Alright,
walk
so
over
the
and heal something anyway.
Obliterator will have 6+.
So
So
do
8.
you charge this Invictor into
Minus
this Obliterator here
2.
and leave the captain back behind
Damage.
to fight Mortarion?
1.
Or
Told
do you put them both
You
up
did
in
call
this
it at the
run?
beginning of the
I mean, I've
I
told
was
you.
worried about the Obliterators, and you're like, you don't have to
Well, how
worry, man.
confident are you that the Chaplain's gonna kill this guy?
It is constant.
That the Invictor is
They
going to kill
earn
the
their point
Obliterator?
value every game.
I think,
Oh, I mean, like,
the
Mortarion
captain has
isn't
to
even
go.
dead
You
yet.
have to charge as much stuff into Mortarion as you can, because if he survives
Yeah.
randomly, might be GG there.
Yeah.
1 save.
Yep,
Especially with all these buffs on him. He's still got all these psychic powers.
1
active.
damage. Just 1 damage.
So the downside of charging
Oh, that's all good.
the Invictor into
So
the
he's gonna-
Obliterator
He deck charges against both, so his charge move.
Oh, no, single Obliterator is not.
He's just gonna charge that.
Does not have the output. What they have 5 attacks at that point? 4.
That sounds right.
4 attacks at like flat 3.
Okay.
Good with perfect rolls. Could kill it.
Yep.
Deuce 83, I don't believe Nullzone went off.
To just charge
I
Mortarion.
think we would see a token, but we did not.
He's gonna get.
I think if Nullzone had gone off, Mortarion
yeah,
probably would be.
Mortarion's also been taking
off-
vulnerable
off the-
saves this
off
whole
the
time.
table.
Yeah, so
And we're gonna
definitely
go
did not go
to-
off. Deuce 83 also
gonna fire
calls
on me.
it 7
So
mortal
I think
wounds
you
for
have
Mortarion
that,
explosion.
That
The Mimi number.
right?
And I
Yep. But
I
it's
think
on
we
a
can all
6
both
now,
appreciate.
so.
So where do you want to
The
start?
Mimi
Do you want
number.
to start with the librarian and just?
Yeah,
kinda
we'll
go
start with the
clockwise?
librarian. That's fine.
Well, on the explosion, if he
Librarian.
does go off, he's tagging the
Nope.
Invictor,
Chaplain.
Sakaran,
Chaplain.
Nope.
Uh,
Tank.
the
Chappie,
No.
Libby, and the
it's
captain.
Warsuit and
No.
the captain.
Oh, we're rolling
Nope.
for the
So I am going to. Do you have enough to? You don't have enough
for
to
the
index,
host
right?
of plagues.
I do
Unfortunately,
not.
at bottom bracket, it requires a 6 to go
Um,
off to deal D3 mortal wounds
I'm
for
gonna go with the
Mortarion's
captain first. just to get the
diseased
check away. So he has.
ability.
Oof, not enough to interrupt either.
Oh, sorry. He has to use a
Yeah,
CP to
he's
reinforce
had to spend it to conceal.
Alright.
Although I'm not
Let me read the exact strategy.
I'm not
Sorry.
even sure that was. I
It's a
guess that
salamander
was maybe the right
one,
call,
and
but
it
this
is.
Space Wombat needed so much damage to kill these 2 units that I don't know if he had the firepower to punch through these possessed.
Hold, please. I know it's. I know
Although
No,
you, I
I
mean,
mean-
you swing on Morty, right, and then you, regardless, to try to kill him with the Chapter Master. I think.
Strength of the Primarch. So it adds +1
Yeah.
strength and then any
Well,
roll of a 6 doubles the damage.
There is always the chance that he just chuffs it, or you make your own
Wow,
bones.
that's a powerful strat.
Yeah, Salamanders are the best thing I think they have going for them in their strats. So he has 4 attacks.
Talking about a powerful
5
strat
points of
here.
charge, 6 for the Sigil of Sigil of Vulcan.
Oh, is this the
Yeah, that's it.
doubling strength
I
strat?
really hope 6 is 2 freaking wounds too.
Yeah, it
So he
adds
has-
to
yeah.
your
Am I
strength,
-1 to hit you in
believe.
melee?
Yep, you are.
So hitting on 4.
I believe it doubles it?
Stratagem.
With the Chapter Master rerolls behind it. Get in the box. Get in the box.
There you go.
So 4 of them. He only goes up to strength 10. So wounding on 3s, I think.
Alright,
And
cool.
then, like I said, 6
One thing
is
I'm
a
definitely
special.
missing here
There
is
you go.
So this
400
one
point
is a special save, and
box
then
dreadnought covered in flamer.
I think you will be golden here, sir.
you gotta roll the 6 separate.
One Mr. Bray Thatch Mantle,
yeah.
maybe?
Here, we'll do the 3.
Yeah, however you want to do it.
Oh, right. The no interrupt, so it
That'll
does not
probably
matter.
kill him.
So it looks like the captain...
Good there. What's the damage on the 6?
6.
Captain
6.
smiting down Mortarion with his mighty hammer there.
Yeah.
Nope, he's good.
No, like a boss. Okay.
Oh,
Apparently not.
The Invictor Warsuit is gonna swing on that Obliterator. 4 attacks, 5 of the charge,
That's,
6 because of the sigil.
we are really relying on this chaplain here. Seems like he only made 1 save.
Oh, he's within 6.
That's what it looked like to me.
Sorry.
One was greater damage because he
and then these are strength 14.
because of his stratagem.
So I think
The
they
chaplain
choose-
just somehow
so
completely...
it's 5 saves.
Anything
Fail?
different on these?
Nope, they're all just
You said on
Damage.
4s, right?
3 apiece.
Oh, wow. Cool. He is gone.
And then the
so that was the
chaplain
Invictor.
before Mortarion swings,
Yep.
and I'm real sad because I can't believe he didn't die.
Roll
We're gonna have to
6
roll
attacks for the
some
Invictor?
Cs.
What am I missing here?
I feel like he did go with the captain.
So he is
I'm gonna send it back to the players' mics here.
4
I'm a little
swings up to
confused.
5 and a 2+. Oh, and a -1 to hit you, so on a 3+. I'm sorry. Last because the chaplain guys within 6, and then these are strength 5s, so wounding on 5s.
So this is the chaplain attacking.
And then Salamander reroll 1 of those, so just 3 saves at on your invuln, 2 damage apiece.
Does he got a minus?
Yeah, -1.
Okay, cool. He is good.
So that was the chaplain attacking, just bounced off the.
All right. Did you want to move him?
No, he has to move towards Mortarion, so he's
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah, he will move towards Mortarion. 3 inches, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I guess the.
You can still leave him on the thing.
chapter
Yeah,
master
that's all
deal
good.
with.
All right, cool. You've got
That
the
is
base
not
there and
good,
there.
because
All
the
right,
chaplain
so
just did 2.
what's the invul on the captain?
He's a storm shield. so
Oh
3.
no.
Was it 3 up?
Huh.
He's
Mortarion's
got 6
swinging back.
wounds, no minuses. And he's
Uh-oh.
got 4 wounds, and
He
his
is
invul is
bottom
a-
bracket,
I believe it's a 5.
so down to 4
That's
attacks.
suddenly
5
important.
because he was
It's a
charged.
4. I'm sorry, he's a 4.
15 because of his
Alright,
scythe.
Goes
Yeah.
down to. Let me double check it.
What's his bottom bracket movement?
Get,
8.
only he gets a base 4.
So he can't reach the Thunderfire Cannon. Okay, never mind.
Sweep again.
He's safe.
He gets a
The
base
Salamanders
4.
are okay.
He gets 1 for
Yeah,
the
Glargify
charge
looks like
and
that's
still
what
1 for
Space
diabolic
Wombat's
strength.
doing. He's trying to potentially block a wrap here on the Invictor.
So I'm going to.
I think
put
he would have
2
hoped to have
into
more movement on
the
this
chaplain,
captain, but I think he does
and
have
the
3
rest
CP in the bank to
into
double
the
fight, which
biker.
I imagine we'll see right here.
Dude, that gives you
Unfortunately,
rolls.
bleeds him out for the rest of the game, but you definitely need more Mortarion
That is-
dead.
So 6 attacks into each.
Yeah, you
functional
spend that money.
Yeah,
no,
yeah, you gotta
gonna
get
be
that
more
guy
than
out
that.
of there.
unit. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Can't
It's
have
a
him
4
deal
base,
D3
no,
mortal
it's a
wounds to
4
your whole
base,
army for another turn,
and then he gets 1 for the
slash him
charge because
2
he's
years
charged.
to
Oh,
death.
yep,
and-
so 5.
And then he
you
gets
have
1
spells in there. Yeah,
diabolic strength. Yeah. So he's going to put 4 into the
Oh my
fight
gosh.
captain and 2 into the chaplain.
Sounds great.
Oh, splitting the
chaplain's
attacks.
hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s. Because he's still prescience. 5s will give him an extra 3 more attacks.
He hits on 2s in his bracket.
Yep.
Prescience bumps him up.
Since bumps him up to the 5s.
Yeah, so here's the exploding attacks.
all those will,
Each 6
instead of
generates
you
another
winning on
attack, but you can use
2s,
it as his reaping
5s and
scythe
6s
attack
do double damage and mortal wounds.
to gain additional 3.
Oh, cool. So you got that many minus
On his invuln.
2s. Yeah. Cool.
How much damage?
Takes
So he has
1.
1 mortal, and then okay, so he's taking 2.
4. Yep. And then this one here.
That was a good invulnerable
One is
save.
invul. Got 1 dice on his invul.
Looks like
Isn't that
I think
mortal?
the opposite of no zone has been
and
cast.
addition. It's still a save.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Sorry. I
So
did-
this is in the
So
invulnerable
because
saving
it does
zone.
double damage.
Nope, you're good. Sorry. Yep, so he takes
So it's
3
gonna
total
be-
from that.
Yeah,
We'll have 1 mortal
Glargify.
plus
Yeah, we're
2
on the
from
same
this,
page.
plus
You
1
have
fail,
to
so he
kill that
takes
guy
4.
with the captain this turn.
Oh, I didn't realize.
Assuming the
that was
captain
damage.
doesn't randomly die, that these 12 attacks are hitting him. He is -1 to wound and has a
That's
storm
me
shield.
having him fully buffed with all
But
this.
we can get to see
Oh,
some
you're
mortal
good.
wounds
I-
through
yeah,
here
no,
and
I
a
just didn't
couple
realize
good.
you
Kind of get the feeling those are still wounding on 2s, though.
So it'll be 9 more attacks.
Yeah, Mortarion is. What is he? +2 to wound
He's
Oof.
and +1 strength right now.
good,
Strength
good.
10.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well,
You're
It's a
rolling 1.
number.
this has gone south.
So it's strength 10 plus he has +1 to win, +1 to win.
Mhm.
So he should be on 2s.
Yeah, totally.
Rerolling 1s. 5s and 6s are mortal wounds.
Yeah, he's strength 9.
I think
That just still no pain. That's gonna be.
He's gonna die for the
that's
mortals.
10 mortal wounds right there. I think that just picks him up.
Well, that lets you fight when you die instead.
Stratagems before he heads out
So
the
get a
door.
discount fight twice. Not what Space Wombat was hoping for, but hopefully we can see Mortarion dead here. That is more damage than he
Yeah,
wanted
I'm gonna
to
spend 2
have.
CPs to have him fight again.
I don't know if you put, in hindsight, maybe you don't
Before
put
he
the
dies,
chaplain in there.
And yeah, so he has still
Definitely, I think he believed
4 attacks,
in
5 because he charged, 6
Harvey Dent here, and Harvey Dent did not manage to save Gotham.
Yeah, Harvey Dent, on his bicycle as he rode around in all of Batman canon.
6 last time.
Okay, that sounds reasonable.
He is well known for his motorcycling skills.
All fails.
Yeah, Deuce 83. Mortarion might kill everything over here.
Yep.
Here he goes.
Unless he charges something and then it's like,
Sure.
yeah, he's swinging at it right now.
He missed 4 times. Rerolled into 2 hits.
Where does Mortarion go? Goes into Relic Sicarian, dies in Overwatch. Goes into a Victor, dies in Overwatch. Goes into a 10-man and 5-man intercession squad.
Right,
Probably is
two more
okay.
invulnerable saves on Morty.
What's his strength?
Because I
Strength
used
10?
the stratagem on him, so he's still strength 10. Yeah.
So it'd be 10 versus 7, so 3. So 2. Okay, cool. Cool. And how much damage are they? Just 3 damage each?
This captain is not handling these negative to hit modifiers very well.
No.
Oh
my god.
Oh no.
Oh no.
That's not good.
Yeah, Glargify, the super captain super strat or super combo did not go off this turn. He was a toughness 7 with -1 to wound on him.
That guy could have been toughness 20. I think he was still going down.
I think the librarian, unfortunately, he went for the null zone instead of went for the null zone. I think he flubbed both the null zone and the Mighty Heroes. And then we saw Drake's skin get denied up there.
Can you imagine just a smite could have done it.
He did smite with this librarian, did only 1 wound. Oh dear. Well, I guess, in hindsight, who needs a wrap, dude? Who needs to wrap enemy models?
No.
You just face tank the whole army.
I had to pick up.
Yeah, why prevent yourself from being shot when you can just absorb the bullets?
Yeah, Glargify, it looks like you might be playing Chaos in the finals.
I don't have a bonus. We don't have hold more because we reach around 2. I don't think I picked up another.
So where does Morty go right
here? This would be a tough position for Space Wombat if that was the end of GrizzlyNateDog's turn.
Yeah, you should.
Unfortunately, GrizzlyNateDog is about to have a turn.
Yeah.
And Morty is
You didn't shoot the guys.
Where does Morty go where he does not just die in Overwatch?
Correct, I did not.
He goes over to this bottom corner, I think, right? Oh, can he even fit over the wall, though? Probably not.
No, 8-inch move. I don't think he can make that.
Maybe he just punches the crap out of this librarian and calls it a day.
Yeah, tags him, consolidates into the eliminators and like intercessors, denies an engineer point.
Big downside for Space Wombat.
How much CP
that costs him
have
so
left?
many CP that he can't super buff his flamers anymore.
Yep, just 1.
He can shoot in combat, but we can't see. We won't see the max.
Actually,
the max hits or the mortal wounds.
Once he dies.
Yeah, I would say we're down enough in CP to where this has become an honest game, but with Possess Bomb, that was never an option.
Looks like Mortarion deciding to use his consolidation.
All right, cool.
I'm not sure he can do that.
Suit already swung, so he doesn't get to swing.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the closest model, I believe.
But he was based by. Oh, the chaplain was dead, I guess. So,
yeah, I guess what is the mechanism on that for the swing on death, but you're dead at that point, right? So you don't actually take up board space with the captain.
No, the swing on death happens before you're removed, but the captain was not basing Mortarion, so Mortarion could have.
He's that one lone survivor. There's going to run.
Yeah, I think we're at the right. Yeah, we're at the right sequence there. Just a little odd because it was so far after the fact, but that's still the stage we were at in the game. Glargify feeling pretty good. Flamers doing pretty well against Centurions, or against Possessed. That makes sense. No way to block over.
Well, I mean,
in this list, and you can potentially just straight up kill Mortarion on a charge.
We are looking at a list that brought a lot of flamers.
Well, it brought 3 flamers.
They were big flamers, though.
Well, it brought 5 flamers. We have two Tech Marines in this list. That's the power of a 4+ invulnerable save for you, I think. I've been on record saying that a 4+ invulnerable save is mathematically passes more times than a 3+.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah,
I've watched you do it.
A 3+ invulnerable save is like it's like an imaginary number, you know. It's just something that you use theoretically, but it doesn't really exist. You roll them out after the fact, but I mean, you're already dead at that point.
It's looking a little grim.
It is looking grim for the Salamanders. So what do you do here? I have to imagine you have at least one Relic Sicarian that's left unengaged, right? This one in the back, I don't think anything's going to get to it. Mortarian's engaged himself. So he's not going to fall back and charge. I mean, they're going to blow up this Invictor, right?
So I'll tell you what I would do.
Tell me.
I'll tell you what I do. What I do in this situation. 100% works 100% of the time. Cannot fail.
Perfect. That sounds like
really hope warp time fails.
Yeah.
That's
just get her
right
done.
there.
Just deny the warp time, man. Easy game.
Possessed are not close enough to re-engage. Gives you another turn to just like get rid of Mortarion. You hope he somehow doesn't kill the Invictor Warsuit. Yeah. Invictor Warsuit, or the Invictor Warsuit just explodes and kills him.
Right. Yeah, that would be. I would love that. We do see. I was mentioning it before, but I didn't like this move with the Sicarian to get the rerolls on it.
Yeah.
I think if it had just booked it up towards the corner, like Largify was saying right at the start of the game, if it had split that castle, he's possessed her in a much tougher place. Because even with Mortarion surviving, if you immediately have 2 Sicarians lighting you up,
you consolidated, right?
Could be bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, moving past this hill with a single model, I believe, was in error.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you have to eat the charge on something, and Invictor Warsuits are the best thing to eat it with, I think, for sure.
Yeah, but the 15 intercessors that were there, I mean, you had to throw up a couple of characters.
I think
gotta risk it for the biscuit.
Space Wombat, we've seen him play aggressively with those intercessors before, and again, it's sort of biting him in the butt.
I want to play more defensive and set back another turn.
He's losing models,
but I don't see you moving up anymore.
Oftentimes, when you think what you're doing is just screening out an enemy assault force, all you're actually doing is enabling their forward progress, and that's like that could oftentimes be a mark of skill where you're able to kind of like see the matrix where you just understand when you're a hindrance and when you're enabling your own downfall.
Yep. Yeah. So I know we have a couple of new people who watch these streams, so anyone who's tuning in who isn't very much experienced in 40K, welcome to the game. But that is something to think about. In 40K, unlike a lot of other games, sort of physically body blocking your opponent's assaults can go very wrong for you.
Your thing.
And especially with high model count melee units like these possessed, 17 models in this unit, they can give you a try point really quickly because they can move so quickly and maneuver around your unit and give you a
The interesting mechanism of charges only occurring when you have something to charge means that you can't necessarily body block an assault unit because what you're doing is you're doubling their movement.
Yeah, and we saw if you in our Space Wolves versus Astra Militarum game. And unfortunately, it didn't go well for the Astra Militarum because they forgot the Space Wolves countercharge stratagem there. But K-Thor 90 did a good job of physically body blocking a melee unit, right? By effectively just rigging them with models so that they couldn't move farther out in their movement phase.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to do. You have to block their landing zone in the movement phase.
Yeah, you body block by getting up in their face rather than just trying to create like this picket line exactly between the two forces.
Yep.
Although That's still quite difficult with warp time in the wings. Warp time is a great way to just ignore a great many of the game's rules. Can you imagine if there was like a Primarch scale character that could cast warp time on itself?
Wow,
Maybe with like a +2 or 3 to its own cast, so it basically always went off and was almost impossible to counter.
And what if he also had, he or she also had a bunch of other spells they could cast in the psychic phase, so they could use warp time to like extend the threat range of those very powerful, you know, mortal wound potentially output spells.
So we're just going to force them.
Fortunately, we don't live in such a world where such a creature exists with a strange kind of stomach-only armor plating that has horns on it and a
instead we
pretty sick-looking sword.
Another one.
We only have this weird fly guy.
This and we got this and we got that one snake guy. You know,
he's got a big stick.
The Emperor's Children Primarch.
Magnus
we got that guy.
We're talking about Magnus, by the way.
That is.
Yeah,
well, no, it doesn't have this shot.
No, he's got a big stick. With
it's like a
thing
Magnus
the
Magnus the Therapy Dog is the Google response after Magnus the Red.
Well, a minute. Well, I'm gonna have to put that in the chat now.
He's a really cute. He's a very cute therapy dog.
He's going to
Magnus the Red. Let's see this thing. Okay, so I'm gonna break halfway with you though. So it's definitely a sword. It just has an incredibly long handle.
So it's more like a glaive or a halberd.
But if you look at how he's holding it like it's a sword that just has an unfortunately long handle. In seemingly every one of these images.
He's gonna lose 2, right? So 3, 4, 5.
Okay. What's it called on his datasheet there? The Blade of Magnus. Thanks, datasheet. Looks like we just got a warp time off on these possessed. Here they come. We're gonna fight ourselves an Invictor and give a little love tap to the Sicarian. Maybe we get a long charge. We wrap the Sicarian. That would be pretty bad.
So it's definitely just a Kopesh with an incredibly long handle, but Kopeshes don't have incredibly long handles, so I don't really know what we would call this thing.
That's in fact part of their design.
I always love how you're moving things. You're like, oh, let me just move these on the table that you can get a true measurement. And here you're like, man, I went from 7 inches to.
So,
not having.
I mean, at this point, right, Space Wombat, you're kind of hoping for some bad dice on GrizzlyNateDog's part, right?
Oh yeah.
You can't.
Yeah.
This Invictor's gonna die.
All right.
Right. You just gotta.
The Master of Possessions is going to try to do.
If you hope for a really short, a really short charge with these possessed, that means that Magnus or Mortarion has to get into to block this Sicarian. Like if these possessed roll a 3 for a charge, they might not be able to get to the Sicarian, and Mortarion will have to do it to block it from shooting. And at that point, you can try to kill them with mortal wounds before the shooting phase, and you can get both Sicarians in on the possessed. I think that's the only hope he's got right now.
Yeah, I feel like it's a simplistic enough scenario. There are few enough options on the point of the Salamanders to where what you're really hoping for is bad luck on your opponent's side and good luck on your own.
Yep. And fortunately, in 40K, this
not
is
a great place to be.
You roll enough dice, and the game lasts long enough that a lot of times the dice can swing back.
So
and
now we go to
while
shooting.
we did see, like, Mortarion's alive, and we lost the Chapter Master, that's a big deal. But
and
there's a lot of firepower left in the Salamander's army. It's not like he's out of shooting. He's only lost 1 Invictor so far.
I roll more 1. All right.
Well, 15 Marines as well.
I guess
and then another
and
Invictor.
Some intercessors.
In a moment.
And about to be a second Invictor.
Yeah,
potentially
-3 damage.
Gotcha. Down to 9.
Okay.
I think we saw that this was 10 inches between the possessed and the Sicarian, so
well, the way
we're probably going to need a pretty big charge, or a pretty small charge to stop these guys from getting into the Sicarian there.
The Sicarian.
Yeah, you did like a 5 or 6 there. If it was 10, you need to be 1 out, move 3, move 3,
It's for
So
sure.
you're looking at like a 6 or 7.
Charge target, you're -1.
Only 1 CP left
just
for
go straight for
But just -1 to him.
Space
or
Wombat.
-1
I don't
to the
believe it's
charge?
enough for another Born Protectors, because otherwise
So you
could
only
see
get 1
this
charge
Invictor
modifier
potentially
if you charge a
shoot him.
repulsor. So if you deck him with the charge, even if you don't end up charging,
I don't know
it's
that a
still
Born
-1.
Protectors really has much value firing into these
So
possessed
if you
anyway
don't
at the
want to
moment.
charge them, that's fine. But
Okay, what you're saying is it makes this an 11-inch charge.
I didn't measure it. It's 1 more. So yeah. You
Oh,
can
and
charge with
one
one
thing
more.
we haven't thought
I've got
about
a
is his
10.
flame shield on the Invictor. That is going to give
That's
Oh,
what
yeah.
I was
possessed
asking.
-1
Oh,
for
yeah.
this type
Yeah,
of charge.
it adds +1 to the inch if you deck.
So he might not even declare the Sicarian
Okay, so
and
then
just hope
I'm not
to hit it
I'm not
with the-
gonna deck.
The
this guy.
Sicarian?
We're just gonna do the Zerg carry.
Oh, just the tank. I'm with
Yep.
you. Okay. Sure. So the
I
tank
would
will
like to
shoot
point
it's gonna
out
shoot the 8.
These Nurglings,
Or
they're on the move.
here they come.
Autocannons first, dealing 6s. Nope. I'll salamander one of those. Nope. And then we have 9.
So
Bolters
excuse me, I
into-
did misspeak. The possessed
just 1.
only declared the Sicarian. They left the Invictor
And
alone.
1 wound.
That means they're going to look
Really?
for a 9, I think, a 9-inch charge.
Why would
It's
they
just 1
have
damage,
done
it's just 1
that?
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
just
he's
gonna-
assuming
I'll put a dice on this
that
one guy.
Mortarian's going to kill the Invictor and touch the Sicarian regardless.
Cool, I can...
Yeah, but I mean, like, that's still didn't. You don't move at all if you
Okay,
fail
I was
that
gonna say,
much
I don't
lengthier
mind
charge.
adding them, I just
You're
don't
not
mind
taking any
them.
Overwatch from this Invictor anyway.
All right.
It is interesting. Maybe
Here we
a
go.
little high on rolling a bunch of 4+s. We're just going to roll 9-inch charges now.
Yeah.
Easy. Yeah, see, there you
Well,
go. There's the
you
time.
did. Yeah, that's all you got to do.
Okay.
Oh,
Intends
he was
to
probably
do
also
it.
trying to avoid that the flame shield, because the
Yeah,
flame
so
shield
he's
was going to
trying
make it
avoid the
notably harder to
-1,
get in. But
for sure.
I'm a 10.1.
Yeah. I mean,
And
you
you're
don't
good. Looks good.
you don't really need to be careful with your charge choices if you roll 10.
Yeah,
Oh,
easy,
problems
easy.
with possessed are gonna be
Just
out
roll
there.
really high numbers and you get there. Although 12.5 is a little higher than that.
Kevin
that
Chang,
move.
Nurglings
Yeah,
are the
it's 10
scariest
down
things
max, there's
fight
no way
me.
for
I
the
don't think you're
wrap in.
gonna wrap it. yet.
Because there's so many of them.
We're just
These
gonna roll it
Nurglings
up.
are Scabathraxes.
Yeah.
We're
They're
just
tiny
gonna have to kill
Scabathraxes,
it.
so I would agree with you there.
I really
There actually
don't
are
like
not-
it, but
I will contest, there are not that many Stabithraxes on this base.
Yeah,
And
there's
also,
only 5.
Scabathrax is I feel like he's a little over. He's not as strong as he likes to talk himself up as.
Well, yeah, it's all he's all
gonna
bark and no
measure
bite,
backwards,
right? Because
and
he
then
wants
modify.
he
You
looks
Set your
scary,
guys
but
up and
he's
move it. I understand. You need to.
he's
He's
really a
about
lovable
maybe
guy.
it's about maybe 125 points overcosted.
Train.
That sounds right to me.
I'm sorry, 125%, not points.
At the same token, staying
Or-
outside.
Poor Scabathrax, poor Forge
Oh,
rolled
dude.
range for demons.
Or suit.
They're all just straight garbage.
If I was gonna try to clean Nurglings out of my house, I would not enjoy it very
No,
much. But if
yeah,
I
okay,
was
cool.
a Space
That's
Marine
all
and
the
fighting
charges.
Nurglings,
You don't
I'd be
have.
okay.
You got 1 CP, right?
Yeah, I only got 1.
So
Careful with that
I
though. If you get up to like
I'll
a
evacuate
6
these
count on
guys
Epidemius, those little guys,
Oh yeah,
they suddenly became quite scary.
yeah, they go up to toughness 3, so you're not winning on 2s anymore.
Yeah. 5 attacks, strength 3, rerolling wounds.
So I feel like this game
not doing that very well.
may have been recoverable,
I got a fork in my
for a
hand
Space
and I'm not
Wombat.
paying attention.
but this, this
You
10-inch
mean
charge here-
before this 10-inch charge? Yeah.
This 10-inch charge may have thrown yet another wrench into the works. That said, I'm gonna make a
That's
call.
enough.
I think Space Wombat had this coming
No,
after his
do I
round
think
1
I
game.
can do much else with it?
Where, if you watched it, his opponent failed an immense number of 3+
1,
and
2,
vulnerable
3,
saves
4,
in order
5, 6, 7 guys.
for Space Wombat to win that game.
And
I
then
wanted to be that guy.
will,
I wanted to be the guy failing
spend
3+
Kevin
saves
Chang,
against this list.
one Nurgling swarm is
to
scary
give
against
them,
a
+1
regular human,
strength plus 1
for sure.
damage.
Sounds
but
great.
against almost anything else in the
So
40k
there are
universe.
strength 8.
Regular humans are
That's
so
strength
far
7.
down the food
Yeah, like
chain
a-
that
Plus 1 to
Nurglings
wound.
are,
Like a Kroot?
are definitely
6.
above us.
Or like a
7.
A Kroot
like a
will
fire
do
warrior.
A Kroot's got like
Sure,
he got like
please.
two attacks,
Well,
right?
actually, because you're
They'll
within
get
Like
it.
a Kroot. No way. A
Oh,
Kroot will
no,
not beat a
good
Nurgling space.
on
No.
threes.
No.
Silly Mortarian.
No.
On 3s and then +1 to wound.
They don't even win
strength
on
2s.
2s. They got like 2 strength 3 attacks.
Prescience,
I'd like to put the
so
challenge
7
out to
guys,
the-
they get
oh,
1
they're
for
only
their
strength
charge,
3.
1 for the shepherd.
Oh,
and then
no.
do 3
Hey,
attacks.
Why?
goofy little
More
hook
for
blade on
full
their bolt
text
on their
each.
like
oh no, they're
bad
strength 4.
bolter.
No, they're strength 4. Get out of here. They're +1.
Oh, they're strength 4.
I
Okay.
do math in my head.
T3 though is still not a good place to be in that scenario.
They used to have 2 attacks. I've never seen a Kroot in 8th edition. I only remember their 4th edition rules.
Well, that's
when they were really,
I mean-
really good.
28.
it's kind of hard to
And they used
find
infiltrate-
things that aren't
infiltrate,
28 foot.
And they were better than Space Marines at
Rerolling
fighting,
1.
and
Oh, no
about the
rerolling
same
1
as
'cause I
Space
didn't
Marines at
get that power
shooting.
off.
Well, the thing that keeps Grid out right now is that they're not 28-foot tall robots or frisbees.
Yeah.
Which means that you just don't see them.
If only Kroot could save your protocols for Tau models, which I think would be a fluffy rule given given how they're utilized in the Tau military.
Yep, sounds good.
All right.
Well, it doesn't help that most of the Kroot range is decidedly ancient, and a lot of it's pretty bad at this point.
And double damage, yeah.
Okay.
Those Kroot toxes are long in the tooth.
Yeah. So I'm gonna roll those last. Just
they are 4 points a model though.
-2.
So
they're also like $4 a model.
Yeah. So how much damage is it each? I'm pretty sure it's just
they have a pretty solid stat line for being 4 points.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11,
I'm gonna
12,
call
13,
it.
14. Yep, he's dead from that.
I think they're probably worth.
So see if he blows up.
And they move at the start of the game.
Tank that's gone.
And their troops. Oh man, you can take an unlimited number.
And then,
all right, challenge out to all the watchers. I want to see
attacks
300 Kroot in one of these T5S2 pods.
into this guy.
How many points is a gargoyle?
We have like 120 players in the T5S2 series right now.
Oh, I forgot
one of
to
them
cast
has
his
to
spells.
has to have the cojones to put 300 Kroot on the table. Please.
You didn't remind me.
Please
man.
let me see it.
Reminded me. I
Let me
probably would
stream
have
that
blown
game.
up with
I didn't even know what he had.
cast his spells. So it's,
yeah, the Sicarian taken out by Possessed.
he's going to
That's
do
what they
his big
I
attack.
noticed
Yeah, that's
that.
not a surprise.
On
Yikes.
2, 3 rolling ones. A 6 does give him one more attack.
Sure.
And then
So
I wonder
those.
if we're just gonna
it's,
try to kill this
strength
Invictor.
16.
It
Sure,
probably
man.
kills Mortarion on
Wounded
the
on
swing
2,
back.
3
if it doesn't
rolling
matter.
ones.
Yeah, he's just using
what's
his
his
big, his
save?
big swing.
3.
3 up. It's a -4, so no
Yeah.
save.
Yep.
He just kills him.
And then D6 damage. So 10.
17
14.
wounds on
Blows
that
up.
guy.
He
Oh.
does not.
One off the explosion too. Oh,
Well,
that would have been
more than 7.
just a nice. Nice.
Yeah, he didn't put the Variant Blessing on there, so yeah, just 17.
Yeah, just 17.
kills.
Only 17 wounds.
That's
on
two.
that,
Yep,
on
I
that
put him down here.
Invictor. That was already
Okay,
wounded.
cool. And then
We do have a couple smites left on the table to try to knock Mortarion out,
yeah,
and that
he'll
means that
do
the
his
possessed are
consolidation.
shootable this turn. We have an Invictor that could shoot him. We can max shots the Invictor. He's still going to be winning on 2s. We have a Sicarian that could shoot him. I mean, we're going to lose a lot of possessed, I think, right now.
So you are gonna
Probably run the Librarian over, try and null zone the Possessed, and really just pray for just a lot of 6s.
And it looks like I don't believe that there's any defensive buffs in those possessed right now.
I don't.
He's got Fresh
did
Virulent
he
Blessing,
cast-
plus 1 to wound?
I think
Oh,
they
he
are.
does have
Yeah, it's a +1 to wound, or is that just?
And I-
plus 1
Yeah,
invuln,
Curse
plus
Nerf there.
1
Yeah.
morale marker over here. Okay, so they are on a 4+.
You'd have
Yeah.
3 or
So
4. I feel like you'll have
they're not going to
4.
get shredded too hard, but
Well, unless that null zone goes off.
oh yeah, the null zone's still alive. Ooh.
I gotta think that.
Yep,
Well,
I gotta think that null zone is the key to this
it's
game being
it's like
coming
we
back.
talked about earlier, right?
Sounds right.
As soon as that null zone goes off, it's probably
8
only going
to
to catch the first
21,
3
they
models in the
say.
unit, and those are the
Alright,
first
Oh,
3 you
you
pull.
got this.
So it
Yeah,
really
that's
affects
true.
Morty and it makes
I'm gonna
Morty
do
easy
something
kill,
just
but
so I
think
feel
I
better
think
about
Space Wombat's
myself
hoping
now.
he can grab a random smite on Morty and kill him.
No, it would have made a difference. Cool.
I hope Space Wombat
we
doesn't
are
make the mistake of trying to
staying
finish these guys in melee with this Invictor,
Alright,
because
for one
it doesn't
more
matter how many
turn.
less than that possessed unit, they will kill an Invictor in
I guess I
melee.
need to declare that in your turn, but yeah, still. Salamanders always stay intact.
Patrick
see.
Persiani,
Fire.
I'm
So
going to
I
give you
need
my
to
bug
kill
list. I've
17
been
possessed and more
mad busy all day, so unfortunately I haven't been able to send that over to you, but
you
I will,
can do it.
I will shoot you that as soon as I am.
I
I'm back
thought
on
I
my
was gonna
phone
kill
and
him
can
last
copy
turn.
paste it.
Here he is.
Yeah, but I forgot to put -1 on him.
Well, I mean, if the Invictor could have managed to fit into that ruin there, he could tag
Smash cap
one of
him.
these middle possessed.
He fought twice.
Possibly survive the
Okay,
swing back.
so
Keeps them
moving
strung
on.
there.
Librarian
Especially if you just
Skull.
walk up and you can tag one of the ones in front.
Does
Oh,
it
no, he
take
does not wanna
does
be
it
in.
take more than 3 possessed to kill an Invictor Warsuit? I feel
So
like it
maybe
does
he
not.
does wanna advance. Hold on.
It depends on how many buffs they have. If they have all of them,
They're plus,
no,
they're plus
it
2 to
does not
wound
take that
and
many.
plus 1 to hit right now.
I think he actually is going.
No, they don't have any plus to their AP though.
Yeah, I think you'll be okay.
You have how many CPs?
I believe in
Yeah, I'm bone dry.
Harvey possessed.
You've got
In a few games, I've managed to do the string where you just tag
Right.
them in the middle and the
Yeah.
front, and they can't actually dedicate more than 2 or 3 per model they're attacking, and they just sort of flop on you.
I don't think I agree that that's a good way of mitigating it.
Warsuit's
In this
going to
specific
walk.
situation, I don't think the Invictor. Ooh,
Just
here
go
it
with
comes.
that
Well,
I don't think he can fit anyway. I don't believe he can fit through there.
No, he's not going to get through them. He just, I think he just wants to try to clear them out, but he's got to kill like this big bunch in the middle. He's got to kill enough of them so that he strings them back to the center, and he catches one and can kill enough that it's able to punch through the
if you're outside 12, it's going to be -1.
Okay. And they are
feels aggressive, especially since these Death Shroud Terminators are here, and now they're in charge range of.
Oh yeah. Like they're jumping at the
you could stop those guys from getting at you for another turn if you just held back. Big downside of those guys is they are slow as molasses, and you don't really need to let them charge you unless you want to.
Yeah. Yeah, the Death Shrouds are an interesting inclusion in this list. Not one that I think I would make, but I did have them all dive in front of Morty in our game.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they seem to be mostly insurance if this list does not go first, right? Because you can protect the possessed, you can protect the Terminators. You can't protect Morty for the most part. And if you go second into a gun line, you're going to want all of those Death Shrouds to keep them alive.
It doesn't seem super relevant.
Not against me. You didn't took my only. Well, I got one.
Is dice volume the best way to beat the possessed bomb?
I've got a couple of pop shots from characters.
Yeah, I think it'll be an interesting discussion. I imagine I have a bit of a skewed perspective. I think because the faction I play is usually pretty good against them. But
volume, yeah,
go for it. I'd like to hear.
So the best way
on killing possessed.
If your plan is to just shoot them, and you do have the capacity to shoot them, they're not actually that hard to kill, presuming they're not sitting on -3 and that you're a Space Marine. Space Marines do have a high enough volume of 2 damage attacks, especially things like Stalker Bolt Rifles or Leviathan Dreadnoughts with Storm Cannons are great, just fantastic at killing this entire squad in one turn.
You should have all 4.
Certain profiles, it's the 2 damage that you desperately need.
Character you've denied, you've held an objective,
just enough power and high enough ballistic skill to just go through the negative hit modifiers. Like if you can fire say 20 storm cannon shots with a 2-up to hit, you're gonna kill like 10 models out of that unit pretty easy. And once they've lost like half their model count, they're really losing most of their like efficacy in the game. Because you have like 500 points of supporting characters, just to buff 10 models is not the same as buffing 20 models. What? It's not even close. You can't string out, like, by the time they're down to 10, they're not close to their characters in the back anymore. Way to fire, though, like, las guns probably aren't pulling it out.
Just one, though, we're all sad.
Smite from the Librarian
What's going on here?
Went off on a 9. Morty rolled to deny, rolled a 9, so the Smite went off, rolled 1 mortal wound.
He is down to 1.
Ouch. Leaves him on 1.
Null Zone goes off on a 6.
Null Zone went off. Although, let's see if that actually goes off.
But it looks like
it happened.
It went off.
Watch Librarian just shoot. Watch Librarian just shoot him with his pistol.
With the bolt pistol. Yeah.
5 will not go off because it's the second Smite.
So Torin, in my opinion, having a unit that can punish the possessed bomb for advancing on you, I think, is the best way to kill them. Like we're talking about, they are mostly hard to deal with because, for the most part, they're going to be unshareable. They're going to hit really hard when they alpha you. But if you can swing back,
I don't think you're going to be charged,
and you kill a bunch of them,
who knows?
You're gonna blast them.
So when Mortarian dies,
they're just intercessors with a 4-up invuln. Like they'll almost never have cover. If you're close enough, you're ignoring the Alpha Legion -1. You're probably still sitting on another -1 and then a 4-up invuln. It can be a little rough. Some armies like Guard just, I don't even know what Guard do here. Orcs just point their wall of, Relic Shocks.
Guard call in the Space Wolves or the Blood Angels that they've souped into. Yeah. or at this stage, Guard lose all of the models that have been wrapped because they died. Right, cool. And you drop 3 Tempestus Scion, like quad plasma gun units on them.
We'll go ahead and shoot his
Tauren or Riptide Heavy Burst Cannon's good against them. Yeah, so they line up well with the stats. There are some issues applying the burst cannon, and as we saw before, GrizzlyNateDog has done a great job of protecting these guys from shooting. They're very, very difficult to shoot on the way in until they commit and actually get into you, And then at that
Yeah.
point, he can try to buff them to be hard to shoot at. The Dark Apostle back here has a litany that he can give them -1 to be hit by ranged attacks. If you're more than 12 inches away from them, they're an additional -1. And if he gets
should have died the last turn.
they're 3-1, -3 to hit. So
it can be really rough when they're running into 3 Riptides overwatching them, though.
that's true. Yeah, they'll get
all at once
alive, I think, by the Riptides shooting them. So a big part of it is
takes 1.
I think blocking the damage they can do. With your shield drones, you can sort of effectively body block them from getting into the Riptides. And then at that point, if you can counter punch and be inside that 12 inches, you can do a ton of damage on the swing back.
Yeah, commanders just jetting up next to their supporting characters and just killing off 2 of the supporting characters too. Can just like cleave them out.
Oh, there goes Morty. We did it.
Oh, no explosion.
Finally, Morty is dead. Yeah, but the null zone is out of range of the possessed. It looks like.
Okay, back to
yeah, you can see in situations like this that a Cold Star commander shooting 40 inches over and killing the Master Possession and/or the Sorcerer, so that they don't get all these defensive benefits is a big deal as well. And they start falling apart as soon as those characters are dead.
And then,
one of the strong counters to Possessed is Flyers in a general sense. Like they're given the fact that they have to string back like it's some sort of game of cell phone Snake. Like they're very easy to move block, especially in like the important turn, and it's very easy to just run a Flyer up right next to their like. Right now, if a Flyer was on this table, like the Sorcerer would be dead, the Poxbringer or Master Possession would probably be dead, the Poxbringer would definitely be dead.
Yeah, if
they're
just
so vulnerable back there.
One random aircraft, yeah. Torin,
no minus.
The Tau Sept Overwatch is definitely the scariest that the faction can bring, but you don't necessarily need it for Tau Overwatch to be absolutely brutal against a melee unit, especially if it's
how many is it?
If it's a list like this that's relying on one central melee unit that has to make a big charge. If you just shoot it with 3 Riptides straight up, then
yeah, 3 greater gooded Riptides will just kill half that unit. Then you'll lose like 1 Riptide, the other 2 will just jump out and then shoot it to death because at that point they're now the closest unit. They're not getting one of their minuses to hit, and you just like spend on free marker lights to ignore some negatives.
Yeah. So as long as you can castle your Riptides pretty well, you can block where the Possessed can go with their charges with your flying models so that they can't actually get melee attacks in onto the Riptides. And you make sure that you don't give them a good place to charge from outside of line of sight, then you can weather the storm pretty well.
But if you do let all of your broadsides get charged from outside of line of sight, and they get wrapped,
they did not get wrapped until turn 3. Okay, so
I haven't used
to give my opponent credit. He didn't let me ramp until the end of the game when it didn't matter.
So 4 saves there.
It's also just almost impossible to stop Gene Stealers from wrapping whatever they want.
They don't get you. The Gene Stealers, they don't have any pants and they want yours.
Come on, get the dice.
They're gonna steal your jeans. They're gonna put them on, and they're gonna look fly as hell.
You can get those. You get those big wide broadside pants. They shop at the big and tall store.
The Tech Marine will go ahead and shoot. He's gonna
so here we go. So
first and then shoot his
here we see if the Possessed can survive this the damage output here.
Well, he's starting out with a Tech Marine shooting first, which is important.
No, he's already killed 3, I think. 1 in the front
the
dive
Tech
and
Marine?
2 in the
Yeah.
2 in the 2 Possessed.
Tech Marine has a lot more to kill.
Tech Marine's about to absolutely pay. He's going to pay for the Thunderfire Cannon that the Obliterator's killed. He's ready. He's seeking vengeance over here.
So 4 save for the Flamer.
So is this a Dawn of War 1 Tech Marine, or is this the hero unit from Dawn of War 2?
1 damage?
Yep, just 1.
Just because
I think this is Dawn of War 2.
No, I don't think so.
Dice and roll around because you're going to be shooting a lot.
No, the Dawn of War 2 Tech Marine looks way different. He doesn't have the harness.
Okay. Then yeah, it's just the Dawn of War 1 like support guy. Because in Dawn of War 1, the Tech Marine just like built your buildings, right?
Ben Stark,
or is that like a
any
servitor?
reason people haven't brought flyers? I think the new ITC missions are very specifically designed to be antagonistic to flyers, because bonus points are so easy to score, and aircraft can't score them, and aircraft can't score a lot of the secondaries anymore. People have started to bring them less and less. That said, we do see them. I played against 6 flyers in the QCT tournament that was streamed on my channel. That was with Dark Angels, and I believe that a flyer spam list got submitted to T5S2.
Nice.
I just can't remember which pod.
Saves.
I think
It differs a lot by faction. Space Marines outside of Dark Angels or like the early Iron Hands lists, they don't benefit a lot by their flyers. Like their strength is not in their flying units, or at least not in the flying units that are flyers.
I just moving the one.
Whereas you'll see armies like Orcs, you're likely to see quite a few. Like just two good old burn Obamas just like ruin this list now, I believe. Like over the course of 2 turns, you just kill every HQ and Indo ones.
So Shuma, we kind of called this game, right? As soon as Mortarion didn't die and he killed a bunch of stuff. That said, this Possess Bomb's looking a lot smaller.
Oh, sorry, the crack grenade into him. Sorry.
Do you think we might have called
He
it
has
a little
lost,
early?
well,
It's almost halfway dead. Oh,
yeah, he's lost 7 out of 20.
He started small. He started at 17.
Oh. And he has lost 5? Yeah.
Torin, the ITC missions are created by Frontline Gaming. So they're a sort of a non-GW entity, but they work pretty closely with GW these days. To kind of coordinate, mostly event coordination, but I think they do pass data about the ITC back and forth. But it is not an official GW rule set.
No, I'll do the +1. So they get the
yeah. Just results of
the most popular and most balanced tournament rule set.
So normally hitting on 3s down to 2s, hitting on 3s again.
Because the results of ITC tournaments do seem to now influence later decision making for like chapter approved documents.
Yeah.
But I'd say other than that, and then probably like quite a few of the people that are at the high end of ITC are probably also like participating in betas or other forms of like GW rules testing. There's not like a direct relationship.
Yeah, I know a lot of the Frontline Gaming and the ITC team play tests a lot of rules for GW these days.
I don't know what else I have to shoot.
Should do that a little harder.
Yeah, I think it sounds like, I mean, according to them at least, the big issue is that GW doesn't always listen to them. So I don't know. We'll see. Although, I don't know how much of that is trying to save face.
Guy back there.
Sure. Go for it.
So he's
I mean, I gotta imagine some releases GW puts out are just like written, sent to printers within like a week or 2. But by the time they finish,
so 2 hits.
Like the inserts for art in those books, they are already sent to printers.
Yeah, Torin, I would consider running my own format, but I don't think that it is. I like writing rules, so at some point I'm sure that I will. But right now I don't think it's necessary. It's mostly just gonna split the community because 90% of tournament players play the ITC format, and there's no real reason to move off of it. It's not particularly unbalanced. It's actually, at this point, at this stage, I think it's got some idiosyncrasies, but it's for the most part a very well written and balanced set.
These are wounding on 3s, and did I reroll my?
Ben Starkey's bringing 3 DACA jets into pod 4.
You got to get a burn bomber in there.
No, I don't want to.
DACA jets are still okay, but like a single burn bomber just for the flying headbutt strat. If not 2, for 2 flying headbutts. If not 3, 3 flying headbutts, 3 turns in a row.
No, my wife's
flying headbutt is so good.
Is it? You've got 3 saves off the flame.
Is it that good?
Yeah, it's this enormous 3 like 1 flying headbutt is okay. 2 flying headbutts is where you empty out every character on your opponent's side in one go.
What if they don't put them all together?
I mean, it's hard to avoid. It's like a 6-inch long model with a 3-inch radius.
So if they just don't put the characters within 12 inches of each other, then it's not that good.
I mean, at that point, what are they all doing? Basically, all popular characters are just like aura support characters to buff things up. They're almost always clumped.
Speak for yourself.
Sure, this guy take 1 wound.
I have played your Great Knight, sir.
Last thing that's gonna crack into him is the Thunderfire cannon.
What?
I have to learn to play without my Grey Knight characters because I keep getting them.
Oh yeah, you're rolling for shots. I'm so sorry.
You're good.
Just imagine if Jets were like challenging them to duels.
They pick fights with sniper rifle bullets usually, and they don't always win. Yeah, Torin the Flying Headbutt is the literal epitome of orkiness. Yeah, that's true. Orcs have the amazing ability to use anything as a melee weapon, including an airplane.
shoot my engineer squad because I need to do.
I have to
Do
say,
you guys have a wound right now? No.
No.
when I started playing
It's
40K,
actually-
I actually really didn't like the idea of orcs. I thought they were too goofy.
Reroll
But I think I'm
hits.
in. I think I've come around on the orkiness.
Yep. So 1 crack save.
I feel like there is an acceptable amount of comic relief in them, and then like it becomes too much. They need to just kind of like hem the line between being funny and actually just being like
I already used
a
my
little
reroll.
scary.
Well, it's fun to have a funny
just one
faction,
save from
and I like that they are the funny faction. But then also, if you think of them realistically,
I think unfortunately
really
They're terrible.
I have to charge
They're like juggalos.
yeah, it's
I mean,
funny until they rip your arms off
No,
and
you
like
don't.
leave
You
you to
can
bleed
make
out
a
while they
charge.
eat your toes or whatever. You know, it's like
Yeah, I thought about it.
see a juggalo on the side of the street. He just has like
anything on the crack.
like a soda or something. You know, he's not that scary. I feel like you run into one of those just like it's like dark out. It's an alley. You know, that's
all
and
that's
it's
gonna work.
and it's a juggalo with his 10 juggalo
So
friends.
they
and
are strength
Yeah.
7.
they're
No.
all gonna
yeah.
murder you.
Oh, sorry, strength 6.
You know, and then
You
eat
can't
you or
interrupt,
whatever.
so
That's
maybe
all.
I could kill
It's not as nice.
4.
I mean, even if they don't, even if they're just like, "Hey, buddy, you lost," and they're genuinely concerned for like your safety and if you know where you are, you know, like you're still terrified.
I think juggalos are for the most part pretty cool people.
You're thinking of the people like Cannibal Corpse. It's a different band.
10, that's...
Sure,
So I just want to
Whatever-
face those 2.
whatever you
and
said.
try the ones
Looks
with
like we're in the charge phase. Space Wombat getting a little
You're going to get all
aggressive.
5 guys in there to fight. I'm with
And this is something he likes to do. He likes to charge with his intercessors. He likes to
the
get those attacks out.
Warsuit
We are only round 3,
Oh.
so we are not in combat doctrine right now. I don't believe you. I think we're still in
I
tactical. I
think the
imagine.
closest the Warsuit can get is like...
And with
Um,
no,
And
I
we're
mean,
just
there is
starting-
nothing to interrupt, and
the Warsuit
they're not
can
getting
do
2 of
the-
their negatives
Oh, yeah,
while getting
technically,
face planted like this. This
that's
could be a way to
right.
thin
He's
out
got
another
triples
4
that
of them,
first.
Yeah, but
maybe
He's
5.
only gonna move 5 inches.
yeah. Let's see.
I think you got it.
Oh, also going in with the
That's right,
Tech
go
Marine.
for it, Tech Marine.
Gets in with a
Live
big
your
number, I
dreams.
think. Yeah,
Becoming an
big
assault
old
marine.
7. With the -2 from the
and then
forest.
he
Your
will
players
not
fortunately
do
remembering
this.
that.
I feel like you kind of have to do this.
Yeah.
You can't give the possessed the ability to just walk over and pick whatever they want to fight on their own turn.
I think that's it, and I'm gonna swing because you can't interrupt me, right?
No.
No, you cannot. I'm gonna swing with the Horde of Intercessors.
And
first.
Space Wombat or GrizzlyNateDog's
so the,
casualty pulling actually making it a little bit difficult for him
three-piece
now
from the
because he's not going to be able to
guys.
consolidate this unit unless he pulls this guy, giving them
Do I have a full-
the
it is a
+1
full
invulnerable
squad.
save buff. Which
Yeah,
I
that's
imagine he
the
does.
big downside that I have noticed in every possessed bomb game is the fact that they have
And
to
then
just like
the captain
spaghetti
has-
string so far down
Oh, wow.
that they
get
become
consorts?
distinctly
Yeah,
vulnerable
free
to these sorts of
consorts,
multi-charges.
are stupid.
Yeah, and it's
Especially
like-
if they run themselves
Yeah.
out of interrupt dice.
It's like you were
or
saying
interrupt
before.
pulls.
That
Do I
it's
want
kind
to
of a
use
mark of a good player is
transhumanize?
if you can capitalize on that.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah,
definitely
I'll use
seen
my last
and
CP to
had
give him
people,
transhuman strength.
you know,
So
be
that gives
able
him +1
to
strength
punish
and
me
then
for
any
these long
unmodified
string
to
deployments
6, cause double damage.
with
Oh, okay.
a couple charges in different
Yeah, that might be a
positions in the
mistake. We
line.
can do it. We can both be on a CP.
Of course, what really makes this work is the fact that the possessed have no CP left to interrupt. This is
one
a
reroll.
terrible idea if they can do that.
And these are strength 5 now, so wounding on 3s.
Like you need specific, incredibly like endurance-heavy characters
Nice.
on the
reroll,
very edges of
So
a
you've
the
got,
spaghetti string to
3
survive this if they can
saves.
interrupt.
That are separate, and then 6 saves that are winning.
3 saves here.
Yep.
1 will go through. What
So
is
that
the
just goes to 2 damage, just kills a base.
2 damage? Okay. Hmm. He's got how many attacks?
I've only ever seen it
5.
in
On the charge,
40k
it's 5,
with
4 base
Possessed
damage.
Bomb, where
got
they
how many
take
attacks?
casualties in such
I
a
have
way where they
absolutely none.
permanently lock themselves
Okay.
out from
and
being
he
able
is
to
hitting
move.
on
Yeah.
4s right now or 5?
Which happened to me in my game
He's
here
not moving
against
until
these
he
exact
moves.
possessed. They were strung all the way across the map
Unless
with a
you have
giant gap in the
modifiers, so
middle.
I'm just giving you my stat.
And I just had,
Modifiers.
I think what was it? A great unclean one? Just tapped on them at the end.
Tech Marine has 3 attacks, 4 because he charged.
That wasn't the one guy attacking was not doing much back and was basically shutting down a solid 12 models. Not enough to get me back in that game though. Still lost.
All right.
But
That was a close game.
it is a
though.
And then you
way.
have 6 normal saves.
Yeah, I was
certainly
certainly-
6 1
or
damage
something like
saves.
Yeah, it was not.
Very
I was
close.
expecting to have this like
And
giant
so
oiled up muscle
tactical
man just kick my
doctrine gives you
sandcastle
close
over and
combat or
like
no?
take my girlfriend
No,
home.
that's assault doctrine.
But instead, you know,
So,
we just
okay.
punched each
Chad
other out and then
possessed
both fell asleep. Yeah,
There's one more guy. Okay.
The Chad possessed bomb against the poor virgin.
Just
Grand
like
Clean
I'm gonna swing my.
that's like
Tech Marine next
bespectacled,
to-
skinny little grid and clean one on the
He has,
beach,
like,
putting
a
together the
super
sandcastle.
thing. I never
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
I think
Wow.
the meme interpretation of Great Unclean Ones is basically exactly like they look like in real life.
His 3 attacks
they just
up
play.
to 4.
They just play a
and
lot
then
of
he has
like
a
Star Wars
servo
Galaxies.
Arm, which gives me -1.
And,
So he's
like,
gonna have 4 attacks hitting
I don't
him
know.
with 4s.
At
Complained
Valdor, I
on
think
Twitter.
Salamanders might have become
he's-
dominant in
he's
the,
I fully
meta
agree.
post Space Marine update if all the tournaments hadn't been canceled.
Salamander reroll, so 3 hits.
Have all the
absolutely.
tournaments been canceled at
Strength
Valdor? I'm going to ask you
is,
that
8, so
question
when do you
very
want
seriously
twos?
right now. Have they?
And then Salamander reroll that. So you have
Yeah,
3
I think
saves,
Salamanders
and those are
right
things-
now after the Doctrine's nerf, it looks like the meta has shifted towards negative, like
damage each.
ignore
3
AP as becoming like the defining trait
Sorry, he
right
would've
now
moved into
within the
base
game.
space, not to rebel.
Whereas before the defining trait was just the overwhelming mathematical superiority of Iron Hands.
It looks like
And, I mean, like-
the Invictor maybe cleaning up with 3 more dead
Oof.
possessed. I think we're deciding casualties right now. Ooh, all right. Well, as we are wont
Well,
to
he
do,
might have-
apparently on this channel,
So you've
we might have
killed
called this game early.
Mortarion?
I'm not
Well,
gonna
I
See
mean-
if these Death Shroud
because you
Terminators can
killed
still close it around. And
the war
not to mention that
suit
GrizzlyNate
last turn and the
GrizzlyNateDog
bounty,
has a
right?
big
Up by
points.
14 points.
But you've killed Mortarion
Mhm.
and this guy.
Oh, I do have 2. You're right. I guess if I kill the entire
Yeah,
This is-
Valdor, no worries. We're just ribbing you a little bit. But yeah, this is a T5S2 stream, so we are running tournaments ongoing all the way through August, and potentially in the future if enough people are interested. Right now we have 120 plus people on our Discord, and most of those are signed up for T5S2 pods.
Swing with the last one.
So what do you-
Warsuit.
So that brings me to the
Just
question,
like
like,
you're
what?
saying, Valdor,
Oh.
we are seeing
Go ahead.
Salamanders
This way, just a
become
bump into these guys.
enormously popular in those
And then he
pods.
has 5 swings.
We've seen a ton
So
of
what-
Salamanders.
He's hitting on 3s.
All
What
right,
do you
let's
think the meta shapes up to look like? I'm thinking like -2 to -3 ignore on Sisters is very powerful, especially with the Bloody Rose detachments in there, being that they're like
And those 4
killing
are just gonna be
push.
unbelievable.
Same on
Damage
Same on
each is
Salamanders.
2.
Like it seems like the meta is shaped by like
Oh, lose 3
Raven
more.
Guard drop Centurions, and then the things that can handle Raven Guard drop Centurions,
That was
and then
one
also
of my
or
favorites.
orc
even that,
orc
the
mech guns
sisters
on the
aren't-
side
The
somewhere.
sisters aren't a silver bullet, right? Because we did see Clark versus Dutes. It didn't go too well for the sisters that game.
Yeah,
They just
I
weren't
mean-
able to punch through the immense amount of firepower that the Centurions put out.
The Doctrine's nerf was a notable
If it
nerf,
comes
but
up,
it
I know
was
you're allowed
not
to pull them out of the
particularly
domains, but I don't know
hard
what happens when
on
they activate next.
the Raven Guard scent
They
bomb, which
just
was
can't-
already one
they
of the
can do
top
everything they
Benediction
want.
lists.
They just
Yeah,
can't.
So, like-
yeah, it went from
Okay.
being
Like I
a
said,
question
never
whether
comes
it
up for me,
was
so it's-
Iron Hands or
So
Raven
what I'm
Guard to
trying to
being
figure out is
definitely
who's
Yeah.
given them
I
that.
do.
So
I think
normally they're
Salamanders are
strength
definitely
5.
strong, and I think
He
we're going to
makes
see a ton
that
of them.
6.
But I don't.
I think they
we're
just
gonna
play
see-
play well into that
Toughness.
matchup.
This guy's toughness
Yeah,
4.
I
Take
don't
range
think there
toughness
is.
4.
They have the same raw
Yes, sir.
power as
The
the
2 of
as the
save.
Raptors do.
Yes, sir.
We'll see how it goes, though. I think we
Alright,
might
2
see some
damage there,
anti-raptor
and I
tech
only got 3
coming
guys.
out.
Yep, because of what I lost. I
And
gotta do it
people
this
are already
way.
moving
So
to
these
beat
3 guys will
Salamanders
go
and
away.
Sisters.
So I'll lose my +1 strength. So they're just back down to
Yeah, Glargify, where
Um,
did all the possessed go?
strength 5.
I went away for 10
And
minutes.
it's your turn
That's
to
exactly what we were saying.
They
We
will
we
still
sort of
have
called this
all these
game
things
in
on them. So it's
in
2
favor
guys.
of the
They get
chaos,
1
and then
attack, and then they get 1 attack
all
for the
died.
charge, and then they're going to get D3 attacks.
Unfortunately, this is what happens when you run
So
out of
3
CP for Conceal. Mortarion
5
was only
Yeah.
at 2 wounds. He got taken out by some shooting.
Right? They get
and
I would say
then
it's not
all
just the conceal. I mean,
guns
if
and all the
I've been
melee
they-
went
they-
to
changing
possessed.
myself. I'd be dog.
possessed need that
Nope.
interrupt. You
Sorry.
have to save
They
for
get
that
3
interrupt to
attacks
prevent this exact
plus
thing
the
from
1
happening
attack for
every
the
time.
charge.
That's true.
Like they're
So 4
just
attacks each.
4 up
So it's
invul
just gonna be 8
intercessors in combat. They don't even get their negative
who
hit
are you attacking?
modifiers.
Yeah.
Oh,
They just go down if you're
Okay,
able
all 8
to do that, and they can't
And it
hit you
did-
back. Like if
It did look like
you got 10 of these dudes swinging back, it
I'd
kills
have
all
to
of these guys.
Confirm
I
with
just-
Tsung on this one, but
Yeah. I
it
think
did
they only
look
got
like
7 right there. I think you need one more, maybe.
Space Wombat actually choosing to advance to Assault Doctrine a turn early.
No,
Because
I
all of
think-
his AP was just going to bump up against the 4+ invulnerable
Right.
save that the possessed
That's
have,
4.
Oh, you
and
do
that
have
these
8.
Terminators
No,
have.
yep,
So
you're
he's
right.
not really
that's
worried
fine.
about
Yeah.
that extra AP.
I mean,
but
I
melee
appreciate you
does
trying to
matter a
give me
lot.
1 more to take this tech.
Pretty wise move too.
man,
Yeah.
Ben
choose
Starkey, it was the conga
Uh,
line of
2s and
death.
3s.
They,
2s, but
it was
5s
the
and
con-
6s give
they
me 2 more
danced right
attacks.
into the death, into the jaws
So
of death.
then
They go.
here's this. So they.
It has
are
been my
crit
experience
safe,
every
so you're
time
forward,
that
so that's
conga line
3.
is the Achilles
Plus
heel
1 to
of the
wound
possessed
makes it,
bomb.
Yeah.
2s.
The best
And plus 1 to 1 makes it 1.
some
So
possessed bomb
basically
lists
the
do
6s
have ways to mitigate that
and,
because typically
the
the
4s
conga line is
matter
going to be full of
on
demon
this.
princes
Okay.
that will heroically intervene or perform some other action in there to
Reroll.
try
And
and keep it
6s and
safe.
5s matter. Sorry. So that's 3
if
more
I understand
wounds.
your question.
Yep.
What gives the
and
possessed
then,
plus 1
or no, 3
wound?
double damage.
They
Yep.
just have 2 wounds over
Here you go. And then
they do
you've
have a
got
couple
Yeah,
ways to get
they're
plus
2
1,
wounds,
2
guys.
wounds.
Those are minus 2.
Yep,
Which
so these
is
are 4
virulent
ups, so he
blessing.
takes 2 damage from that.
And
Yep.
is
And
blades
then
And then
do
these
the
are
same thing?
double damage.
same thing.
I'm gonna say what gives them
damage.
plus 1
One of
wound
them
is going to
dies,
be
he'll-
their Primaris gene seed. I'm just gonna
Okay.
toss that.
And then I
that
have
you know
to
that
roll morale
that
for 'em,
conspiracy theory right out there.
'cause I don't think you-
Glorified
Although if
Melzone
you
did
Oh,
go
no, they're not
off, but it
fearless.
wasn't.
That's why I had to figure out
I think
how
it
I
might
was
have,
gonna
it
kill
might have been in
something,
range of
because
1 possessed.
there
I
you
mean, it
go.
doesn't-
You just got your
It doesn't really. The
Third
null
kill,
zone guy
but I
was
got
back
4.
here, and he was basically
I
Oh.
with Mortarion.
Nope, you got 3.
And that
Yeah.
is
Because they ran.
that's
it
full
still counts
squad.
as a kill.
Ran away to morale. Ooh, all right.
So
But
you
like
got
we were saying
Mortarion,
before,
this one lone dude back here.
it does require this
and them.
Invictor to move
So
up
then
in range
you
of
only
the
have 3
Death
as well,
Shrouds.
though,
We'll
right?
see if they can
Yeah.
pull
Should
him off the
have
table.
3.
And
Is it
then,
3 as well?
if,
Yeah, I think so. 1, 2,
GrizzlyNateDog,
3. Yeah, that's why I had to
we're
get
going
that.
into
So that's
round
what, yeah,
4,
you don't give me the kill more.
and he is
Yep.
massively up in
So I
but
tap
I do-
kill hold, you tap
Yeah,
hold
he's
more,
going to run up.
absolutely. I finally score a headhunter. I don't score an
Kill the
engineer.
kill the Invictor in all
Pretty sure I'm maxed
likelihood
at Reaper at this stage.
with the Death Shrouds.
Possess
Consolidate
17
into
times
the
2.
Intercessors.
That's
Yeah,
1. Yeah,
plus
yeah.
the
Perhaps,
24.
assuming he makes that charge. It's not the
So
easiest.
13
He still has
to
warp time in there.
23, that's not looking good.
Which will
I'll
then
go
keep
into-
the Salamanders
Guess
back
I
for
have
another
7
turn. Like
minutes
they're
to go.
just going to
Yeah,
keep
go
falling
ahead.
farther and farther
I'm
back if
usually
they keep
trained when I
getting
start moving stuff.
All right, go ahead.
got on hold more.
Yeah, this, like we were saying right at the start
Although
of the game.
the age of bonusing's probably done. These Nurglings gonna have to move back.
Yeah, we'll see if the Death Shrouds can make it there if they get a big charge. Or and you have to remember that we still have a warp time on the table potentially too. From the sorcerer. Glorify, that was bottom of 3, so we're moving to top of 4 now.
Let's see, Dark Apostle probably running back. Dark Apostle no longer has much to do here.
Yeah, he's gonna sit on some objectives for a while. K-Ray, will there be a list review video for Pod 3? Yeah. I'm gonna try to get list reviews done for all of the pods. Pod 3 just finished submission and has just started, and I'm taking some lists for Pod 4 right now. So I should have those over the weekend.
I would like to thank you too for the stab right in my back with that first round opponent choice there. Just right in my
Hey, man,
spine.
That's tabletop
Last
TO.
turn,
That's
so
not
I'm
me.
just gonna go right back in. Shoot.
It's all out of my hands now.
I was all charged up on my Stompa, and then you put me right into 12 Haywire jet bikes.
Yeah, Shumacord round 3 or Pod 3 playing a Stompa. Everybody, he needs your positive energies so that the Stompa
Yeah, I need
can make it
give
through. 10
yeah, give
Haywire
me your
bikes.
energy. It's 12, sir. It's 12 Haywire
12
bikes.
Haywire jet bikes. K-Ray, what is it? I'm not sure what you're asking here. Can you join a pod? Yeah, so
Alright, what's
yeah,
going
you
on,
can
what's going on?
be in multiple pods at
Much.
once.
I
Yeah.
need to
The
borrow
one thing that
this.
you can't do
Yeah, man, go
is
crazy.
have multiple waitlist applications. So if you're already in the join a pod thing, then any other post that you make won't be counted until you are added to a pod.
Pretty aggressive advance on these Invictors here. Don't imagine this Incendium Cannon's going to do much on a 1+ Terminator. Well, oh
What
no,
is
they are
this?
not touching that ruin wall.
This is roughly there.
They are not getting
I
that cover.
think he's trying to block line of sight because this is GrizzlyNateDog's turn. I
Can
think
get
what we're
them
doing
all
is
in,
proxying out
out
the
of sight.
movement of this Invictor and trying to make it so that it
Oh,
cannot
hell.
get line of sight onto Death Stride Terminator with that gun.
Don't you think?
Just like what Deuce
Oh, yeah, you
in the
brought
chat
up
room
in here.
saying, the Nurgle player is going to try to deny as much line of sight as possible and deny kills as long as
This
possible.
face, so I should come
I am
here.
now
I
suddenly
can do it.
aware
If I
that
can
there
get 'em
are
butted up
multiple
and just
Invictor
have one
Warsuits,
guy
and this is in
barely
fact the wrong
touching
turn
this.
for that guy to be moving.
You tell me yay or nay on that.
Yeah, the Salamanders do have the
I don't
ability
really
to summon
know if
in
you care
additional
when
Invictor
Invictor
Warsuits,
hits
just like a Chaos character.
Pretty
can.
sure if you're touching the zone, I can see you.
You
right?
can-
I
okay.
see
can,
what
So-
I'm doing with
you can
that. Let me-
summon
Let me clear that
Invictors,
vector out because it
with
actually
a
makes it more confusing.
Salamander character.
No, that's all good.
So
If I'm coming
here's a
off the
question for you.
side-
Does the Invictor
Yeah, so he can
Warsuit,
see the entire zone.
is it a
So if they're
better
gonna tap
model
the zone, he's
when
gonna
it's
miss.
just
Cool.
a regular Dreadnought with upsized legs, kind of like an awkward bolt pistol stuck into its hand? and like 2 weird little machine guns stuck out the front than it does with the like forklift.
Just don't need that
Incendium
worship there.
cannon is absolutely a multi.
You can delete him.
Is that a better or worse look than like the forklift operator?
I do like the enclosed canopy a lot better. I did. I have 3 Invictor warsuits, and I modeled them with closed canopies from Shapeways.
These guys are gonna run.
But did you consider just getting weirdly large-legged regular dreadnoughts holding
just a little box dread and putting it on top?
Yeah,
I should have
holding like a storm bolter, but they cut the barrels off of it, and it just has like 1 gun coming out the front of it.
Glargify, fairly easy for Sally's to get kill and hold more for the rest of the game, I think, if he doesn't sack the Invictors.
I don't know how he would be getting hold more for the rest of the game.
More. Well, I mean, he does have the Thunderfire left, but he doesn't have any way of killing a lot of these back squads. He can pick up, I think there's a 1 Space Marine, Chaos Space Marine somewhere. I don't know if that guy ran away, or maybe he died.
Yeah, the Poxbringer can just run back.
For a quick kill.
The Poxbringer can easily just run back and stand into this thing, and then at that point he has to kill the Death Stride Terminators before he's able to damage any of the object holders here.
Yeah.
And those Death Strides are going to be kind of hard to kill in this scenario.
Right.
Or at least not without trading the Warsuit.
From shooting him, he maybe eats shots from this Sicarian, but I don't think he's that worried about it. If we will definitely be in Assault Doctrine at this point, so it's none of its guns will be the super high AP. They're going to be
now Death Strides. Yeah, that should 1-up saves, right? Because they're tapping this old ruin now.
Yeah, but all of its guns are at least -1. But I'm saying in cover,
Master Possessions is going to run.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a cagey game for GrizzlyNateDog, but he definitely put enough pressure on early game to rack up those points. Up by 10 right now.
So, if Space Wombat wants to catch up, he has to get up here. He has to start putting points into this engineer score. But what he needs to do is he has to get up here and start picking up these engineer points.
Well, he has enough room to max engineers throughout the rest of the game, right? He just leaves the squad back here.
And
he just hangs out
but how does he pick up? So how does he pick up these headhunter points? Because he's like, if say the sorcerer can get behind this ruin back here, I mean, at this point he has to kill this Death Stride Terminator squad before any of them are in any sort of danger.
He's gonna move right there.
Are they in range? Are they in range of objective?
Of objective 5.
1, 2, or 4.
They might not.
I mean, there's nothing for them to shoot on 5.
They're gonna. Well, there's this. There's a sorcerer, right?
Psychic. Oh.
Yeah. Remember psychic
phase. It matters. He's +2.
Poor guy.
So the dart.
Well, he might
+2
probably warp time himself out of there.
Yeah, Torin. Yeah. How it works is that every model in the unit needs to be in cover for you to get +1 save. Functionally, you as the player owning those models allocate your saves one at a time when you take them. So if you have one model outside cover, for example, you could start taking your saves without the +1, and if that guy dies and your whole unit becomes in cover because that guy's dead, then you can get the cover bonus at that point. So the Terminators wouldn't get the cover bonus right now.
And
it looks like
that's my turn.
GrizzlyNateDog elected to just eat the potential shots.
Yeah, you didn't score the bonus.
To
no,
in order to make
where I'm sitting, I'm going.
Or in order to hold on objective.
Do I feed? I just don't think I can kill nothing because I'm just too slow.
Well, there aren't very many potential shots in this turn, at least anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so walk me through here. We've got 3.
Relic's going to need at least 2 turns before it's going to be able to fire.
This is a character unit. This is a character. You got a character.
2 characters and a normal
I think I would have tried to grab a kill with those Death Shrouds. I think they're going to die regardless. But maybe he's just trying to hold off one more turn.
And
I mean, they're not going to die in this following shooting phase. Like the one Invictor is certainly not pulling it off.
Yeah, we'll see how long.
Basically, this unit here needs to be taken care of.
14. And you might be able to get the Invictor, because the Invictor we drew the line of sight. The Invictor can walk around the corner and see them, and then the Sicarian on the other side. He probably doesn't kill all of them, but he does a lot of damage.
I mean, so the Sicarian to fire would have to get, I mean, you can't see my mouse, to the right side of this number 3 objective, which at 14, even at 14 inches, that's not the easiest move.
It is going to be tough. We can go down to model eye view here.
heavy bolters cannot advance and
What's the
fire.
speed on the turret?
I don't believe the autocannons can.
On the Invictor,
Yeah.
nothing it can do. It can advance. That said, the autocannons on the Sicarian are assault, so it can advance and shoot them if it wants to.
You probably have too big
With
an
the
advantage
-1.
is the issue, but we'll see what happens.
So it looks like in order to get
back
in order to get line of sight to
to
these death shrouds, it does basically have to move
9.
to where this bush is. That's about 6 inches off of the blue table edge.
Looks like I needed it.
Yeah, that's a good bit farther than 14.
Yeah, so I think you're right. We're just looking at the Invictor taking shots. And we might
maybe a
actually
couple of
see
intercessors.
Space Wombat. It looks like they are advancing, so I don't think they're going to be shooting.
Yeah.
We might even see Space Wombat try to prioritize these Marines in the back that are on objective 4
going to advance?
in order to try to pick that kill up between the Invictor's guns and the Intercessor and the Thunderfire. Excuse me. Just to grab the kill, and then because GrizzlyNateDog didn't kill anything, that's with another point because he gets you to kill more. Starts bringing that points deficit back.
Do I even need to tap that? Because you're going to hold more.
He certainly did manage to break containment by turn 3, as is what you need to do to beat this list.
Yeah, he's starting to move out.
Very convincingly so.
Back in
that charge on the Possessed just killed a fraction what it needed to.
We've seen Space Wombat so far in this series be the master of the defensive play, castle play for sure.
Going to advance.
He's a little aggressive with his intercessors, which I think sometimes hurts him. But other than that, definitely knows when to turn the aggression on the swing back.
Hold on,
I think in my playing of Space Marines, I think I usually wait one turn too long to come back, and then I'm ended up in this situation. I'm like, oh, I can't never make it to objective 5. What am I doing?
I only turn the gas on when I've brought back 300 points of models in one turn.
Tauren,
they have to start
out of line of sight
their turn within 3 inches of an objective.
So
I think I would say
is just going to
that
they can advance then.
I don't know if I would go so far as to say that it's required, but I think it's extremely powerful and it's a very useful tool to have.
So all they want to do from
I think it entirely depends on the army and which out of line of sight shooting you're talking about. Like Thunderfires are required because they're phenomenally powerful.
Yeah, because
but like you're not seeing, I don't know, a lot of Wabas being taken in orc armies.
They're gonna go.
Yeah, like you sort of see like mortars are coming back for Imperial Guard, but I mean their heavy artillery is so good that they don't need the mortars these days. I think.
And then they're just gonna.
Like you rarely see out of line of sight in chaos armies, as an example.
Kevin Chang says he hates Shuma. That's fair. I think we all share that opinion.
Looks fine to me.
We do, all of us, everyone.
Kevin is.
There's no exceptions here.
The one and only Chang. We saw on stream the other day playing Detachment Mechanicus, and unfortunately had to play 600 points down against someone playing some sort of Nurgle Blightholler combo.
I'm still going to contest he was only playing 350 points down.
Yeah, at Valdor, also the terrain that you play on also dictates how good the out of line of sight shooting is. I think this ITC Ruins map is on the heavier side of average for the most part.
Karen is just not gonna be.
This like back corner
aren't always in place, but you usually see definitely 4-ish ruins in the center, and then some area
just won't be able to shoot.
You rarely see L's in the corners.
Hiding all your duders.
You rarely see L's in the corners. Typically, if they do have these back deployed ruins, they're both this like single story. That's much easier to deal with.
The Warsuit have line of sight to the Termies? I can't tell. I think he does.
Yeah, I give it to you.
Okay. I just want to make sure before I drop him. Oh yeah, that looks good. Okay.
Yeah.
I will say, for playing 2,600 points up, I only won that game by like what, 2 points?
Can I draw line of sight to the one I can't see?
It's
no, you have to draw when you're shooting the gun. It has what you can see on.
Not have additional $6 at the beginning.
To here, which would get him into 12. Okay. And if he gets charged next turn, he gets charged. That's gonna be life. And then Sakaran is. Oh, I'm sorry. Sakaran.
How many death shrouds do you think die right here? I'm gonna say 2.
He has 20 inches.
Depends on if the Sicarian gets line of sight.
I think I just want the Sicarian.
Looks like he rolled a 6 on his advance. So
So that's 14. I've got.
I mean, either way,
6
like
left.
the
I just wanna
casualties just
see
get pulled out of line of sight for one or the other, so it depends on which
4.
one
So he
fires
can
first.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
think they can both
close
fire.
and still
That's
get a
true.
charge range
Yeah,
into
he basically can only see
'Cause your
and or draw,
maximum charge
draw
range is
range to
gonna
this
be,
back
16?
corner guy.
So
Looks like he's actually just
Yeah,
going to
I
place it
feel
so
like
that they can't get charged and
4.
hang out.
it's a 9-inch charge. He'll
Yeah,
back
I
up.
wonder
to
where
make sure
he would
doesn't
have
hit
to
him
have
with a
gotten
10-inch
to
charge
see
if you
these
hit him.
Chaos Space Marines. Pretty far over.
Not holding that point. We
Yeah.
advanced everything
Ad
else.
Valdor says
we'll move into
3.
the psychic phase. I
Given
don't
the damage that we've
think
seen these Invictors do
anything
so
is
far with their
smiteable.
flamethrowers, that might not be
sure it doesn't look
so
like
far out
it.
of the realm of possibility.
I'm going to put
five
flame
wounds
shield
to,
here for -1 to be
Mortarion on
charged,
Overwatch.
just in case it matters. Actually, we're going to put that on the Invictor Tactical
Didn't seem
Warsuit,
to,
sorry. So on the Invictor Tactical Warsuit.
do much to him though, considering he managed to chug through
does
an
not
entire
go off on
shooting
a
phase
5.
after that.
You're going to put +1
Deuce
toughness on the
83,
Warsuit.
it's
That
kind of
goes
a
off.
common misconception. You do actually have to have range
And then the
to
other
the
one
model
is
that you
going
draw
to.
line of sight to. That is in the
don't
rules.
wanna perils.
A lot of people
Don't
play it
honestly know
otherwise,
if it
but
matters. Nah, he's just
they're
gonna
wrong.
hang out. Move to shooting. The
Yeah, because the sequence is done
3-person
per model,
eliminator,
right?
gonna
Like
get
you draw
+1 to
line of
hit, and
sight,
they're
then
gonna
draw
shoot
range,
the
then fire
sorcerer.
on a per model basis.
So
And
2
you cycle
shots,
1 through. Like
I
you're
can't
only
see.
grouping the dice for convenience's sake.
Well, you
Nah, I don't think I can.
determined it all at the
Looks like
same
a
time. It's
big
just
no
how
there.
the targeting
yeah.
rules are written.
No way on either one of them.
No way. Yep, sounds good. So the no line of sight shot into him. I don't know if I'm gonna do the +1 or if I'm gonna shoot you 3 times. Let me look up their stats real quick here.
Their range is 40 what inches? 40 inches?
36.
36.
Yeah.
42.
Yeah. So yeah,
What's
the
his toughness?
choose target step means that the
His
model
toughness,
from the
his toughness
the
4.
unit that you're targeting
And he has
it has to be
3
both
or 4
within the
wounds,
range
right?
of the weapon and
Yep,
be
4
visible.
wounds.
I'm actually just gonna shoot you with all 3 out of the big squad.
Remember in an
So it's
early
just 3,
unfact version
they get
of the
+3
reading
hit
on
twos for
that,
hitting on 2s.
it was functionally impossible to shoot your
You
guns,
get -1
just
though.
based on like a strict
So
reading
on
of that
3s
that
then?
passage.
All right.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
So Salamander reroll, and then their strength 5.
So 3s.
Salamander reroll. Nope, just 1.
Minus.
AP -1. Let me verify that for you. Yep,
Is
AP
that-
-1.
Yeah,
Is that
Torin,
because
you can
of the
absolutely
guns, or because you're not in the
you
Just
attack
the gun.
declare
Yeah, correct.
or you
Just the
determine
gun.
the targets of your attack before you do any of the
Cool. He's good.
attacks, and then
The other 2 are
as
gonna
long
do the same
as
thing
you
into
basically at the start of your
2
shooting
shots.
step, you have the range and line of
the
sight
2
that you
misses,
need.
obviously.
All of your attacks can
3
go
will
into the unit, and they
hit.
can
And then
over-allocate through the
1
models
Salamander,
that
just 1 save.
you
Damage.
Just 1. Just 1. Just need to start plinking heroes. The Invictor Tactical Warsuit's
Deuce
gonna shoot
83 now.
next.
It does need to be.
He's gonna put
it does need to be
all of
model
his shots
that's
into
in
the death shroud. So start with the flame. 2 flames. It's gonna be 8.
It says the rule. The rule is that a model in the targeted unit must be in range and line of sight.
Why is this so hard, Dice Roller? Stop.
But so
pick
you
up the
can
dice.
kill models
Pick
that
up
are
the
outside of
dice.
line of sight, Torin. But
It's 8. Yep. So it's 5. So wounding
your
on-
opponent
are you
can't, for
tough 5?
example, only pull the models
sorry?
that are in line of sight.
Tough
and
5,
then
yes,
you
sir.
can't
Okay,
attack
so
with that
wounding
unit
on
anymore.
4s.
He can make it so that you
I'll
can't
salamander that
attack
one.
with
So
future
just 2
units.
saves.
So if the Sakari
Minus,
is over
no
here,
minuses, right?
for example,
AP -1.
and
of the
GrizzlyNateDog
gun?
pulled this back
Okay, cool.
Terminator
Yeah, for the
from the
flamer.
Invictor
Yeah,
shooting,
it's the
and the
flame.
Sakarian was out of line of sight then, the Sakarian
so
could not then
1
shoot.
damage.
Yep.
Cool. Good.
Heavy bolters into you.
But it doesn't stop the Invictor from
I
shooting
will
all its guns.
reroll my 1 to hit.
Let's see
right
if I can
now.
find the passage,
So
like the
add it
2
to
sentences
hits.
that makes it so that if there's a
And
pistol
that's
in
a
the
no.
squad, the squad can't fire
Sniper
any of their
rifle.
guns.
Quiet. I'm gonna try to fix that. Let's boost my input there.
Nope. And then the assault.
Why does this
thing
rulebook have to
into you.
have
It's gonna
8
be 3
pages of
them.
rules and 900 pages of
These are going to
nothing?
be on 3s and then on 5.
How does that sound, everybody? Is that a little bit better?
We've got the Thunderfire cannon, and it's going to go ahead and crack into the Marines back there.
Yep. Those 6 Marines. Cool.
Yeah, so it looks like we have started to put
2
shots
shots for
into these
that, and
Chaos Space Marines in the
double.
back.
Hitting on 3s because
real-
of the rule, I remembered. And then wounding.
That might be a kill for Space Wombat in a
So
future
4 saves.
turn, but I
4
think the
saves.
real
Minus.
clincher is going to be
If you don't
these
want
Death
to.
Shrouds. As soon as the Death Shrouds go down, all these
Cool.
characters
It's all
become
right.
eligible
So you
targets
just
for the
sign
most
your
part.
stuff, right?
Yep. So two guys
Unless
die.
they can hide behind the Chaos Space Marines.
And you have a Nurglings in somewhere in those ruins. Okay, I knew you had them somewhere. I just couldn't remember where. I don't think I have line to shoot with anything else.
Oh yeah, that was it. It was the opposite direction.
So I think that's my very exciting turn.
If you had
We'll
like one
hold
48-inch
and
range gun by a strict interpretation of the rules, and that's
I'll
in
get
range and
hold
line of
more.
sight, you can fire
Yep,
every
no,
single
we
other
can
gun at the
avoid
target,
that.
or in the unit at
10.
that target, because they are all in range at that
Yeah,
point.
next round doesn't go well. We can just talk this.
Because that was the
Go ahead,
only
buddy.
in like the original rulebook printing. That was the only time you checked range.
Trick B. Do I or don't I?
Actually, I think that is still the case. Oh, this book. I'm sure that's in a fact somewhere.
I honestly think if you just move backwards, you will win.
Well, no, you would check. You check for each individual weapon, right?
I think so. I just don't know. Your Securian's going to get to fire.
Because you choose the weapons you're using, and you choose the
Intercessors will
targets
get
for
to fire.
the weapons
So here's
before
the
you
thing.
go to the choose targets.
I know you're going to shoot,
Oh no, you don't.
and
Just
you
kidding.
may pop me off
Yeah.
of it, so I may.
In order
not
to
be able
target an enemy
hold
unit, a
more.
model from that unit must be within the
don't think you
range
can.
of the weapon being used.
So if I score a hold more for the rest of the game, that's 4.
Target an enemy unit.
If I max my secondaries, that's 7. Right? So you still.
Yeah, that allows by strict interpretation,
puts
that
me at 11,
allows
that puts me at 26,
them
and
to
you're gonna
target
tap at least 2 of
the
them.
unit, and then all of its other weapons
Right.
are also
Well, what
in
I'm
range
trying
at
to
that,
do
or
is
can
look
fire
and
at
see.
that
I
point
mean,
as long
right
as
now, while I'm looking at it, is I
I'm
can
gonna go
the
back
elected
to
weapon
the
is in
player
range
mics here
and
real
get on
quick.
this
Looks like
objective.
they're
For the whole
talking out
game.
potentially the result of the
No,
game.
and get the bonus, which gives
Yeah,
me
that's what I
another.
meant to say. Yeah.
Yeah. And if I do that,
Yeah.
that's the that I'm trying to figure out.
I think he's trying to see if he can get on this objective as a bonus to see if that gives him an unconquerable lead.
And then
Yeah.
honestly, if you just keep backing up your other characters to deny me the headhunters, I just don't think I ever get them right.
Right, because it's 40 total. No, it's 42.
42, and that's
So I
that's
can
a
deny it.
librarian.
Oh.
Yeah, so you're off that guy. So you
So I can
be
deny
in the
you-
zone and correct.
Yeah, I can do it and do it. I can deny it next turn. You might get 2 of them, so you could still max it out. So basically, what's that? 2 plus it's 5 plus 8. That's 13. So that'll put you at 28. If I got that, 26, 27, 28. If I can pull that off. Just think they're so. And he can move how many? 13?
So Karen is speed 14.
14. So I cannot get him out of that this turn. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So basically, he's gonna run, and I'll run it. I'll roll it and see what he gets. So he's at his 6 there. We'll see what he gets. And he'll roll his prayer, so he's +2 toughness. And he runs for 1 more.
Torin, if a model has a base and doesn't have a
These
rule
guys
that's saying
are
it
going
overrides
to run
the base measurement, you always will measure
here.
from the base of the model. You ignore every other part of the model for any purposes of measurement outside of line of sight.
Then,
It's weird because they specifically call that out sometimes, and they don't in other situations. Like
Yeah.
they call that on like
these
half
guys
the
are just gonna
flyers, but not
move
the other
away.
half.
I can't outrange your Thunderfire cannon, so they're just going to stay there. And then these guys are just going to kind of come back here. I don't know if I can get them out of range yet. Can I?
Yeah, Torin, there's still incentives
Sorry,
for
I don't
modeling for
know.
advantage, which is mostly the line of
Yes.
sight rules.
And from over here as well, I think.
Yep, you're
So
good.
Yep. Okay, cool. I mean,
if you
I
have
need
models
to,
that
I'll
don't
run
want to
them
get
off
shot,
the point
definitely
and
build
run
them smaller
back.
so that they are harder to shoot at.
And look at this Poxbringer
what
next
to
to
do
this
with this
Master
Sorcerer.
Possession. Just look at this
Do
tiny.
Little
Little
teeny
demon.
Prox Springer boy. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is this?
The Chad Master Possession versus the poor Sim Springer.
Yeah.
It's at 18, 18.3. So I've got 8-inch movement and a 10-inch charge.
Yeah, so it looks like
Just
we're
get
measuring
stranded.
the Death Shrouds to try to grab a
Here.
kill on this Librarian. If they can get onto this objective 3, they can grab a bonus point.
That's 15.
That'll put GrizzlyNateDog even farther ahead.
And the Warsuit. And he is
Since-
Yeah. I
plus
think he's
1
checking right now
toughness.
to Checking to see if you
Yes,
should
sir.
just advance onto the
Alright.
objective, or if it's safer to just move and go for the long bomb charge.
Yeah.
Boom, boom.
Yeah, big downside of the of these Death Shrouds. They do need a 6 on their advance, though, right? To get there, probably. So they need to roll maybe a 5 or something, because they do have their advance rolls.
Oh yeah, ooh, forgot about that.
Because they're in Cataphractii.
Suddenly a
armor.
relevant rule.
Yeah.
Just wait for the bonus. I hate doing this. All right. Sorry. I may be making the wrong decision at the end of the day. Oh, I got to go over here. I just got to go over there.
So I think we're just moving them. Just a standard move. Yep. So we're gonna take a 4-inch move. We're gonna try for a warp time for a second 4-inch
That's
move,
not right.
and then try to grab a
I
kill
was
on that
wondering why that
librarian.
was looking wrong.
I don't think they need both moves to get to the objective. Does that look right? I think 2 4-inchers would, or they don't need the charge. I think 2 4-inchers get them.
Yeah,
in range.
two 4-inches gets that guy into there easily.
So that grabs them the bonus.
That's still a
regardless.
long charge though.
But if they can get a kill, it's a big deal. Because I mean, there's a non-zero chance that these Death Shrouds don't even die in response.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna string back to grab that warp time. That range is only 3 inches.
Yay. Chunk those things. All right. If you move, you can move, what, 10?
Yes, sir.
All these possessed here on the side of the board, clearly in coherency with each other.
Yeah, your base does count for line of sight. Everybody in the chat, it is part of your model.
Oh. You good if I put those right back?
No, I don't care, man.
It would be nice if they had a
Oh,
glossary of
that's
terms
I'll
to
sit there.
like explaining what a model is to them,
It is.
and like what a base is, and
Oh, I
so
think it
on.
would be a moot point if we just had better line of sight rolls, but that's a discussion for another day.
The sorcerer gonna run.
For the longest time, terrain pieces could like take
Yeah,
objectives.
hey, he runs for 7. He is so.
Yeah, that's
They were models.
the chat was talking about that beforehand.
Flag. Stop flag.
Oh,
All right.
getting pretty cagey.
That's movement.
Looks like we actually just did not
the
move
sorceress
these.
is going to
Death
cast
Shroud at all.
warp time on himself.
Nah, going for the safe play.
Yeah, he does open himself up to just getting that sorcerer get smashed,
Fine.
getting smashed by the Invictor. So maybe he doesn't want to.
I probably would have still angled. I would have still angled the Death Shrouds, I think, farther to the left of that ruin, because it looks like all of his antagonists are, pulling around the right side. If you move just a little bit farther over, that can deny quite a bit of shooting.
Yeah, for sure. Make the Sicarian run at least.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got hold.
Right now, he's going to get shot at by. Well, probably not if we're losing the first 2, but
This disaster.
he's 1 turn away from getting shot at by intercessors as well. Watch the librarian make some sort of like heroic advance and then null zone though.
Sure. Warsor's gonna go 10.
Yeah.
Wants to get as close as possible. Obviously, he should be 2 inches away, right? Because he were in flamer range.
Yeah.
Mr. Yum Yum Lick, I don't know what TFG is, but that sounds like a. I would be interesting to hear the justification for why you couldn't draw line of sight from a base.
I mean, I feel like the rules are open enough to interpretation that there is no GW ruling on that. Like that could probably be interpreted
Librarian's gonna advance.
Yeah.
either way.
Get there finally.
And then in some scenarios,
Oh
you kind of,
yeah.
with a lot of
You got
models, you
where you
have
needed
to
to
draw
go.
it to the base,
Because
because it explicitly tells you to. And then with others, it
He's in
just
a
leaves it
zone.
open.
Well, for line of sight specifically.
Yeah.
All right. Let me see. What line do I need? So those guys can shoot you right now. These guys need to move to shoot you. So these intercessors are just gonna go 6 up.
The LVO judges made that ruling, really? That's bizarre.
The back intercessors are going to advance. They're still going to go to the board. They're going to go 9.
I mean, the LVO judges are also not a hive mind that determine like the ITC's interpretation of rules. They have like 50 judges that have a pretty hard work. Like I went to the LVO,
wants to be a
Those dudes don't know how shock assault works half the time. Can't believe he made me find where in the Death Guard book it says that they get hateful assault.
Intercessors are going to advance.
Can't believe that.
Sure. 12.
Oh,
I'm still salty about that.
Wanting to
Waited
get
like
fight
5 hours for that game, and then I had to.
And then you just spent 30 minutes of it leafing through Warhammer community FAQs. Yeah. Oh well.
It's in this. They give Death Guard hateful assault in Space Marines frequently asked questions - other. It's not even in the Death Guard's FAQ. Or the Chaos Space Marine one, or Psychic Awakening. It's in a Space Marine one.
Yep.
It's not even the right super faction.
Yeah, at Valdor, the line of sight rules in 40k, I think, are the biggest. The biggest sort of black mark on the rule set right now. You know, a lot of stuff could be picked out to be worded better, but
Librarian back here is going to smite.
Oh man, the line of sight rules are. I'm gonna say it. They're the worst in any miniatures game right now.
Nope, not with a 4.
I don't think there's a popular miniatures game that's on the market right now that has worse line of sight rules.
It goes off with a 7.
Let's support that.
I don't think you have any denies in range.
Torin, you treat your models do block line of sight potentially. You treat models in your own unit as invisible when you're measuring line of sight, but otherwise they are opaque. Although functionally they often don't, because the LOS rules are so open that essentially any unbroken line between two models gives you full line of sight. So you know, if you can see in a hole between 3 guys holding their guns up, you can see.
Yeah. If there's a line of photons between one molecule and another molecule,
you
can shoot the model.
First. I'm gonna shoot the crack grenade first.
Also, there's no rules for whether or not you can use mirrors or like gravitational lensing or any other fun physics property of light to say that you have line of sight to things that are around corners.
Right, and you specifically have to be stooping when you do it too. You can't measure line of sight while you're standing up or kneeling. You have to bend over according to the rules of the game.
Yeah, no squats, just stooping.
So I mean, realistically, no model can ever draw line of sight to another model in Tabletop Simulator, right?
Deuce 83, we looked at it at the time. Maybe they've added it since then. At the time, like at that table, we definitely looked at that one, and it was not in that FAQ. Although that was months ago.
That's fine. I'll take
Who knows when they're on the sly throwing sentences in there.
I already used the Salamander reroll for the wound. Let me try to
wait, no.
there. So you
does that one say that they have it, but just doesn't say what the rule does?
And these are heavy bolters. Yep.
No, just normal.
Okay, then he's good.
Are you asking me because I do not know
that's what it is.
I'm like interrogating my own memory of the event right now. I don't fully remember.
Let me.
See you later, Mr. Yum Yum Lick.
Mr. Yum Yum Lick, thanks for joining.
Cool. Other squad.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
Actually, I don't know. Oh no, they advanced. They can't see. Sorry.
I would contest that there is a one section of the rules that is more of a black hole of just strange interactions than line of sight, and that is models moving onto things.
These are wounding on.
Can models be on top of each other? No one knows.
You've got 3.
Well, they closed the bizarre loophole that the Sky Shield landing pad opened up.
Nope. Damage is the same.
Because they did errata it to basically just work as a terrain piece.
So I'm on my nope, I'm not.
But it's a terrain piece that you can blow up and then it's taken off the table.
-3
no, it's not. It's left on the table and treated as a ruin.
It specifically says to only do that if you cannot remove it.
On the first guy.
Oh.
Well, you got your fill of pain, right?
Is it still 2? Oh, I thought it was 1. Cool.
Nah, it's always 2.
All right. So
Torin wants us to play a game, Schumann.
He'll die.
Uh-oh.
Second guy.
I don't know if I have
guy's dead.
the fortitude for a solid 15 hours of this today.
These ones are in
I'm not playing Astra Militarum though, so we won't have a 7-hour game.
I like the optimism there of saying that was a 7-hour game.
And then the 9 heavy bolters into you.
That's what Seabiscuit said in the chat. He said that at the final tally, the game was 7 hours.
Hitting on force.
Yeah. We were only there for 5 hours and 58 minutes of it though, so I think we missed the best parts, unfortunately.
Okay.
Looks like these Death Ride Terminators getting removed wholesale. 3 of them did already.
So the tactical warsuit's going to flame you. 2d6 flames.
He took them
3.
off the objective.
I
suppose we'll.
That's a big deal.
I'll go ahead and read this. Sorry.
Yeah, because
I imagine
even
that
if
keeps these guys in
hits
cover.
that.
He's trying to. I think GrizzlyNateDog's worried more about the kill more than he is about the hold more, right?
One down.
He wants to deny that. That's 2 points if those guys die,
And then the heavy bolter
and it's only 1
Starburst
point
into
if
them?
for him if they stay alive.
Sure. Sure. 6
Nice.
saves.
Nice.
I think that was the Incendium cannon there for 6 wounds on the Death Shroud.
Want to go through?
Yep.
And one guy will
Yeah, and that's a cover.
kill that guy.
That cover
Nice.
going into play. Would have taken
And then
4
the
or
last
3
thing it has is
there.
the assault launcher.
Instead, he just loses 1.
Hits and doesn't work. I would reuse that.
I just realized that the way that they placed this new dice
okay,
mat
the
here,
hold on.
the 1s are on top and the 6s are on bottom, which
Yep.
is completely opposite from where it was before. That would destroy me. I would
Yep.
instantly die.
So we are going to shoot from this left squad. Into
Yeah, it's
that
the same
squad right
dice mat
there.
that was on
We're
the
gonna do the
long
no
table
line of sight
edges
bolts and
previously,
just
but it's
shots.
just
So these are
oriented
hitting
differently now.
on,
Yeah.
normally
it's,
hitting on
it's
3.
been
I
a-
moved
it's
to
been a trip.
4, -2 down to 2, and then
Yeah, so
Nurgle
Torin, I
back
don't
up
think
to
we're going to play after
6.
this, but we'll definitely be online
So that's all
tomorrow.
right?
Yeah.
So hitting on 3s, wounding on 3s.
We're going to be streaming
Salamander
Don Husin
removal.
playing his 40 Plague Marine list with 8 Rhinos
Wounding on
against
3s.
Znar.
I'm interested to see
so
what
2
that
saves.
does.
Znar
Minus-
playing
AP minus
pure
1 and
Thousand
don't get
Suns with a bunch of
Oh,
Rubric
don't get
Marines.
covered. Cool.
It's going to be
So
sick.
one guy dies.
That's that specific shot.
I might also have my Pod 1 game tomorrow. So Grey Knights versus Chaos Knights unfortunately got canceled last night,
That's
but
one here. Let me leave these
theoretically,
since the
we should
squad
have
is
it
not
happen
full
tomorrow.
anymore.
I
Or
need you to
Sunday.
not stream
The other
me getting just
squad will
pantsed
do
by
the exact
12
same thing, just it only has 2 shots.
haywire
into you.
bikes.
All right.
Both
We
hit.
don't have to stream you.
Salamander.
You should though.
I'll find some more interesting
I'm
games.
gonna take that back.
We do have to capture the literal planet-sized mountain of
One
salt
guy dies.
on stream for sure. I can't believe Haywire Bikes are so good against Orc Stompas. Who gave me this garbage matchup? I'm getting so excited about it
You did.
already.
You did. I'm
was
blaming
me.
you.
It was me. I did
It's
it.
all along.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't even looked at the pairings, honestly. I just generated them and then went to go do something else, and then you messaged me so angrily. I can't believe you give me this round 1.
The
What the
Thunderfire will crack into that squad. Just debating if I need to save a kill for next round.
You gotta be more nasally with that voice though. That was not remotely nasally enough.
Hitting on 3s.
Why'd you
3s
do
on-
this to me?
Oh no! Just pick.
That's
them all
perfect.
up.
Yeah, there we
Oh,
go. That's
got it.
perfect.
Good.
Sung almost losing his dice off the edge of the table there. That was embarrassing.
Oh no!
Doing it again.
Just 1.
Ew. I think that was heavy bolters off Zakarian. Real bad
he's good.
roll. Into these dice
Wait,
round.
Did Sakari not? Does Sakarian advance this round?
I don't believe it did.
He did not need to.
No.
Heavy bolters are heavy.
And here's the Invictor coming in. All right. We'll see if the
Yep,
Invictor
6
can
will
pull
be
these
good.
guys off. It does. They do have a 4+ invulnerable save.
He
So
does not want a base.
And they have D6 shot strength 4
And then he
pistols.
will consolidate. In
That's
his
pretty-
3
that's not that bad.
Just,
Yep.
Yeah, moves to there. 5 swings.
Hmm.
Oh, do I have any other charges?
That's a big deal if this
Oh, yeah,
Invictor can take these
librarian's
guys
gonna
out.
Hail Mary this thing. YOLO.
Yeah.
he can roll on
It looks like we have 2 Chaos Space
What happens
Marines
if he
left
doesn't? Nothing.
to keep the
Okay, well, so that was fun.
to keep the characters
Uh,
alive. But I imagine the Thunderfire
So,
eats them
5
next round, and we
swings,
start seeing
hitting on
characters dying.
3s and 2s.
Yeah, the Eliminators just start going to town. Although the characters are just advancing as far away from
Yeah,
the
they're
Eliminators as
just
fast
running.
as they can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have to. But the
4
Sicarian will
Nurgle.
pick 1 to 2 up for sure.
Well, I mean, it depends. Can these ones get behind this ruin? And then these two can
yeah,
just, like,
in the corner. Yeah.
Yeah.
2 will go through. So
yeah, I
it's 3
suppose
damage
these
each.
intercessors will just walk up and fire them too. Characters,
Alright,
once
okay.
revealed,
This is what's going.
not always the most resilient.
I think we. Oh, okay,
Those
we have
pieces.
Max the
Nope.
Reaper
And-
for Space Wombat.
Oh nope. Both dead.
That is relevant.
Both dead. Cool.
Oh
And
dear.
then
Well,
he's
kill
gonna
the Death Shrouds.
consolidate 3 and
So
2s
that's going to be
Oh.
kill
just to get
Killmore
him
for
up
Space
there.
Wombat, and he'll
And
grab
just
hold more.
tie
this
on
turn.
hold.
That's
Oh, no,
my
he'll hold more now.
turn.
Because he'll hold 1, 2,
Holds
3
more?
versus 2.
Oh right, yeah.
yes,
No, that's
Ah,
the full 5
turn.
points.
Tap another engineers. I don't have a head.
We have a 7-point lead for Grizzly
ahead.
NateDog. He's probably not going to get more than 1 point this turn.
Let's see here.
But he's maxed on his secondaries, and we just have
Oh, you have
to.
a command check on them?
We just
Oh,
have
they
to
can't-
see
they
if.
can't fail
Yeah,
on 2, can they?
lost. Yeah. No,
No,
I
he's
don't
leadership.
think so.
We just
They-
have to
you
see
can't
if
fail.
Space Wombat can grab the Headhunter kills required to pull the game out.
All right. Oh.
Deuce 83 can't find the Bolter discipline equivalent for Chaos Space Marines.
Yeah, it's Hateful Assault It's
Well, do they have a Do they have a special name for their bolter discipline?
Yeah, they have a special name for it. Or not, sorry, it's not hateful assault. It's like
Let me take a look. I'm in the
hateful. It's like hateful volleys or something, wrathful volleys. And you just have to just like ping pong between a bunch of different facts to find out what has it and then where it actually is.
I found an error in Wahapedia the other
What's
day
his
while I was
movement?
fact checking a
10
list.
inches?
Yes,
Can
sir.
you believe
I
that?
did a few days ago when they had the wrong number of
It's a long
wounds
charge,
on
but he's
Warlock jet bikes.
Yeah.
You guys were just calling me idiots in the in your stream, and I was like, but I'm just reading the same document you guys are. Why are you being so mean to me?
What did you
I'm just
get
trying
wrong?
to help. The Wahapedia had the incorrect number of wounds on Warlock jet
So
bikes.
at the end
Oh,
of the
no.
day, that's what gotta take away.
There's 3 each, right?
Or I'm not sorry, it was
For the
toughness.
Skyrunner?
I think
Keep
it
denying
lists
me
it lists
headhunter
them as
if
like
you win.
3 toughness. Not
Oh yeah, no, they're definitely 4.
I need to pick
And
those up.
your range is 42 or 46?
36 with a 6-inch walk, so the 42.
Yeah, let's grab this.
Runs there.
Oh, they just have
I'm sorry. Do you need me to mark stuff for you?
So let's see. So
Yeah, if you will.
the rule is
You don't appear
deuce.
to be on my. You're giving me.
Yeah,
way
they
too much
just have bolter
Oh.
discipline. Yeah, it's,
Yeah,
okay,
I
it's
was
in
on
the
I was
update.
on the building.
So here's 42
Yeah, bolter discipline. It looks like it just says that heretic
right
Astartes get it.
there. And that's just the one guy. The other guys are a couple inches.
Which makes sense. I would like to see
Right.
those rules. Like, why do we have to call it
So you
hateful
can
assault?
off
We could
that
just call it
zone.
shock assault. It's the same
They
rule.
can hit
Like,
either zone,
guys.
but if you move
I don't know
back
why is there 9,000 different like versions of Deep Strike?
As long as I end my
Yeah, I
turn
don't know,
holding
man.
one and get that, don't care about the bonus.
Why do they have to write out
Don't
that
give
this
me
weapon
that.
automatically hits its target on every flame when they can just say like automatically
And then you will
hits
get the kill,
or auto hit
because he won't count for
and
that.
have a
Malicious
section of the
volley.
rulebook where it's like covers
PHX
that.
Goose correcting all of us. Hateful assault
It is
and
malicious
malicious
volley?
volley. Well, it's called
Okay.
bolter discipline now, but
Is it or is that like they're just not?
oh, maybe
don't have
maybe
straight
that's
and
a,
hard
I mean, that's
facts
a,
right now.
I'm just reading Wahapedia, so it could be anything, honestly.
Because they can stay on it and you can't shoot them. So the Dark Apostles will have a rule. They are not
They definitely-
characters.
They have multiple psychic
So
powers that are the
technically
same name
you
and are
can't
the
hit
same
'em with a
psychic power
sniper
with
shot.
different cast costs and different effects.
As long as they're within
Like,
2 inches of this
Their
guy,
ability to keep this stuff straight is
they
sometimes a
can't be
little
shot.
suspect.
But they don't count as characters, so they can't have the snipers actually shoot them. Because Headhunter says you can snipe characters, and they're not characters. But
Okay.
they have the character key rule. If that makes sense.
Sure.
Because I'm about to do some shenanigans with it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
He's going to move behind the wall, which should be out of range.
That's out of range of the snipers for sure.
Yep. And then they're going to move right here and be touching
Yep.
the edge of that. So they won't be able to be shot with snipers even if they were in range, but they're still the objective.
Mhm.
Where are the little dudes that this spread guy brings with him?
They're up at the top on objective 2. Yeah, I'm reading through their rule right now. You do ignore characters when you're determining whether you can shoot them.
5 attacks. Blah.
I'll just let the players know that so there's no confusion.
Yeah.
They're not going to do a single thing to that.
Hey guys, I just want to chime in real quick just to clarify the Dark Disciples. They can't be shot unless they're the closest, but you also ignore characters when you're determining that.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Okay, yeah, just making sure we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they
he
won't
was
be
just
able
saying
to
they
be,
can't be sniped.
they can't be
But they
sniped.
don't count as characters anyway for Headhunter. So
Right. Yeah. Yeah,
But he
so
can
so
shoot 'em.
the KI Space Marines would block for them, but all the other little characters will not.
Yeah. Do they have OBSEC?
No, they do not
no.
have OPSEC.
I don't. No.
Okay,
They
yeah, it
fall
sounds like
underneath
we're all on
another
the
one.
same page here. I just want to make sure we're playing the rule right. Lord of the Swarm. So I believe that this specific setup is you can find it in the TTS 40K Discord. This is a backup that they uploaded. I think it's called like 40K map backup or something like that. The setup that we're using for the tournament is it's
What's
called
his range on his shot? 48.
Yes, sir.
40K ITC Ruins map, I believe. It's by a user named Panzer, and we have if you go into the channel, the front page video on the channel's called the T5S2 primer, and there's a link in the description of that video if you just check out youtube.com/tacticaltortoise. Deuce83, I said hateful volleys to some guy at a tournament. They looked at me like I had a tick on my forehead. You're like, what do you mean it's bolter discipline, but it's not called bolter discipline?
Outer range of sniper.
Welcome to Games Work. We're gonna to 40K, everyone.
Oh, did not mean to move him. Sorry.
So this will be a really interesting.
I just rotated him.
Going right into the final round, 6 points down for Space Wombat to try to make it up. He'll probably grab he'll grab hold more, and we'll see a hold.
More also seems.
Yeah, we'll definitely get a kill more, I imagine. So we'll see a hold on GrizzlyNateDog. So he's imagine he's going to be at 27 points at the end. We're going to need to make 8 points up, which means he needs to hold more, kill more bonus, and make his 3 headhunters back. Seems unlikely.
Master Possessions is going to run.
Because he also has to kill these 2 Chaos Space Marines in order to get it at any of his characters. Oh, Ad Valder, that's good. Yeah, that looks like the back, the TTS Discord files are back. That's good to hear. We are recommending that people use Panzer's upload on the Steam Workshop, just because it's easy to link to, and we can ensure that people are using the same version, because some of the other maps have slightly different, so some of them have craters and things on them. For T5S2 events specifically, but then also I don't think that it can be affected by any future TTS Discord weirdness. But it's good that they work things out. Pro tip: don't be racist. That's what we're learning.
Especially not over Star Wars.
Yeah, don't be Star Wars arguments in like. Don't be Star Wars racist. That's the worst kind of racist.
And like if you're doing it somewhere, like the hill to die on is not about some like nerd argument, like weeb argument in the middle of a digital board game. Discord.
Torin, is this generally how the Chaos list plays? It scores high early and then runs runs out late game. That's typical of aggressive armies in ITC generally. You'll see a lot of armies that are very fast and can cover the table and deal melee damage. Especially in this current season, they will run up and grab board control and grab bonus points very early, and then they'll peter out late game.
It tends to be if you can't knock someone out with that knockout blow, like right at the start, then you start waging this like really like sharply losing war of attrition where they just like you initiate a bunch of really bad trades after that one turn.
Yeah, so
and then you just have to hope your win holds out.
So one thing, if you're a new player going to 40K, and I think...
No, you're good. I don't think I can catch you. So I'm going to tap in Engineers.
Space Wombat and I are actually going to work on some content in the future that we'll kind of elucidate these concepts a little bit better. But one thing to think about is whether you, in a seat in a game of 40K, whether your army is this aggressive army, or whether you can play this control game that Space Wombat is playing right now. And generally, in this matchup...
character rules to me?
They're asking me to explain how rules work.
It's going to be
What's that? What's that in there?
How do the character rules work with the Dark Apostles or Dark Disciples?
So why don't I read you the rule right now, and then you can figure it out. So while this unit, meaning the Dark Disciples, is within 2 inches of any friendly Legion Dark Apostles, which they are, enemy models can only shoot at them if they are the closest enemy unit, and you ignore characters with a wounds characteristic of less than 10 when determining if that unit is the closest enemy unit to the firing model.
Okay.
They just act like
but
a big
they definitely
character.
don't count as characters. So I need to. So those are the characters I need to pick up.
They don't have the
Rules for
character
targeting
key.
characters. So they would count as they would prevent me from shooting the Poxbringer then.
Yes.
Okay, so I do have to kill them. And the Nurglings are an inch off the wall, right?
Yeah. Because I forgot to move them.
There's 28. Well,
yeah, it might be tough here. I don't think GrizzlyNateDog has given Space Wombat enough stuff to kill to max his Headhunter. There's only 3 characters left on the table, and this Dark Apostle I think is effectively unkillable. I imagine the Sinvictor moves up, blasts the 2 Chaos Space Marines here to death. To maybe open up shots somewhere, but then he's going to have to make a charge on those Disciples in order to get the bonus point. Unless this is... Unless 4 is Space Wombat's bonus objective, in which case it's actually a lot easier. But
okay, so they're literally only shooting at those. That range there. So I think my plan is the Warsuit's going to move over to here.
This game actually ended up being very similar to the one I played out as well.
Everything else is just going to...
Yeah, it was like we were saying. The Possess Bomb, it's scary and it does a lot of damage, but it doesn't survive very long.
It's probably one of the most... Yeah. It's probably one of the most, like...
I have to kill them with the Thunderfire and the
just aggressive,
kill them with the Warsuit,
you know, unsupported, like single thrustless stuff in the game. Like it has almost nothing to hold its own backfield. Everything it has is dedicated into that like one killing blow.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe he should have moved the Thunderfire last turn. I think a lot of the stuff he's shooting at is Alpha Legion, so I don't think he wants to eat the -2 to hit, and he's just comfortable with the -1. I don't think he has any legal targets with it, though, besides these Space Marines and these
shooting
Nurglings.
at the Master of Possessions, it looks like.
Okay.
The Nurglings are really screwing up the targeting
that's where I
on
messed
these
up.
2.
I forgot to move them. Actually, are they on the wall? No.
You said they were an inch off the wall 2 turns ago, so I assume.
Yeah, I haven't moved them. That's what I'm saying. I forgot to move them.
No, you're good. You're good. So
that was a bum part on my play. Oh.
I mean, I'll be honest. If they're out in the open, I think it's easier for me because I can just shoot them with intercessors and I can actually deal with them.
Oh no! If they're against the into the wall, then
you butt them into it. Sure.
So
yeah,
Torin, the possess unit itself is
that was my mess up.
typically somewhere around 350 points.
I think that's the only thing I can do.
But that's a little deceiving because you do need 2 or 3 characters in addition to sort of unleash their full potential.
It's usually about 400 to 500 points worth of.
Yeah, so it's probably a 550 point module.
Put you guys at 30. It's not gonna be
and you had
this game alone, I think he was.
I'm not quite on my base.
Yeah, he's got the Master of Possession plus the Poxbringer plus the Sorcerer all supporting it.
So then he's at 29.6, and he's at.
And like we saw in this game, GrizzlyNateDog really built this list to make them as difficult to shoot as possible, and that is also something that you have to build into the list to make it viable. Because if they're your only combat punch, for example, and you don't have anything in front of them to conceal them,
if you make this run and you kill both characters,
there are other variants of the list that don't even run out.
It's not a run anymore.
Like that's the most common variant, but you'll see variants that are running, say Slanesh.
I'm only going to score 4,
giving them the ability to advance and charge, and then at that point they're covering
25, double
a solid 30 inches out of your deployment zone onto the enemy's back, and you're really just depending on that, like,
hitting a 5-inch run.
That vast first turn punch where you're also fighting twice. And I've also seen versions with Thousand Suns where there's like stack a ton of invulnerable saves, and then you just have like large psychic bombs supporting them.
Like, I just don't have another line. Like, I'd love another line if I had one. I just don't think I do.
Well, the downside is I forgot to move these an inch, and if I'd have got better than 3s, that was my whole goal. I already figured you were going there, and figured he was coming here.
Oh, that's where that Space Marine. Oh no, that's the Sorcerer.
If I would have just killed more.
There's like one Space Marine right in the middle. Kind of hanging out.
Yeah, there's 2 in the center ruin there. Space Wombat shot a unit down to 1 at some point. And I was
I could
wondering if
charge
that
Nurgle
guy
and
was
try
like
to
living
resist
still
it.
alive somewhere running away, but I think he died earlier. Space Wombat, he needs to pull a Mortarion here
So the Sakaran's
and
there.
take
I'm gonna move
get a
that.
perfect turn,
All right.
basically.
I'm gonna try to move these intercessors. I'm gonna see if it's possible for me to get the. So they can walk in, and I need to see if it's possible for me to get to.
Relic Sicarian needs to just make
Closer
the
to you,
longest
right?
bomb charge.
Looks like
The
they have
Sicarian
to
just
be on the
moved, so
wall.
it's
They'd have
the
to be.
Sicarian's going where it's going.
Does that look like 30?
I think
to
it's
where I
moved
am?
up to
Yeah, that's 30
shoot
there, but you're
the
still outside of these
disciples
guys.
and the
Yeah, but they can walk, right?
the Marines and wipe
So
them.
I'm trying to see if I can walk them
just
over
to
here
open up shots
theoretically
on the
shoot them,
characters,
right?
but he doesn't have a
Oh,
lot to
okay.
shoot the characters with. He
Well,
needs to
then
kill
you're gonna
3
pass
to
or
max his
stay.
Headhunter, and I don't think that's
So you
realistic.
got 6 inches here.
But if he
Yeah,
gets
that's what
3
I'm
on
trying to
Headhunter,
figure
he
out right now, if it's
ties.
possible
Or
for
2 on
me to
Headhunter, he
shoot
ties the
shots.
game,
From the front guy.
theoretically.
I think he's trying
Sure.
to see if the intercessors can somehow
where do you think
kill
they
the
can move to?
disciples,
'Cause
so
again,
that
I'm
the
not
Relic
trying to cheat you,
Sicarian can.
No. If you go with it, you got the one guy up front.
So
She'll get one more
the
shot.
Thunderfire then
in
kills
it
2
in
Marines,
place.
then the Sicarian
But
kills
these
the
guys
Master
still won't be
Possession of the
closer.
Foxbringer,
They're still going to be
and the Eliminators kill
32.
the Dark
Actually,
Apostle?
maybe.
I
Yeah,
think I got a
you're good.
couple
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah,
shots.
I think
Unless
that's,
they're just at
These
barely at
guys-
range.
that's what he's going for, I
These
think.
guys might not be able to get. And then this squad over here, I don't think there's any way they can do it, just because they're going to be so. I don't think they can get physically wide enough.
No.
Unfortunately, I'm not sure he has the damage output to just straight
No.
blast the characters.
Oh.
But we'll find out.
What are the defensive stats on Dark? I have no idea what these things are.
Cultist.
I don't.
Oh,
Grats.
they're toughness 4, 6 up save.
Okay, they're grats.
That's also not a cultist
Yes,
stat
for
line.
you to kill them, I'm not worried about you
Cultists are
killing
toughness
them.
3.
Yeah, those are also toughness 3.
Oh man, so do I go for the?
Are these also toughness 3?
The Dark Disciples are toughness 3. I don't know.
Oh, that's.
I don't know where
Practice
he's-
war
I don't know. He was just talking about
I
that.
don't know where he's coming in as a toughness 4. Guys, the Dark Disciples are toughness 3, just so we're clear.
Oh, the 3?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
I plan on him killing them, Trey.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about them dying. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, something tells me one of these enormous cannons will kill those 2 guys.
I have a feeling.
Yeah. Tsung's gonna find a way. I believe in him. I think it only matters for like maybe this assault launcher and the stubbers, and maybe a bolt rifle.
It matter for the intercessors. Yeah.
Yeah, the intercessors. Tsung also bringing, if I remember correctly, he has auxiliary grenade launchers in all these intercessor units. So he could just long
So
bomb
if
some frag grenades
Invictor
at
moves
those
to
guys.
there, which looks like a legal move, right? We're good.
So
there.
everybody was all down on Space
I am
Wombat's choice of targets on that
23
second
to the
turn,
edge
but
of the building.
how different would this be right
I
now
am
if there was a
21
second
there and
Thunderfire
22
cannon
there,
on the
so he
table?
could shoot them as well.
Yep.
If those.
There had been for multiple
Yeah,
Pretty
turns.
different.
And then I'm only holding 2, but that's enough for
It would
the
be
hold
pretty
more. I'm giving up on the bonus.
At Valdor, there's no difference between the way we
I'm gonna run those.
we,
back. It really doesn't matter. It'll make me feel good. I'm running those back intercessors.
handle draws in any other tournament. We typically will
horse is
we'll just use
gone.
essentially the standard
That
ITC
horse
tournament
suits
rules,
there. This horse suits
but
full,
you will get
doesn't matter.
1/2 of a tournament point.
I don't think I can possibly
For
get you
drawing.
into a smite range.
If these guys draw, it does leave Glarg as the only undefeated player in the pod, though.
20-inch smite, no big deal. 20. Yeah.
Pretty unlikely, but stranger things have happened.
Not actually. That is important.
They have,
So
like,
this
3 seasons
unit,
of that
this
show.
squad's just gonna move on.
I know. That
This
did
librarian
happen.
here is going to run. He's gonna
I don't think we're going to see a bonus for Space
not
Wombat this
enough.
turn,
It's
so
just gonna
I'm
end
not,
up over
I'm
here.
not
No
actually
man's
sure he can
land.
make up his points.
Salamander librarian back here.
I think he.
I don't know why I'm doing this.
Oh, he should have one. He will have 1 power point on engineers, actually.
Okay.
So we can give the streamer
right?
the people watching.
Yes.
something else
Yeah,
to
he's
say.
getting 1 more on that. Yeah,
Okay,
they didn't,
so
they
he
those guys
should-
didn't leave.
He's only down
okay,
6.
So
At that point, then. Okay, so he needs to score 4. So kill more, hold more, which he will most likely get, and
Okay.
he needs to max his head
let's
on it.
just start shooting things.
What he really needs to do is just go back 1 edition to random
They
game
can't
lengths
do
and just
that.
have this thing,
No,
pull out the full,
I'm in
full
my
7
head. I'm
turns.
just
Oh,
wondering
yeah,
if there was
you
any
go
other
one more
place I
turn.
could have stuck these guys. Like, could have
That's
instead of
not.
went there,
You don't even
ran
have to go
here,
back one
and
edition. You
ate
just
the
have to go
pop
back
shots
to
from those eliminators
ETC.
to keep you from shooting them. Because if I come here, then they're blocked.
All right, go to.
I'm just looking at the game
Warhammer-
already.
go to
I
my
already
Warhammer
know
Get
the
in
game.
line of sight with the eliminators, it gets ugly.
Can he just drop some like
Because
random
then they
card
can
that he
actually
pulls
go
out of his deck and
Yeah.
go up like
Then they're
5
doing-
months?
Yeah, maybe
then
he
it's a
just
D3
cascades
at
through his
AP
entire
-2
tactical
and
objective
Immortal
stack.
on a 5/6, right?
Yeah.
He's like, what?
So
Hold
I
objective
think-
5? Got it. Hold objective
we'll see
3?
how this-
Got it. Destroy enemy
I'm
character?
not gonna
Got
do any
it.
psychic
Cast a
things, I
psychic
don't wanna
spell? Got it.
explode.
Give me a
So
kill. Oh, that would be
That
that would
draws
be
me
amazing.
5 more cards. Okay, well,
That would be
okay, let's
amazing.
not talk about
It'd be
tactical objectives.
something.
Barrels it.
I don't think amazing is the right word. Thunderfire cannon into. No,
they've-
I'm not gonna do
I have
that.
so many
yeah.
of those because they
3 no line
like
of sight
95% of
shots
any
there.
psychic power deck is just those cards.
I'm gonna go back to the player mics here
They're
just
hitting
because,
on, so they're hitting on 2s now.
see
So
the
they're normally
evolution
hitting
of
on
the game.
3s. It's +2 to hit with this one, so they go up to 1.
Okay.
This one back to 2. So they all hit. Strength 5, wounding on 3s. So 3 saves. No. So you're on a 4-up because it denies your cover and it's AP -1.
Go. 1 good dice.
Second squad.
Looks like
2
Elims can
shots
only
into
reach
there
into
from
the
the other
into
from
the
those guys. Oh geez, what did I do? There we
Chaos Space Marines in the center.
go. 1 hit, 1 miss. Salamander. 2
One of
hits.
them goes down to the first
So-
unit.
2
Second
saves.
unit gets 2 wounds
So-
through.
So I guess it's our hero, the Thunderfire
One
Cannon,
unit
going
down.
into the Dark Apostle.
The intercessors that
Thunderfire
can are going to
Cannon
fire into that
only
Dark Disciples.
Has
Alright,
the
cool.
Nurglings. As a
So it looks like just the
target.
3 of them. So 3.
Oh
bolt
yeah,
shots, 3 bolt rifles
our
into
poor
them.
hero.
Yep.
Poor Thunderfire Cannon over there.
Salamander reroll. Nope. And then 2 saves.
Lyle Dixon, the pods are
I
Swiss.
don't know what their saves are. I'm guessing a 6 is good.
And your
What are their saves?
final
5.
your final standing in the
5.
pod
Okay, cool.
does matter for invitational tournament invites in August. So playing all the way through is definitely recommended.
Actually,
Oh, go ahead.
yeah. You're good. Never mind. You're good.
I think I literally have to shoot the other. I think I have to shoot the Invictor there. I think that's my only choice here. Yeah, because I need to kill them, right? Yep. So the Invictor's going to shoot there. So heavy bolters are black, stubbers
Shot himself
are
out
white,
of flamer range here.
Oh.
and then he has the assault launcher after this. Am I -1 to hit you?
I think he was
No.
hoping to not have to shoot at these guys.
Corey Filla in the chat. Score is 20
What's
to
the minus on
27,
these guns? Minus.
with the chaos in the
-1
lead.
for all of them.
But we
Ooh,
could
so
see a
there's
5.
comeback from the
Yeah,
Space Marines
5.
if he's able to make a.
Here, I'm gonna roll 5
8-point
6-ups
turn
right
this
here.
turn,
I
which
believe
is
in you.
Possible,
No, it's
if
dead. All right,
unlikely.
cool.
He's
All right,
already
the one
going
that
to get
matters.
kill more hold.
How you splitting?
So what are their stats?
Now we have
So the
Sicarian
Poxbringer
trying to
is
hit
toughness
these guys.
5. He's got 4 wounds and he has a feel no pain. And he has a 5-up invul. The Master of Possessions is he has toughness 4. He has 4 wounds and he has a. Oh, it's not doing that anymore. I want to say I think it's a 5-up invul as well.
So many invulns.
Yeah, Space Wombat. You just got to hope your opponent fails as many as he
So
made
the
earlier in the
Poxbringer
game.
is harder to kill. I think I'm just going to split it 50-50. So it's going to be 4 autocannons and 4 heavy bolters into mass position, 4 autocannons
I'm
and
not
5
sure
heavy
you can
bolters into the
split the
Poxbringer.
autocannons
All right.
there.
So we'll start with the autocannons, and we'll start with the.
I think
The
it is.
Master of Possessions will be -1.
Is that
Cool.
one
We'll start
autocannon
there.
array, or is that 2
Son,
individual
does
autocannons?
the Sicarian have 2 individual autocannons or a twin autocannon?
Oh, I don't think I can split them. I think
Yeah,
you're right.
you-
I
I
think it's a
I
twin
don't think you're allowed
autocannon.
to split the twin
Nope.
autocannon.
Nope,
Yeah,
you're right.
it has to.
So let's see. Who's harder to kill?
That is the
here?
one downside of twin
I
linked
think
weapons
the
in the game now.
Poxbringer is.
Usually they're basically just the same or better as having 2
I
same
think I'm
weapons,
just
but
gonna
you do have to
go,
shoot them at the same target.
Autocannons into the Poxbringer,
Well, that just
and
makes
then heavy
calculating
bolters
points
into the master
obnoxious.
position
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
True.
then. So we can do the autocannons first. Sorry about that. Glad Trevi said something.
Oh, he's caught me on my cultist over here.
So
I'm
these
just
are,
picking at you, Trevi.
I'm watching you guys.
I know.
Hitting on 3s. I'm not going to reroll that, so I still have my reroll in the bag. Strength 7. So wounding on 3s.
Uh-oh. I might get an apex.
Yeah, I think you got 5
right
saves.
here.
And then these 2 are AP -3.
It doesn't matter if it's on the Poxbringer.
Okay.
So what's the damage on him?
2 apiece.
Oh my goodness.
4 wounds on a Poxbringer. He's got to roll
That
some.
could be game.
Well, it's a tie if I get this.
The Poxbringer
Ah,
has the
that
stat
is gone.
line represented by its
Ooh.
tiny.
The heavy bolters, which I'm way less confident in, and to this guy, because heavy bolters don't kill things. So these are going to be hitting on 5s. because of your modifier.
Mhm.
That's not enough.
No,
He's not gonna die from that.
Not the roll he needed.
Get in the box. One save.
On the master possession. We might see a tie game here, ladies and gentlemen.
Damage 1.
Yeah, just one.
Yep.
So I think that's all I got. So then I think I end up with, I just get 1 headhunter for that, 1 engineer. I get hold kill, and it looks like that. I don't think
Excellent.
there's
1 point.
anything else. Oh, I guess I could have tried to run the war suit and just shoot the assault launcher.
Didn't quite manage to get on that bonus.
Roll your dice and see what you would have had on the warsuit, just out of curiosity.
Oh,
Oh, don't do that. Never mind. You just make yourself mad.
I don't make myself mad, but yeah, good
Oof.
game. Like I said, I
No,
feel like
it was
intense.
Well, so the trick
brutal.
was when I figured I would push you back on deployment.
Yeah,
And
it
so
looks
I
like
immediately just
objective
changed the game
2
state and was like, well, we'll
Space
just play this a little bit
Wombat's,
longer.
bonus
Because I don't
objective.
see,
He could have run
and then
you
I
a
might have, I
Victor
gave
to
you
get there,
this
grabbed a bonus
256 points
point,
for free.
and then
I
just
should have
shot
probably
the
just went
assault
ahead and
launcher at
hit
these
the
two guys
war
to
suit
kill
with
them.
them. Because it's 25
Yeah,
attacks,
it was a
hitting on
it was a
twos,
sequence.
strength
Yeah, I was
8,
surprised when you did
minus
that.
3 D3. So I gave
Honestly,
up 3
I thought
points
you would
there.
just hit the war suit just to bog me down.
I should have, and that would have changed this later point because I didn't get any value from them just sitting there 1 turn.
Yeah,
Because I
that
don't
was an
think you
intense
could
game.
have
Oh
shot
my
them
god.
off in Overwatch.
That was a very complicated turn with a
And
lot
with
of
them
very
prescient
precise
stuff, that would
sequencing.
have been,
Yeah.
A little
See,
bit
I
more
don't think
efficient, and we
cast
could have
it
seen a
like
timed
that. I
game.
thought
It
that
did
was
require
actually
that
pretty
6,
stupid.
though, I think.
Like, Charles is really deadly.
So that's
Right.
why you never roll the
And
dice
so
after
that's
the
why I
fact,
put
ladies and
casting
gentlemen.
on
Just
all
make
this.
yourself feel bad.
Well, you kept warp timing. I don't think you needed to warp time. I think
Well,
you could just
I can fail warp time only on a 4.
And
I don't see a way to
so
fail
that's
it. So
that's the
I
final
always
score,
do
ladies and
that.
gentlemen, for the semifinals
I failed
game.
on a 12. So if I
Space
rolled a 12,
Wombat, after an absolutely
I made a warp time.
hair-raising
not killing
round
more
2
than
where
one, so
Mortarian
like I
ate
said, I really
an
felt
immense
the
amount of
next guy couldn't
damage
do it,
and did
and
not
then
die.
My
was able
hair
to
is
kill-
raised.
My hair has been raised all game. Was able to kill a chapter
told you it's a
master
game of
and a
dice.
chaplain and an extra Invictor warsuit.
What?
That
What a
Space Wombat
swing!
I
that
like the list.
What a swing him surviving on 2 wounds and
26-27,
killing,
buddy.
like decapitating the enemy leadership was.
Yeah. I mean that was the turn that determined the game
it's a
right
game
there.
Of 2 stories,
Really
though.
played
You can
around,
see.
gonna kill?
For sure.
All the CP spent for that too.
Yeah, and burned through so many command points to not die. Just insane resilience from
You had the
Mortarian,
one round
as
you
we
didn't get the
expect.
kill.
But Space Wombat able to come back, push through the chaos screens, kill all
Cool.
of
Thank you very
their
much for the game, Nate.
big
I
heavy hitter
appreciate it
units,
very much.
and almost
Who else
pushed
is
through
in
to a
there?
victory,
Shuma?
1
Hope it was
point
a good
behind
game.
after
hopefully it wasn't too
after
bad.
the bonus points that the chaos was able to get early game.
He only had a call
Insane
on the
game
end.
from these guys.
Hey,
Yeah, that's true. It's a good job on us. Good call.
hopefully you enjoy your supper. Have a good one, sir.
Yeah, Nate, good luck the rest of the way, buddy. Trevi,
Thank you.
Shuma, take care, guys.
Yeah, have a good one.
Yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for playing. That game was insane. Freaking Mortarian,
Was-
mate.
It was a game.
That was the game. All right. Awesome, everybody. Yeah, thank you guys for joining. Shuma, thanks for jumping in and co-commentating with me. It was fun. I hope we all had a good time.
Anytime.
You will be coming back tomorrow, is that right? To comment with more chaos with me?
I am good to commentate at any time. I am
Sweet.
now living that orc life, but I do have a game left in Pod 1 with the Chaos.
You sure do. Yeah, so everybody in the stream, check us out tomorrow. We'll be online around 1 p.m. Eastern Standard with some more Chaos action. Chaos on Chaos. 40 Plague Marines played by Don Husin versus Znar playing Pure Thousand Suns. Torin, thanks for joining. We're glad we could answer your questions. Hope you join us later. Lyle Dixon, am I mentally prepared for the amount of streaming that will be generated by having so many pods at the same time? I am ready to go. I will stream 14 hours a day if necessary. Brendan O'Donnell took a nap. Well, that's rude, but okay. Sure. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. We'll be back online tomorrow. Come check us out on the Discord. There's a link in the description, and you can come join. You can go join T5S2 pods, and you can just come hang out. We just had a painting and modeling channel go up on the server, and it immediately exploded with everyone painting their models that they posted. We have 125 players on the Discord right now. It is insanity in there. Everybody should come hang out.
So maybe convince me to start working on my Guo again.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, your Guos look so good, man. At Valdor, thanks for joining. Appreciate you watching. And thanks for the kind words. All right, we are
Good night, everybody.
Yeah, we're gonna end it there. Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching. Keep it classy, folks.